Aston Villa are having a great season. Under Unai Emery's tutelage, they're riding high in the Premier League and have hopes of finally qualifying for the Champions League. But with the board nervous about what they can achieve this season, they've made the crazy decision to sack Emery and instead put their faith in me that I can take this team to the next level and maybe win a trophy along the way. Now, as you can see from the starting 11, the team are actually in pretty decent shape. We've got some star players, the likes of Ollie Watkins and Moussa Diaby, as well as a World Cup winning goalkeeper and Emi Martinez between the sticks. And whilst the starting 11 may not be world class, the players are rated pretty decent for the main part, and there's some decent potential for some of the younger players as well. So right now I think I only have cause for concern for a few different positions in the team, starting at right back with Matty Cash. Now this guy is an important figure at the club, and with him being 25 years of age, he definitely has his best years ahead of him, plus he offers us a lot of versatility down that right hand side, so I definitely don't want to get rid of him. But as you can see, with the youngster Kessler Hayden being the only other player who can play on the right hand side of defence, I may want to consider bringing in someone who can at least provide some competition for the young Polish man. Now it could be argued that left back is the next position in my starting 11 that could be the weakest. With Luca Dean only rated 89, he's one of the few players in the starting 11 who haven't hit the 80 mark, and with him being 29 years of age, he's unlikely to improve much further. However, this man Alex Moreno has hit the 80 mark. He is exactly 80 rated, but again, with him being 30 years of age, perhaps he doesn't have time on his side, but he does have that something special, so I think I should be fairly well stocked at least for season 1 on the left hand side of my defence. Now the biggest issue for me is up front. Ollie Watkins is a no-brainer, he has to start up front, and Moussa Diaby, being the highest rated attacking player at the club, isn't really a natural striker and he has to play on the right hand side. However, I'm not going to let him replace McGinn, as he is our club captain and an absolute legend at the club. So with that in mind, I'm not exactly sure that this 4-4-2 formation is going to work for us perfectly, so I think I'm going to have to consider mixing things up for the foreseeable future. Now as you can see, I do have a few different recommended formations on the right hand side, and the one that I think might work the best for us this season is this 4-1-4-1. It gives me the option of having 3 players in the heart of my central midfield, and McGinn can now move back into his rightful central midfield spot. It does mean that Moussa Diaby can head out on the right hand side and really offer us that threatening creativity in a position that is perfectly suited to him. And it does mean that this man Ollie Watkins can be the sole striker and the man to lead our line this season. However, with us only having a 68 rated 19-year-old Duran as the only other striker on the bench, it's another position that perhaps we don't need to improve our starting position, but we might need to get some additional competition for this man, at least in season 1. We're starting off with the outgoing transfers though, and the most important high-profile ones, and it is Leander Den Donker who's the first man to depart Aston Villa Football Club this summer, as he leaves for the German club Cologne for a £5.6 million fee, and he is very quickly followed out the door by Robert Olsen as he joins Union Berlin for 1.6. The former Southampton, Arsenal and now formerly Aston Villa man Callum Chambers has just not been able to make the grade in the English Premier League, as he becomes the third man to depart, this time for Turkish side Galatasaray for £3.2 million. The 19-year-old Hon Duran, the only backup to Ollie Watkins this season, has managed to secure a loan move to another Premier League side in Brentford for the next season. And finally, Bertrand Traore, another man who's failed to make the grade at Aston Villa, he departs to a London team in Fulham for £5.2 million. However, whilst this man is the youngest of our departures so far this season, he is the one that I do have my eye on for the remainder of the season. I'm going to be very interested to see how he gets on at Brentford, but his departure does leave us with a gaping hole behind this man Ollie Watkins, and it means I'm definitely going to have to go into the market for another central striker. And with those departures helping us add to our transfer budget, bringing us up to a whopping £98 million, I'm pretty confident we're going to have enough money to try and improve this squad. However, even though I said it's imperative that we bring someone in to try and compete with this man up front this season, I'm not quite sure exactly who I want to bring in right now, so let me know down in the comments below, who do you want to see up front and who do you want to compete with this man Ollie Watkins for the remainder of the season, and I will be sure to check them out. One area of the team though that I do have a very clear indication as to who I want to bring in is at right back, and that is why I'm starting negotiations for the very first player to join my Aston Villa revolution. The 22-year-old Frenchman has only just scratched the surface of appearances in Ligue 1 before making his name for himself in Turkey with the huge Turkish giants Galatasaray, but now, after starting to try and establish himself on the French international scene, he is ready to make his big move to the Premier League, and that is why I have forked out £22.5 million for the Frenchman Sacha Boey. As you can see, he's the same rating as Matty Cash, but that incredible pace and high attacking and defensive work rate, plus the fact he's got phenomenal physical stats and he's got age on his side being the younger of the two men, I'm confident that this man can establish himself long term as our number one right back at the club. However, frustratingly for me, after good news, bad news immediately follows it, as one of our most attacking, influential players in season, Moussa Diaby is subject to a £61.6 million offer from German side RB Leipzig. Now, it is his first season at the club for Aston Villa, as he has just joined the club in the summer, and I don't think £61.6 million is enough to tempt him away from the club. However, I am going to reject the offer for now, but I'm sure he will be very keen for us to climb up the table this season to make sure that no other team can steal him away from us. Now, speaking of Diaby, as you can see, he is clearly my strongest attacking and right-sided player, but it is a position that I'm pretty well stocked on. I've got the likes of Leon Bailey and Buendia both on the bench, plus I've got the more naturally suited Zaniolo, who's had to be shunted out to the left-hand side due to a lack of players that I've got who can play on the left-hand side of midfield instead. The only one being Jacob Ramsey, but with him only being 22 years of age and having the versatility to play both on the left, right and in the centre, I'm still not quite sure whether or not the left side of midfield is the best position for the young Englishman. So again, let me know down in the comments below what you think. With a wide variety of players to play on the right-hand side of midfield, but a dearth of options who can potentially play on the left-hand side, should I consider giving this young man, Jacob Ramsey, a run out as my starting left-hand side midfielder? Or should I consider training the development plans of my more established players like Buendia or Leon Bailey or perhaps even Zaniolo to try and focus their training on the left-hand side of midfield and turn them into my starting left wingers? Let me know what you think down in the comments below. For now though, with us just being one day away from our starting game against Newcastle in the Premier League, it is time to establish exactly how I want this team to set up. Now, it's no surprise to see, as with all of the modern teams these days, I want my team to be pressing high from the front, trying to win the ball back as quickly as possible. And that means we'll be pressing after possession loss, we'll be building up fast in a more direct style, and we will be trying to pile players into the box to try and see if we can take advantage of some attacking opportunities. Ollie Watkins, the man who's going to be leading the line for us, it's important for me for him to stay central, but I also want to make sure that every single time he gets the opportunity to run for the ball, he will be getting in behind defences and making them pay with that high line. And it's absolutely imperative that we start this season on the right foot, because the board have got some incredibly lofty objectives. They want me to finish in a Champions League place in the league, they want me to win the FA Cup for the first time in almost 30 years, and they also want me to win the Europa Conference League in our very first season in the competition. And with our first game only a day away, as you can see, I am taking a bit of a risk here. I've still got £80 million in the budget, and so far I've only brought in one player to try and bolster my squad, and that is a right back who's not even come in to start in my starting 11, only to compete with this man, Matty Cash. And that is simply because I want to hear from you guys what you think. Who do you want to see in an Aston Villa shirt this season, and what positions in my team do you think we need to improve on? Let me know what you think down in the comments below. It is now time, though, to get stuck straight into the action, as we are going to kick off our Premier League campaign against Newcastle, the Geordie Giants, away from home. This team absolutely battered us in the league in real life, and we will be very keen to make sure that we don't suffer the same fate here on EAFC 24. As you can see, the start of the season means that it will be a start of my strongest starting 11. Emi Martinez starts in goal. Matty Cash does retain his place at right back with Konza and Torres in the centre of defence. Luca Dean starts on the left-hand side. McGinn, Tielemans and Kamara will start in the centre of the park. Moussa Diaby on the right. Zaniolo will start on the left. And Ollie Watkins, of course, will lead the line for us. Pau Torres into the defensive midfielder Kamara. We will be very keen to right the wrongs of the real-life performance of Aston Villa at the start of the real season. We've got a great opportunity to do that here today, as it's a wonderful ball fired across to the left. We then go and give the ball away to Almiron. Kamara wins it back though high, and he gives it to McGinn, who finds himself on the left-hand side. Zaniolo tried to play a ball into Ollie Watkins. It was a good piece of defending by the Newcastle defenders, and now they can try and break with Almiron. Well intercepted by Konza though. End-to-end stuff here in the opening 10 minutes of this game. Moussa Diaby picks it up on the right-hand side, looks for the overlap, gives the ball away cheaply. Not the start the Frenchman would have wanted. And now Alexander Isak can try and break away for Newcastle here. He's blocked off by McGinn. Longstaff still has it though. Lovely ball into Almiron. He's in a dangerous position. Checks back, looks for an option. Pau Torres sticks a foot in. Isak though has it, and he strikes from distance, forces Martinez into an early save. Trippier, the Newcastle captain, will take the throw. It's a poor throw and it's given away really cheaply. Zaniolo though goes and gives the ball away even cheaper. Pau Torres though brilliantly at the back again with a wonderful challenge. Releases Tielemans. He can now try and drive down the right side. Gives it away. It's been a story of the game so far. The opening 20 minutes has been so poor from both teams. Neither team seems to be able to keep themselves in position. Anthony Gordon though down the left hand side into target. He finds Alexander Isak. Lovely ball into Longstaff. Longstaff's got an opportunity. Another big save. Well, out of the two teams so far, Newcastle look like they're more likely to score here, and it's their second corner. It's another one that they're going to go short for. This time they throw it into the box though. Luca Dean with the header away. Not very far though. Bruno Guimaraes wins it back into Sven Botman. Lovely challenge again from Pau Torres. That man inside the opening half an hour has been an absolute rock at the heart of my defence. Moussa Diaby to switch it onto his left and fire a nice ball across to Zaniolo. Look for Zaniolo to Kieran Trippier, won it though. Kamara manages to win the ball back. He still has it, doesn't have any options though. Newcastle pressing high. Eventually Pau Torres has it. He's under a bit of pressure here. Manages to wriggle away from the Almiron press. Finds Luca Dean. It's relentless from Newcastle at the moment. We cannot seem to find a way through. But Pau Torres now into Kamara. I'm going to try and feed this out to John McGinn on the left-hand side. He's twisting, turning, trying to find an option here. We can't seem to break Newcastle down. But instead he goes all the way out to the left-hand side. Tries to fire it in. We get a corner. Well, it's our first corner of the game. And it's one that the Frenchman Moussa Diaby is going to take. We have to try and take advantage of these opportunities. And they're few or far between as Konza heads it wide. Kamara. Oh, Kamara. That's a really poor pass. He's giving it away again. Alexander Isak, the danger man for Newcastle, finds Bruno Guimaraes. He turns. Lovely turn to get around a couple of my players. But John McGinn, my captain, my leader, my legend. Well, I thought he'd won the ball back, but it looks like he's given away a free kick here, and it's one that Kieran Trippier is going to take in a very dangerous position. He puts it in, and what another save from the Argentinian World Cup hero, Emi Martinez. It's another Newcastle corner here, right on the stroke of half-time. They will be desperate to score here. We will be desperate to keep the ball out of the back of our net. Kamara heads it clear, only out as far as Gordon. Takes it down really nicely, lines up a power shot. Martinez is on fire. Well, there's a reason that man is rated 86. There's a reason he's the highest-rated player in my entire squad, and he's proving it today. It's thrown back in. Pau Torres again with a monster header clear. Only out as far as Longstaff. Into Almiron. Is he going to try and throw it across? Matty Cash blocks. Referee blows for half-time. Well, it's been an end-to-end first half here. Neither team able to break the deadlock, though. As we start off the second half at 0-0, we will be desperate to try and see if we can get a goal. But chances have been few and far between for Aston Villa so far. But Moussa Diaby will be desperate to put a stop to that. And he's fed in a ball to Ollie Watkins, who's through here. The Englishman to strike. Oh, he plays it over the bar. Diaby again to go down this right-hand side. But he cuts inside, looking for an option. Instead tries to lift the ball over to Zaniolo. Headed away by Sven Botman, down by Almiron, and now Newcastle can try and break here. It's Anthony Gordon. He's got an option of Alexander Isak. That is a wonderful ball. He plays in, and what a save there from Martinez. Again, that man is on fire. Zaniolo fires a ball over the top into the path of Moussa Diaby, who knocked it down really nicely to Matty Cash, and he can burst forward now down the right-hand side. He's got options ahead of him. Can he try and find the right ball? I'm going to try and go to the back post here. Wonderful ball in. Looking for John McGinn. What a huge head. What a goal. Well, the captain has stepped up yet again. He's done it time and time again for Aston Villa, and he's done it once again at the start of the season. Well, it was a beautiful bit of play. Lovely little nod down from Diaby, and Matty Cash. What a ball that is. And John McGinn rose highest and buried it into the top right-hand corner. Gave the goalkeeper absolutely no chance, and he gave us a 1-0 lead. Longstaff into Bruno Guimaraes, into Anthony Gordon. Newcastle looking to strike back fairly quickly here, but Konza with a wonderful challenge. Tielemans, though, gives the ball away. That is not what I wanted from the Belgian. Now Kieran Trippier into Almiron in a dangerous position. Oh, Konza is there again. Brilliant challenge, and our two centre-backs have been absolutely phenomenal today. And Konza sprays a wonderful ball all the way over to Zaniolo. Wonderful stuff here. Ollie Watkins tries to feed a ball through into Diaby. Well defended by Matt Target. Bruno Guimaraes into Anthony Gordon. Gives it away though. McGinn, lovely turn, and McGinn now can play the ball into Luca Dean down this left-hand side. Luca Dean cuts back inside looking for the central defensive midfielder Kamara. He strikes, and that is why he is only a central defensive midfielder. But now Newcastle, within a blink of an eye, are 2-on-1 here. My defenders, where on earth were they going? It's out wide to Guerrero. That is not the ball they would have wanted to play. The attack is still on though, and in the end Martinez is forced into another big save. My word, he has kept us in the game today. Yuri Tielemans now has it, plays it down the line into Moussa Diaby. He's going to look to stretch his legs past the fatigued Fabian Schär. Instead cuts back in on his left. Really nicely done by the Frenchman. Shapes it onto his left to strike. Oh, he just puts it over the bar. It doesn't matter though, because the referee finally blows for full time. Very happy Aston Villa players and a very happy John McGinn. That man, his goal was the only goal today, and it was enough to seal a vital 1-0 win away from home. A brilliant way to start the season, and it stuck us right into the Champions League places immediately, and that is where we want to stay for the foreseeable future. John McGinn will get the plaudits for his goal today, but for me, the most important men on the pitch were this man, Emilio Martinez. Unbelievable saves kept us in the game, and he will be delighted of his clean sheet. Plus, with Pau Torres making his Aston Villa debut on this career mode, and with Ezri Konza, they both formed an unbelievable partnership, and hopefully long will it continue for the foreseeable future in this career mode. And we are getting straight back into the action. This time we are heading to Villa Park for our very first home game of the season. It is not going to be an easy one though in front of our home fans, as we welcome Everton, a resurgent Everton under Sean Dyche, who will be desperate to land their first 3 points of the season. That man Moussa Diaby will be hoping for another good performance, as those fans will be hoping for another 3 points. And after a strong win against Newcastle Newcastle in our season opener, it's no surprise to see that we do retain the same starting 11 for the second game running. Finds Matty Cash. Nice ball out wide. Matty Cash going to try and look for some options ahead of him. What a ball into Youri Tielemans. Gets caught up but manages to shift it onto his left and strikes straight at Pickford. Early stop for the Everton goalkeeper. Harrison being chased down by McGinn. Does a really nice job of skipping away from the challenge though. Can't get away from the challenge of Kamara. But he does eventually manage to just bundle his way through. And now Beto. Beto to go past Konza. Lovely stuff from Beto. Oh, a nice shot, but an even better save from Martinez. And it's going to be Harrison who's going to take it, and it looks like he's going to try and fire this one in. He does. Into the edge of my 6-yard box. My word, Beto came in with a thumping header, but he was beaten to it by my defenders, but Harrison still has it. Matty Cash, though, with a wonderful challenge. He can try and break, though, but instead gives the ball away and goes out of play. It's now an Everton throw. They take it quick. Harrison has it again. Cash makes amends, though, and Youri Tielemans can get the ball clear. Nice pass into Luca Digne, who's come inside there. Nice little inverted fullback position. He finds Moussa Diaby. Diaby finds Tielemans. Tielemans looking for an option. He finds Matty Cash as he managed to stay on side. Instead, he tries to float it in, gets it all wrong. Youri Tielemans, he's been a very influential figure so far in this game. He'll be eager to at least get an assist or perhaps even a goal today. And now Luca Digne, though, has an option down the left-hand side. Going to try and flow this one in right to the back post to Moussa Diaby. Oh, he got his header all wrong. It was a wonderful opportunity for the Frenchman, and he couldn't take advantage of it. Doucouré. Into Dele Alli, making an unlikely start for the Evertonians. He will be desperate to put in a good performance here today, but Moussa Diaby now has it, and Diaby plays it into Ollie Watkins. He just takes too heavy a touch. Is he going to be able to bundle his way through? He does. What a fantastic flying save from Jordan Pickford. He can't believe it. Diaby will take the resulting corner, and again, he's going to try and float this one into the penalty spot. It is Konza who manages to get there ahead of the Everton defence. Pickford gets it all wrong, but eventually manages to collect the ball. My word, we are knocking on the Everton door. Matty Cash now has the ball. Plays a lovely pass into Tielemans. Again, Tielemans involved. Lovely pass from Ollie Watkins into Diaby. Fires it straight at the goalkeeper. Luca Digne fires a lovely pass out wide to Matty Cash on the right-hand side. He plays it back in. Gets it away, though, to Mikalenko. And now Everton can try and break with Beto. He is down the line into Atuna. He's being chased down by Pau Torres. Pau Torres, though, with a bit of a silly mistake, but Matty Cash comes across to cover. Brilliant Aston Villa defending as the referee blows for half-time. Well, once again, we start off a second half at 0-0. Neither team able to break the deadlock. We have been the more likely, though. We've had ample opportunities. We haven't been able to take them. Are we going to be able to take this new opportunity as Ollie Watkins now has the ball played into him? He continues his run, looking for an option ahead of him, finds Moussa Diaby. Diaby surely he's going to try and cut on his left. He does. Goes back to Matty Cash. The momentum broke down and we couldn't fashion another opportunity there. Going to be an Everton throw that Harrison is going to take right into the box here. And now Beto has it, takes it. It was a poor touch in the end. He really could have done better to put himself in a better position. But now Dele Alli has it. It's McGinn with a challenge. Doucouré still has it. It's on Yango. I think that's how you say his name. McGinn into Youri Tielemans. Can we try and hit them on the break here? It's Moussa Diaby to try and dink it across. Tarkowski came across, stepped out nicely and releases Antuna down the left-hand side. But this time it's Konza who comes across. And that man defending really well again. Moussa Diaby, though, plays it into Ollie Watkins. Ollie Watkins is going to try and release Diaby. He does release Diaby, and the Frenchman's got the pace to drive down this right-hand side. Is he going to try and cut it back in? He is. Tarkowski is in the way again. Everton defending for their lives here today. Dele Alli. Nice pass back into Harrison. He's been the most influential figure for Everton here, though. But he plays a wonderful ball over to an unmarked Doucouré. We are frantically trying to get back with John McGinn. He plays it into Young, the former Aston Villa man, who strikes it straight at Martinez. And eventually it's cleared by Luca Digne. Moussa Diaby into Youri Tielemans. Tielemans into McGinn. Can we try and break here? Oh, it's a brilliant piece of defending yet again from Everton just to intercept that play, get a block on it, and now they can release on Yango down the left-hand side. He cuts back, though, into Mikalenko. Gets it back from him, tries to turn Matty Cash, does turn Matty Cash. Now Tuna with the overlap into the box, cuts it back into Beto, who strikes, and he strikes past Martinez. Well, 75 minutes on the clock, and they do the dance because they have taken the lead here at Villa Park. After such a good defensive performance against Newcastle, we've let ourselves down here. Beto getting too much time and space in the box. And when you give that man that much time and space, he will make you pay. Martinez couldn't do enough. And unfortunately, we find ourselves 1-0 down into Beto, the goal scorer. Everton going to look to strike again here and try and double their lead and put the game to bed. It's Antuna down the left-hand side. Goes past Konza really nicely. What is Konza doing? Really poor into Doucouré. What a save from Martinez. My word, it was absolutely smashed at him. Somehow he keeps it out of the net. And now we have got to try and hit Everton on the counter-attack here. It's down the line into the substitute Leon Bailey. Into John McGinn. He's going to try and play this one forward into Ollie Watkins. What options does he have? He had options. didn't make the right call, and that is another poor piece of attacking play there. But Pau Torres wins the ball back high. Kamara into Leon Bailey. We've got to try and see what we can do. Jack Harrison with a wonderful challenge, and that is that. Well, Sean Dyche, I said he was in charge of a resurgent Everton at the start of this game, and my word, he has shown why. My players are despondent. They are deflated after a poor performance all round. As at full time here at Villa Park, it finishes Aston Villa 0, Everton 1. And after such a positive start, it's really disappointing to see us drop back down into the bottom half. 2 games in, and Ollie Watkins is yet to find the back of the net. A 5.9 rating overall in those 2 Premier League performances. And I've got to try and find a way to get the best out of the Englishman. Perhaps this formation is just a little bit too defensive, and perhaps I need to change my ways to try and get the best out of the likes of my attacking players like Yuri Tielemans, Moussa Diaby and Zaniolo on the left-hand side. They are going to get one more opportunity though to try and right the wrongs in this episode as we head over to Turf Moor for what is going to be a tough battle against Burnley in a game that we will be desperate to get back to winning ways in. It's our 3rd game into this season, but it's the first time I've decided to make a couple of changes to my starting 11, and that means it is a first start for the Frenchman Sacha Boey as he comes in on the right-hand side of my defence. And the other big change is Leon Bailey comes in on the left-hand side of midfield as I've decided to drop Zaniolo to the bench. McKinn into Kamara into Yuri Tielemans, desperate to start off the game better than we finished the last one. Now Ollie Watkins shifts it onto his left, has the momentum gone, he fires a strike, drags it way wide. Luca Dean out to John McGinn. Really good start here so far from us as Leon Bailey has the opportunity to strike. What a strike it was, and a big save from Trafford. Well, the velocity on that strike was absolutely incredible, and Luca Dean now has the opportunity to throw it into the box, looking for the head of Ollie Watkins. Doesn't find it. It heads back out to the Jamaican Leon Bailey, but it will now go back out to Luca Dean. He's going to try and fire it back across. We've got another corner, and it will be that man who's going to take it, and again he will fire it in, looking for the head of Ollie Watkins, but once again he doesn't manage to find him. Diaby back into Luca Dean. This time I'm going to try and play it short into Moussa Diaby. He tries to strike from distance and plays it over the bar. Into Yuri Tielemans. Tielemans to bring the ball forward and finds McGinn. McGinn, oh my word, he's absolutely hacked down from behind, and my captain is on the floor here. I've got to hope that it's not a serious injury here. The referee is coming over. It's only a yellow card. That man has got to count himself very lucky to still be on the pitch. Let's take another look at the replay here. No attempt to play the ball. It's a reckless challenge. How on earth have Burnley managed to keep 11 men on the pitch? Cork in the centre of the park for Burnley. The first opportunity really that they've had to try and get hold of the ball and keep possession, but they've gone and given it away. And John McGinn just dances around the defender here. My word, my captain is driving forward into the box. What a drive this is from that young man. Leon Bailey to strike. What a strike it is. And what a fabulous goal. He slides on the floor in celebration. My word, what a thunderbolt of a strike. Well, he gets the goal, but it's got to be John McGinn to take the plaudits. My word, what a run to set the whole thing up. And then he just lined it on a plate for Bailey. But that was a fabulous finish with the outside of his boot, and much to Vincent Kompany's disgust, we take a 1-0 lead. Out to Sherlinoff. Oh, that's a lovely pass to Egan Riley on the right-hand side. Pau Torres, though, comes across. Another big challenge from the Spaniard. He has been very, very good so far in the opening 3 games. Ollie Watkins, though, to try and drive forward, gives the ball away. It really hasn't been a perfect start for the Englishman, yet to find his feet at the start of this campaign, and he just can't seem to find his rhythm. Burnley, though, are trying to find their rhythm here. They've got an opportunity here, and it's a wonderful opportunity. Amdouni to strike, and he strikes it wide. But unbelievably, I've tried to fast forward and I didn't realise we've given away a foul. What is going on? They've stepped up. They've got a penalty. What on earth has just happened? Well, he celebrates. He bows in front of the crowd. I am at a complete loss as to what has just happened. Well, let's check out the replay here because he came across. He had the opportunity to strike. He was in the penalty area. How on earth was that a penalty? I don't understand. Let's go back here. He's taken the shot. As my defender must have come across and made a challenge, and somehow the referee has decided to give this a penalty. I do not know what the referee is smoking. Somehow Burnley have found themselves back in the game, and they can count themselves very, very lucky. Gordon for Burnley lifts it over to the right-hand side for Sherlinoff. Tries to go past my defenders. McGinn comes across, though. We are right on the stroke of half-time here, and if Burnley can get a goal, they will put themselves in a really strong position, and they've gone and done just that. Well, deep into stoppage time, 50 minutes on the clock. We are way over stoppage time. They've gone and completely turned this game on their head. Look at the fans. They're absolutely ecstatic. That man Martinez cannot believe what he is seeing. I don't even believe it either. We've completely fallen asleep at the back. From such a good defensive performance in the opening game of the season, we've been absolutely shocking here in the last 10 minutes, and we've gone and given away a cheap goal. And somehow Burnley have got themselves in the lead. It's 2-1. Well, yet again, at the start of the second half, we find ourselves in a really difficult position, and we find ourselves desperately needing not just one goal, but 2 goals this time. We have to try and see if we can do it. So far in this game, we have not been able to score more than 1 goal a game. We must make sure that we do something different here today. Moussa Diaby going to try and release Ollie Watkins now, and he's taken that really nicely. Has he got the pace to try and burst past the defence? He does. He doesn't really have too many options though, so instead has to cut back inside, and he gives the ball away. That has been a story of that man's season so far. He's been so poor, and he really has to snap out of it. Tries to play a ball into Leon Bailey, but gives the ball away. Diaby wins it back though, and now McGinn can try and burst forward here. McGinn, he's done again. He's gone past their players. Lovely dribbling into Leon Bailey for 2. Oh, he's gone wide. 3-0 for Burnley to try and bring it forward. We were trying to track him, but we didn't do a good enough job here. We are pressing high, but so far to no avail, as we just can't seem to get the ball back off of Burnley now. They are in the ascendancy. They've got their tails up. They're 2-1 up, and they're looking for a third to try and put the ball to try and put the game to bed. They fire it into the box to the back post. And that was a big opportunity, and one that's gone begging, and one that we breathe a sigh of relief for. Bowie into Diaby. Diaby finds Zaniolo, who's come on for Ollie Watkins, and he finds a ball out wide to Buendia, who's also come on as a sub. Buendia bursts into the box. Buendia to try and cut it back. Lovely ball into McGinn. McGinn tried to strike. What a save from the goalkeeper to keep the score at 2-1. Torres. Out to Moreno. We've got to try and turn the screw here in the final 10 minutes of this game, but we give the ball away. Fortunately enough, we managed to get it back. Leon Bailey shifts it onto his right, tries to blaze it against the defender. Buendia picks it up, turns, strikes straight at the goalkeeper. Alex Moreno tried to play the ball forward, but instead gave it away. McGinn wins it back though, and now Pau Torres will be the man to play it forward. Into Leon Bailey. Bailey to bring it into the box here. Leon Bailey still goes, strikes. What a save. Diaby will take the resulting corner. He's going to fire it into the edge of the box. Leon Bailey tries to head it down, doesn't get enough to it. Konza will win the ball back though, heads it back out to Diaby into Bailey. Bailey strikes again against the goalkeeper. What a second half that man has had. Well, much to my dismay, the referee blows the whistle once again, and we have succumbed to our second defeat of the season in only our 3rd game so far. It's a disaster at full time. It's Burnley 2, Aston Villa 1. 2 losses on the bounce see us drop down to 12th place in the table. This man, Ollie Watkins, has had an absolute horror show. 3 games, no goals, and a 5.8 rating. And with only a few days remaining in the summer transfer window, but with £81 million still left in the budget, I am in desperate need of your help to decide who I should bring to this football club. But that is it for today's episode. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it, and hopefully I'll see you again next time. Last episode we took over at Aston Villa, but back-to-back losses meant it was a disastrous start. Today though, with over £80 million in the bank, it's time to make some big transfers. And as ever, if you're enjoying the series so far, please feel free to like and subscribe, and let's get into today's episode. Now, after a solid start to the season beating Newcastle 1-0 in our Premier League debut, back-to-back losses have seen us slip down to 12th place in the table, and we've only scored 2 goals to our name so far this campaign. Now, in real life, Ollie Watkins is absolutely lighting up the Premier League, but unfortunately in this career mode, the same can't be said for him. It's 3 games, it's no goals and no assists, and only a 5.8 rating in the Premier League. And with that man being the only man to start up front for us this campaign, with the youngster Duran off on loan at Brentford, I'm definitely going to need to start this episode by bringing in someone who can compete with the 27-year-old Englishman. Now, with £81 million still left in the transfer budget, I've got plenty of cash to play with. And with some of your recommendations in the comments, as you can see, I've got plenty of options to choose from as well. However, with me only having just a matter of days until the transfer window slams shut, you can also see that I'm not going to have the opportunity to properly scout out some of these players. I'm not going to be able to check what their ratings are, and I'm also not going to be able to know how much I should pay for some of these new signings. And so with that in mind, I'm going to have to take a little bit of a gamble and see what I can pull out of the bag. And with me making the decision to sign a man who scored 33 goals in just 48 appearances for Feyenoord in the Dutch league, and someone who's now racked up 24 appearances for his national side despite only being 22 years of age, we are about to welcome our second signing of the summer. That is right, it is the Mexican Santiago Tomas Jimenez as he joins Aston Villa for £40 million. As you can see, he's got the same overall rating as Ollie Watkins, but he is 5 years his junior at just 22 years of age. He's got a high attacking work rate, and he's got pretty decent stats right across the board, plus the fact that he's 6 foot and left-footed, he offers us a completely different dimension up front. However, with £36 million still left in the budget, I reckon we've got just enough to bring in one more player. Now, after bringing in the Frenchman Sacha Boey to play on the right-hand side of my defence, it leaves the left-hand side of my defence and Luca Digne to be the weakest part of my starting 11. And with him being just 79 rated and 30 years of age, he is highly unlikely to improve any further. And whilst I do have the 80 rated Spaniard Alex Moreno, with him also pushing 30, I think it's very unlikely that he too is going to improve much in the future. And so as we count down the final hours of transfer deadline day, I am making the bold swoop to try and snatch a player from one of our Premier League rivals. It's a man who's been lighting up the Premier League and managed to rack up over 41 appearances for Brighton and Hove Albion. And it's another man with international experience at the highest level, racking up 37 appearances for Ecuador, as we say hello to Pervis Estupiñán, who joins the club for £25 million. Technically, he's got the same overall rating as Alex Moreno, but with 5 years his junior and having decent stats all across the board, I'm confident he can become our long-term left-back option. And with me deciding to move him straight into my starting 11, it means that there is no place for Luca Digne. And so with that in mind, I have decided to put the 30-year-old Frenchman back on the transfer list. However, strangely enough, with the transfer window counting down, it was only once it slammed shut that Chelsea decided to put in a £13.8 million offer for him, that whilst we were more than happy to accept, we'll only see him depart the club in January. For now though, with our attentions turning back to the Premier League and with us dropping down to 15th place, just 1 point above the relegation zone, it is time for our new signings to finally get the chance to impress. But it is not going to be an easy occasion to do just that, as we head over to Anfield in what is going to be one of the toughest games of the season so far. A huge game, and a game that we must get 3 points from, as we face off against Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool in a huge game on Merseyside. And it is a game that Estupiñán will be able to make his debut on, as he starts at left back. Pau Torres, Konza and Sacha Boey make up the rest of my defence, with Martinez starting in goal. Kamara, Tielemans and McGinn will start in the centre of the park, with Diaby and also Zaniolo starting on the left-hand side. Jimenez, though, will have to wait for his starting debut, as he can only make the bench, as Ollie Watkins will take his place up front. Carvajal for Liverpool, chased down by Zaniolo. That is exactly the sort of pressing start that I want to make inside the opening 5 minutes. What on earth was Adrian, the goalkeeper, doing there? All over the shop and made a bit of a meal of that one. Zaniolo into Yuri Tielemans. This has been a really good start so far, but just as I say that, we go and give the ball away really cheaply there. And Luis Diaz has the pace to try and burst away from my defenders. Konza comes across. Brilliant challenge from the central defensive partner there. And he now brings the ball forward into Moussa Diaby. And he's got space to run into here, but I'm going to try and cut inside. I don't have any options whatsoever, so he's going to strike from distance. And he hits the bar. Unbelievable from the Frenchman. It's nodded down. I was looking for the head of Ollie Watkins. I can't quite find him. And Liverpool will get the ball clear here. Carvajal with the throw into McAllister. Carvajal gets it back. He's chased down, but he manages to find a ball into Darwin Núñez, who's dropped deep. He's being chased down by one of my central defensive midfielders, and it is that man Kamara who wins the ball back. Can he try and release Ollie Watkins, who takes it really nicely? I'm going to try and release Moussa Diaby. He's got a ball inside if he can find it. He does find a ball into Yuri Tielemans. Yuri Tielemans strikes, and he puts it wide. Well, it's been a much better start here in the opening 20 minutes than it has been in our last few games, but we have to make sure that we make it count. We cannot afford to lose 3 games on the bounce here, but this is arguably going to be the most difficult one, as Luis Diaz just gets crowded out but somehow manages to wriggle away from trouble, and he still managed to find a ball into Darwin Núñez, but again tracking back well. This is fantastic play from Aston Villa here. Ollie Watkins tries to feed a ball into Moussa Diaby, and that man just cannot seem to find his feet in the opening few games of the Premier League campaign so far. Virgil van Dijk to bring the ball out of defence and plays it down the line into the path of Mo Salah. Nice short ball into McAllister. McAllister, though, chased down by McGinn. Wonderful challenge again. We are pressing Liverpool so high here. This has been a great attacking performance so far, and Zaniolo now to burst down the left-hand side. Feed a ball across to absolutely no one. Luis Diaz. Oh, another brilliant challenge, this time by Sacha Boey, and he can surely try and release Ollie Watkins. It's straight into his path, though. We've got men over, though. Can Ollie Watkins get past Virgil van Dijk? He can't. That man is really struggling up front for us this season. Into Darwin Núñez. Surely he's got Mo Salah on the right-hand side. Doesn't look for him, though. Continues his run and brings it forward unopposed here. Trying to put a challenge in, but no one can. Lovely footwork from Darwin Núñez. He continues his run. Fires a ball into the back post. It's headed clear by my right back. That is the first real opportunity that Liverpool have had in front of our goal, as Diaby tried to get away as the referee blows for half-time. Well, it's 0-0 here. We are still yet to find the breakthrough, and of the two teams, we have certainly been the better one. But we cannot seem to find the back of the net, and we must not live to regret these moments. Otherwise, I'm sure Liverpool will be far superior here in the second half. Kamara, he gives the ball away to Luis Diaz now, and he can stretch his legs, goes past one of my defenders, tries to go past Kamara, does go past Kamara. Can he get past Sacha Boey? No, he can't. That man has been very, very good today. Virgil van Dijk. Out to Carvajal. McAllister, nice little one-touch pass into Curtis Jones. Liverpool trying to find an opening here, dancing around my midfield. Darwin Núñez takes it really nicely, forces a good save out of Martinez. And with 60 minutes on the clock here and is still yet to try and find an opening, I am going to try and shift gears. I'm going to try and see if I can find an opportunity here by putting two strikers up front. It does mean that our captain McGinn will be going off, but it also means it's a wonderful opportunity for Santiago Jimenez to make his debut and try and impress this Aston Villa faithful. Liverpool will have a corner though, and it's one it looks like they're going to go short here. McAllister does go short too. Mo Salah flings it across, headed away by Pau Torres, only out as far as Canate. Back to McAllister, into Moreno, what a save. Well, Liverpool have in this second half just started to turn up the gears here, and they, out of the two teams, do look like the more likely here. But it was a good piece of defending to block the pass into the box, but Mo Salah dances around one of my defenders. McAllister strikes, Martinez with another save. Liverpool with their third corner, and once again they're going to go short here. Luis Diaz fires it across. This time it's headed over the bar. I thought it was a Liverpool head, but it seemingly came off one of my defenders, and yet again they've got another corner, and yet again they fling it in. This time it's Diogo Costa. It's another big save. My word, Martinez is keeping us in the game here in this second half. Konza to try and bring it out of defence. Oh, it's so poor. He's giving it away really cheaply to McAllister now, and I've got to try and hold the line here. Stop McAllister from striking. What a piece of defending from Pau Torres. Tielemans now into Zaniolo. Zaniolo is hopefully going to try and release Jimenez down this left-hand side for his first opportunity to try and stretch his legs. Instead, he cuts back inside and looks for a nice ball, but gives it away with his first pass in an Aston Villa shirt, and that is not the start he nor I would have wanted. Now McAllister has the opportunity to break forward. End-to-end stuff here in the second half here at Anfield. Mo Salah cuts back inside, looking for McAllister, gets it back from him. This is a brilliant opportunity that Liverpool have fashioned. Mo Salah continues his run in the box as Stupinian, the new signing, with a huge challenge, and what a challenge that could turn out to be. Moussa Diaby plays a wonderful ball down the left-hand side into Zaniolo. Liverpool so open here, and Zaniolo has the opportunity to bring it forward. But it's a brilliant interception from Virgil van Dijk. Tried to play the ball into Jimenez. It just wasn't the right one to play, and Liverpool get it clear once again. Moussa Diaby. We are deep into stoppage time here, but we have the opportunity to try and bring the ball forward and try and fashion an opportunity. But Jimenez came on, and he's been really poor, it has to be said, since he's come on. He hasn't done anything at all as the referee blows for full time. Well, it's another game finished, and it's another game without a win. Neither team able to find the back of the net here. Defensively, we were solid, but going forward, yet again, we've got a lot of questions to be answered. Full time here at Anfield, it finishes Liverpool 0, Aston Villa 0. Now, to be fair, my decision to switch us to a 4-4-2 formation was a bit of a last-ditch attempt to try and find the back of the net, and seemingly it did not pay off. It felt like the team were a lot more open, and to be honest, I felt far more comfortable with this formation. Another poor performance from Ollie Watkins, though, and a really poor debut from Santiago Jimenez, only picking up a 5.1 rating. I can't seem to get the best out of my strikers so far this season. Let me know down in the comments below what you would do and how you would try and lift the spirits up front here for Aston Villa Football Club. And frustratingly, it seems like the bad news just keeps on coming, as despite Ollie Watkins finally getting on the score sheet, his single goal in the 30th minute was not enough as we lose at home, this time to Crystal Palace. 2-1. Only 4 points from our opening 5 games, and we are just 1 point above the relegation zone in 16th place. I can't help but feel like this team needs something else to try and take their focus away from our struggles in the Premier League. And so fortunately enough, the Europa Conference League has come at the perfect time. We've been drawn in a group with AZ Alkmaar, Legia Warsaw and Zepski OSK, in a group that we should easily achieve first place in. And so with us heading over to the Netherlands to face off against AZ Alkmaar in our opening game in the Europa Conference League, it is definitely time to put those Premier League struggles to bed and hopefully see if we can do a little bit better this time around in Europe. As it is our first game in Europe, I have decided to stick with my usual starting 11. The only change that I have made is that the goal scorer in a previous game last episode, Leon Bailey, comes in on the left-hand side of midfield as Zaniolo drops out of the squad and he's replaced by Jacob Ramsey on the bench. Odegaard bursting down the right-hand side, being chased down by the new signing Stupinian, and Stupinian does a really, really good job of defending. He has been very, very good since coming in the summer transfer window. It's now our captain, our leader, McGinn, to bring the ball forward. And he finds a Stupinian who's burst into the centre here. He's going to fire a ball all the way out to Sacha Boey, the other new signing on the other side of defence. He goes and gives the ball away really cheaply, and the attack breaks down. Sacha Boey, though, has the opportunity to make amends here as he tries to bring the ball infield, and he finds a nice pass into John McGinn. McGinn's going to try and feed this all the way out wide to Stupinian. He does a really good job of doing so, and he takes it down really nicely, but he can't seem to find an option in the centre of the box, so instead goes back infield to John McGinn. He's going to try and twist his way past this stubborn AZ Alkmaar defence here, but they are just not letting us through. They are absolutely locked inside the penalty areas. Diaby has an opportunity to strike, falls to Tielemans. Tielemans, and it goes wide. Stupinian again. He's certainly been the best player on the pitch so far in this opening 22 minutes as McGinn tries to wriggle away from this AZ Alkmaar defence. They are so stubborn at the back though. It is unbelievable. It is total backs to the walls job, even inside the opening half an hour here, but we still can't seem to break them down. Kamara tries to play it short into McGinn. He's going to strike from distance, plays it against the defender, and it falls to Ollie Watkins. And Ollie Watkins gets there ahead of the last man, and he puts us 1-0 up here in Europe. Well, he's finally got his first goal in the Premier League, and has that goal lifted his spirits? He had the pace and determination to get away from the final defender, and a brilliant volley past the goalkeeper to give him no chance, and to get his first goal of this European campaign. It's 1-0 Aston Villa here in the Netherlands. Stupinian again. Oh, really nice to get away from the challenge there. And he's got an option of Leon Bailey on the left-hand side, who cuts back in, looking for McGinn. McGinn, tried to feed it into Diaby. Good defending in the end, though. Martins Indy. AZ Alkmaar have barely got out of their own half so far in this game, and this is their first foray into my half here, and it's a good foray, as now they've got an opportunity to strike. They strike it straight at Martinez. Makes a bit of a meal of it, but we do about manage to get the ball clear. Musa Diaby. Nice little dink ball over to McGinn. He heads it down into the path of a Stupinian, and a Stupinian feeds in Ollie Watkins, and Ollie Watkins can now try and drive forward. Ollie Watkins to strike! Just puts it wide. Musa Diaby at the start of this second half to try and burst down this right-hand side. He's another man who's been fairly quiet so far in this campaign, but he's looking to change that here as he feeds it into Ollie Watkins, who strikes. It deflects off the defender for a corner, and it's going to be that man, Musa Diaby, to take, and he's going to try and fire it into the penalty spot, looking for Konza, who heads it down, and it's a good save in the end from Ryan. Leon Bailey in the centre of the park fires a wicked ball over to Sacha Boey on the right-hand side. He goes infield to Yuri Tielemans. He's looking for an option, can only find his way back to Sacha Boey. He's going to fire it across here. Good ball into the box. And he was inches away from reaching the head of Ollie Watkins there, but unfortunately AZ Alkmaar get it clear. Odegaard, nice ball into the centre of the park, but finds Pavlidis, who blazed it over the bar. Pavlidis into Odegaard. He skips away from the challenge of one of my defenders, but Alex Moreno on as a substitute does a really good job of winning the ball back, and he feeds in Kamara. Kamara also almost gave it away, but Leon Bailey now has it, and he turns around the defender really nicely, and he's got the pace to now burst down this left-hand side. He continues. What a piece of play here from Leon Bailey to fire it across. Look at Jimenez over the bar. We can't believe it. That was a big opportunity for him to score finally on his European Aston Villa debut, but he got the header all wrong. That was high and wide. Well, with under 10 minutes remaining on the clock here, it's so far so good. We are 1-0 up, but as you can see, anything can happen here, and AZ Alkmaar have an opportunity now to get into the box. McGinn, though, with a huge challenge, and now we can surely try and hit them on the counter-attack. Lovely pass into Jimenez, and he releases Leon Bailey again down this left-hand side, and he has the pace. Look at this. He's taken too heavy a touch. He's got it all wrong, and he makes it easy for the goalkeeper, and that really is a story of the attacking play at Aston Villa so far this season. Pau Torres into Kamara. Only moments remaining in this game here as Jimenez tried to feed a ball out wide to Buendia on the right side. Got it all wrong, but fortunately enough, it's Matty Cash who wins the ball back into Jimenez again. Jimenez tried to find Bailey, but the referee had enough, and he blows for full time. Well, it's that man's goal, Ollie Watkins, being the difference maker today between these two teams. As here at full time, in our first European game, it finishes AZ Alkmaar 0, Aston Villa 1. Well, it's 2 goals in 2 games for the Englishman, and are we finally starting to see the real Ollie Watkins? His goal is enough to put us top of our group with just 1 game played, and he'll be desperate to see if he can carry that form over to the Premier League, but it is not going to be easy as we face off against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. And with that midweek European game meaning that a bit of fatigue has crept into my usual starting 11, I have had to make a few changes. Martinez keeps his place in goal, as does Sacha Boey on the right-hand side of defence, but Diego Carlos comes in for his first start at the heart of my defence, and he partners Pau Torres along with Estupinian on the left-hand side. Douglas Luiz also starts his first game in the Premier League in central defensive midfield, with Tielemans and McGinn starting alongside him. Diaby, of course, starts on the right-hand side, and it's Buendia who finds himself on the left, with, of course, that man Ollie Watkins leading the line up front. Diaby into Douglas Luiz for his first touch in this game, and what a touch it is! What a ball into Sacha Boey. He tries to check back. It was the wrong option. Ollie Watkins is almost there. Chelsea at 6s and 7s at the back, but fortunately enough, Robert Sanchez manages to come out and snuff the chance. Stupinian down the line. I was looking for a ball into Buendia. I got it all wrong though, and now Chelsea can try and hit us on the counter-attack. It's Madueke down the right-hand side. He finds Chalaba. He tries to burst past to Stupinian. Does manage to wriggle his way past the Ecuadorian, and he continues his run into the box here, into Madueke. Madueke is held up though by Pau Torres, and it looks like Pau Torres has gone and given away a penalty here. I thought that was incredibly harsh, but seemingly the referee does not think so. Pau Torres shakes his head in disbelief. He's got his hands behind his back. He blocks off the player. I mean, it's a really, really harsh decision if you ask me. And you can see I'm absolutely furious here as Chelsea now have the opportunity inside the opening 20 minutes to put themselves in the lead. It is going to be Christopher Nkunku who's going to be the man to step up. Can Martinez save? No, he can't. He sends him the wrong way, and Chelsea take a 1-0 lead here at Stamford Bridge. Well, it was a good penalty by the Frenchman, completely sent me the wrong way, but it was just so frustrating. I am so disappointed to find ourselves 1-0 down. John McGinn now bursting into the Chelsea box. He's got a wonderful opportunity to cut it back to Buendia. What a save. Well, that was a brilliant response straight away to burst into the Chelsea penalty area, and we've got an opportunity here to try and cut back immediately. What a save again from Sanchez. Well, it's going to be our second corner of the game here, and surely we've got to try and take advantage of these opportunities. As Sacha Boey with his second head, and it's Sanchez with his third big save of the game. And it's going to be our third corner of the game here. It's another one Diaby's going to throw in. This time he looks for Boey again, and this time it's going to be a Chelsea goal kick, much to his frustration, into Moussa Diaby now. Moussa Diaby comes in field and plays a wonderful pass out to Estupinian, who heads it down really nicely. McGinn tried to feed it back to him, but in the end Chelsea defended that really nicely, and now Washington can bring it away from them. Cuts it back into Chalalaba. Has the momentum of this Chelsea attack gone? No, it hasn't, because Washington is bursting down this left-hand side. He goes past Pau Torres into Nkunku, who feeds it into Sterling. What a save from Martinez. It rebounds onto the bar, and somehow we manage to get that ball away. Buendia, he wriggles away from a challenge really nicely, and he plays a wonderful ball into McGinn. He feeds it back into Ollie Watkins, who bursts into the Chelsea box here. Watkins to strike, Watkins to score. Well, look at that. There just seems to be no stopping the Englishman now. It's his third goal in as many games, and he has turned his league form on its head. A brilliant, incisive counter-attack. The Chelsea defence had gaping holes open that we were more than happy to take advantage of, and it's a fabulous finish from the Englishman. Just curled it round the goalkeeper. Much to my delight, we're back on level terms. But it's Chelsea now who have a free kick in a really dangerous position right on the stroke of half-time. They fire into the box. Madueke gets his head all wrong, and the referee blows for half-time. Madueke for Chelsea inside the opening 5 minutes of this second half, and Madueke wins the ball back after a series of good challenges, but it's a Estupinian who wins it back for us. I've been so impressed with him since joining in the summer. Ollie Watkins, though, feeds a ball into Moussa Diaby, who switches it onto his left, and he fires a strike past Robert Sanchez to give us a 2-1 lead. Well, it's the Frenchman's first goal of the campaign, and it's Ollie Watkins' first assist. Moussa Diaby just shifted us onto his left, and look at that for a strike, low and hard, past the goalkeeper, into the bottom left-hand corner, and I'm delighted it's 2-1. Caicedo for Chelsea. They're going to try and look to strike back immediately here, and they've got it with Washington in a decent position. He's in the box, but Pau Torres makes amends for his earlier mistake inside the penalty area, and he makes a brilliant challenge, and now we can try and release a ball. What on earth was that? I was looking for a ball down the line into the path of Moussa Diaby, and Tielemans got that one all wrong. Lavia. Oh, that is a fabulous ball into the path of Raheem Sterling. He's going to try and be held up here, but he plays a wonderful ball into Washington into the box, and he blazes his strike over the bar. Tyrone Mings on as a sub, and in his first appearance and his first pass of the game, he goes and gives the ball away. Fortunately enough, though, he does manage to cover. He makes amends. Perhaps some rustiness from the Englishman there, and that is not really something we can afford right now, with us only being 2-1 up here, as Chelsea now have the momentum, and they try and burst forward with Nkunku. Can't get past Tyrone Mings, though. He does make amends. Eventually, we do manage to get the ball clear. Jacob Ramsey into Moussa Diaby. He's going to try and look for the overlapping run, but he's taken out from behind from Colwell. How on earth has he got a yellow card there? It was a two-footed lunge. He made no attempt to get the ball. And look at Jacob Ramsey. He's absolutely furious. He can't believe it. Let's check the replay out. It was a two-footed lunge straight through the back of Diaby, and he's a lucky man to still be on the pitch. McGinn for Villa to find a ball out wide to Alex Moreno, the left-back, who finds himself in a right-back position, but he's played a wonderful pass into Jacob Ramsey, who tried to play it across, and it could only play it into the path of that man, Levi Colwell, and he manages to get the ball clear. Well, we are deep into stoppage time here, and Chelsea have a free kick in a really dangerous position. It's going to be Christopher Nkunku who's going to step up to take it. He does take it, and Martinez with a really solid stop there, right at the death, as the referee blows for full time. Well, the fans celebrate here. As you can see, I celebrate as I shake the hand of Maurizio Pochettino. Both I and my players know just how important that victory was. That man's goal, Moussa Diaby, was the winner here today. As we seal 3 points at Stamford Bridge, it finishes Chelsea 1, Aston Villa 2. It's our first win of the season since our opening game against Newcastle, and it's a win that drags us back up the table into 12th place and gives us some much needed breathing room from the relegation zone. We're still not quite there yet in terms of our team cohesion, but with 3 goals in his last 3 games, Ollie Watkins is finally starting to find his feet this season. The new signing, Pervis Estupinian, has slotted in perfectly in that left-back spot, and with things going well for us in Europe, Europe so far, and our Carabao Cup campaign about to kick off, I am still confident we can achieve big things this season. But that is it for the end of today's episode. Thank you everyone for watching, and hopefully I'll see you again next time. Last episode saw us spend over £70 million on 2 new players as we got our Premier League and Europa Conference League campaigns back on track. And today it's time to begin Aston Villa's march towards Champions League football. But as ever, if you're enjoying the series so far, please feel free to like and subscribe, and let's get into today's episode. Now, a huge win away from home against Chelsea at the back end of last episode saw us climb away from the relegation zone, establish ourselves as firmly in a mid-table position, and start to close the gap on the final Champions League spot. But more importantly, after a bit of a difficult start to life this season in Aston Villa colours, Ollie Watkins has got his form back on track, scoring 3 goals in his last 3 games and now topping the goal-scoring charts. However, after a bit of a disappointing start to life in Aston Villa colours, the same cannot be said for his striking competitor, Santiago Jimenez. Since joining the club in the summer for £40 million from Feyenoord, he really has not hit the ground running. A 5.3 rating in the Premier League after 2 games and a 5.5 rating in the Europa Conference League. He is really struggling to fit in. Granted, he has only played 3 games and he hasn't exactly hit a lot of minutes so far. He will be hoping to try and turn his fortunes around as the season progresses. But with a Carabao Cup game up next against Fulham and the opportunity to rotate the squad, he is going to have the opportunity to make amends immediately. And speaking of rotation, there are some heavy changes to my starting 11. Martinez and Yuri Tielemans are the only 2 who have been able to keep their regular starting spots. That is because Matty Cash comes in at the back, Konza is partnered by Tyrone Mings, and Moreno also starts on the left-hand side of defence. Kamara comes in alongside Ramsey and Tielemans in the centre of the park. Zaniolo starts on the right-hand side, Leon Bailey starts on the left, and that man Santiago Jimenez will lead the line for us, and he will be desperate to try and impress for the first time here in front of the Aston Villa faithful. He's had a bit of a difficult start, but now is a fabulous opportunity to put things right. Konza to bring the ball out of defence and finds Jacob Ramsey, who's picked up a lovely pocket of space here, and I'm going to try and release a ball through to Leon Bailey. Has he got the pace to get onto the end of it? No, he doesn't. Tries to put the defender under a bit of pressure. The goalkeeper eventually just manages to hack it away, but it's been a fairly decent advanced start for us so far, but we've got to give the ball away really cheaply there. And Vinicius Junior's won it back in a dangerous position. Plays in Willian here. He's got an opportunity to play it into Andreas. What a strike! He sent it wide. Alex Moreno on the left-hand side finds a nice little short pass into Yuri Tielemans, who's got space to try and pick out an option here, and he instead goes all the way inside, feeds a ball into Jacob Ramsey. Lovely ball round the back into the path of Matty Cash. He's going to try and dink it back over. Gets the cross all wrong. Big opportunity and a big let-off for Fulham there, but Yuri Tielemans picks up the ball and he can continue the pressure. Lovely ball into Alex Moreno. Fires it across looking for Jimenez. Just couldn't get on the end of that one. Willian for Fulham. Oh, nicely done to get away from Matty Cash, and he's released Andreas Pereira here, who fires a pass all the way over to Tete on the right-hand side. Tete, though, is blocked off by Moreno, and now it is a foot race here. Can Zaniolo get on the end of it? Yes, he can. Lovely head down. Zaniolo to strike. Zaniolo to score. Well, look at the celebration. My word, he got incredibly lucky with that one, but he will not mind one bit. Well, it was the challenge from Alex Moreno, and it just fell into the path of Zaniolo. He had the pace to get away from the back line. He just nodded it down beautifully on his left foot. Just literally passed it past the goalkeeper. Gave him no chance. A brilliant finish. And he gives us a 1-0 lead here at Villa Park. Francois for Fulham. Tries to play a ball into Andreas Pereira, who's certainly been the danger man so far for the London team, but he hasn't managed to find an opening as our defence have been very, very strong so far. Jimenez is going to try and fire this one over. I was looking for the run of Leon Bailey. Couldn't quite find him though. Good piece of defending from Tete, who will now try and burst down this right-hand side. He's been chased down by Kamara. Manages to find a ball into that man, Andreas Pereira. This time it's Alex Moreno again with a brilliant challenge. And Tielemans now can release Leon Bailey. What a pass that is. And he has the pace now to drive down this left-hand side. Can he look for a ball inside? He does. Finds Alex Moreno. He cuts it back for Jimenez, who strikes straight at the goalkeeper. Well, he just can't seem to find the back of the net at the moment, but that was the best opportunity for him in this game so far as Konza heads it over the bar. Into Wilson. Wilson challenged well by Konza, and Tielemans now yet again can release Leon Bailey, and he has been the outlet all game for us so far. That pace is absolutely electric here. He's looking for an option, finds Jacob Ramsey, who strikes, and this time he makes no mistake. Well, the youngster getting his first goal of the season for Aston Villa, and it is a deserved goal on the balance of play. Once again, Leon Bailey's pace was just too much for the Fulham defence to handle, and this time he just slotted it into the path of Jacob Ramsey, who made the late run into the box, and with his left foot fired it past the goalkeeper. Once again gave him no chance, and this time gives us a 2-0 lead. Tyrone Mings, nice pass into the goal scorer Jacob Ramsey at the start of this second half, and oh my word, he's absolutely taken out there. It's a horrendous challenge. What on earth is going on this year's game? Challenges flying in from all angles, and yet they just do not seem to warrant red cards. Let's take another look at the replay here. Oh, that is an absolute joke. It's a stonewall red card. Their manager can't even believe it. How on earth have they stayed with 11 men on the pitch? Konza fires a wicked pass all the way out to Matty Cash on the right side, unmarked, and he fires a ball into the back post. And oh my word, Leon Bailey was inches away from getting on the end of that one. Tielemans out to Alex Moreno on the left-hand side. He looks inside. Unfortunately, it's cleared away by the Fulham defence. And now Paulinho can release Willian down this right-hand side. He's got the beating of Moreno for pace here. Moreno does eventually manage to get back, but doesn't manage to win the ball. Paulinho has it again. Back to Willian. They've got space here to try and pick a man out. They go to the back post. It's headed down. It's a Fulham corner. And it's one that Wilson is going to take. Looks like he's going to fire this one into the box. He does. He looks for the right back in Tete. He's headed away from the 6-yard box. Konza with the diving header. What a clearance from my centre-back. But Tete wins it again. He's unopposed, and he makes an absolute hash of that strike. But what is going on? The referee has blown the whistle. Tyrone Mings is getting a talking to here. Has he gone and given away a penalty? It was a weak shot, and that is an even weaker decision. Tyrone Mings cannot believe it. That is surely not a penalty. Mings, realising that he got the shot all wrong, just fell to the ground. And now Fulham have a wonderful opportunity to get themselves back in the game. Willian to step up and take. And my word, that is an absolute thunderbolt of a penalty. Buried it into the top left-hand corner. And Fulham are back in the game. It's 2-1. Francois for Fulham. They've got their tails up now because they've got themselves back in the game here. And we have to remain professional. We cannot lose our heads. And we cannot let them get any further back in the game and get an equaliser. But they're playing it really nicely here inside my half as they try and look to see if they can find an opening. But we're not letting them do it yet. And Tielemans now has the ball. And he has the opportunity to escape with it into the Fulham half. Plays a ball over the right-hand side, into Zaniolo. He can now burst into the box. Surely he's going to look for an option of Jimenez, who strikes. And Jimenez gets a bit of luck. But he will not care because he runs and celebrates in front of the Aston Villa fans as that man has his first goal in an Aston Villa shirt. Well, the Fulham defenders thought they did enough to track back, but Jimenez found the space. He fired a strike against the Fulham centre-back and he got a little bit lucky, but it just deflected over the goalkeeper. And oh, should the goalkeeper have done more there? Perhaps he should have. But again, that man will not care. And we have restored our 2-goal cushion. It's 3-1. Tete into Paulinho. Fulham, though, still looking alive here, trying to see if they can get themselves back in the game here and get a second goal as they fire a strike from distance. Easy in, though, for Martinez. Into Moreno. Moreno down the left-hand side, goes back inside for Tielemans, who gets challenged, but somehow manages to win the ball back here. And it's a wonderful pass into Leon Bailey. He's just straight offside. Andreas Pereira yet again for Fulham. We are deep into stoppage time here, well over the allotted time. Traore into the box, looks for Andreas Pereira, and he fires a strike past Martinez. And perhaps, though, for Fulham, is it too little too late? A wonderful piece of build-up play. Let's check the replay out again. Andreas Pereira into the right winger and gets it back. And perhaps Martinez could have done more there. But Fulham back in the game yet again. It's 3-2. Fortunately enough, though, for me, as you can see, the raucous celebrations from the Aston Villa faithful as we have managed to secure our passage into the next round of the Carabao Cup. An end-to-end game, but a victory that I feel was much deserved. That man will be delighted. His early goal was the key to us getting the victory here today. As at full time, it finishes Aston Villa 3, Fulham 2. Several of my players getting their first goals of the season, but there will be no one more delighted than this man, Santiago Jimenez. Not the greatest of games overall, to be fair, but he was in the right place at the right time. He got a bit of luck, and sometimes that is all you need to kickstart your season. It's his first goal in an Aston Villa shirt, and long may they continue. And with Ollie Watkins getting on the score sheet yet again and Diaby securing a late goal in the 74th minute, those two goals were enough to bring us back to winning ways in the Premier League as we beat Brighton at home 2-1. And it's our second win in a row in the Europa Conference League as we smash Legia Warsaw 4-1 at home. And it's almost a perfect performance from that man Jimenez, as despite him missing a penalty in the 28th minute, he managed to secure his first European hat-trick and his first hat-trick in an Aston Villa shirt. But now, though, with us climbing up to 11th place in the Premier League, it is time to turn our attention back to our domestic league as we have a huge clash away away from home at the Molineux against one of our arch rivals Wolves in what is going to be our first big game of the season. I'm sure the fans will be absolutely desperate to see how a team managed by myself gets on in our first rival game. And with it being such an important game, it is a return to the starting 11 for most of my top players. Martinez starts in goal, Bowie on the right hand side of defence, Konza and Torres in the centre with Estupinian on the left hand side, Douglas Luiz in the centre, partnered by Tielemans and McGinn. Leon Bailey starts on the left, Moussa Diaby starts on the right, and of course Ollie Watkins takes his place up front. Hwang for Fulham, trying to go inside, and he manages to go past one of my central defensive midfielders, and now Cunha has it again. Really positive start here from Wolves in the opening 5 minutes. Going to try and look to fashion an opportunity, but Bowie is there with a brilliant challenge, and now he can release Moussa Diaby into Ollie Watkins, who almost turned the defender beautifully there. He releases Estupinian down the left-hand side. He goes inside for Leon Bailey. Wolves, though, have managed to get all the men back here, and it has blunted our attack a little bit, but Douglas Luiz keeps it alive. Moussa Diaby's going to look for the overlapping run of Bowie. Lovely ball into him. He fires a ball into the box, but gets a corner, and it's going to be the first corner of the game that man, Yuri Tielemans, is going to take. He's going to fire this one into the penalty spot, looking for the head of Pau Torres with a thumping header. What a save from Jose Sarr. It's corner number 2, and I'm going to try the exact same tactic, looking for Pau Torres. This time he finds Konza, and this time the header does not go exactly where we want it to, and Wolves will clear their lines. Goes to Hwang on the left-hand side, gets it back for his troubles, and now he's going to play a wicked pass all the way out wide to Sarabi, who cuts back inside. Wolves looking to try and fashion an opening here, and that is a beautiful ball to the right back, Semedo. He's going to go one-on-one with Estupinian. Can the Ecuadorian stop him? Yes, he can. Semedo will take the throw, though, and it's Gomez who picks it up. Lovely ball into Cunha in the box. Instead, he lays it back into Bellegarde. Really nice stuff from Wolves. Hwang has it, goes past my defender, and what a strike, what a goal. Well, look at the celebration from the man. We were 6s and 7s at the back, but he scored with a powerful strike that gave the goalkeeper no chance whatsoever. Let's take a look at the replay. He was just dancing around on the edge of our box. Our defenders got all caught up, and that is a fabulous finish. Could Martinez have done more? Perhaps he could have, but it was still a brilliant finish, and that man's delighted. Wolves lead 1-0. Sacha Bowie. Look at Wolves. They've pretty much got every single man inside their own half here. They are going to be a tough nut to crack, as we've now had to go 1-0 down. They've got the inclination to just stay and behind the ball, but Moussa Diaby picks it up and strikes and plays it over the bar. Leon Bailey, really nicely done to get away from the defender, and now he's going to drive down this left-hand side. He calls Fulham all sorts of problems on this left-hand side, and he's hoping to do the same thing to Wolves here, but instead checks back in, looks for McGinn, who strikes from distance, plays it against the defender. Max Kilman for Wolves. Nice ball into Dawson to bring it out of defence. He finds a wonderful pass into Gomez, an unmarked Gomez, but Konza comes across with a really nice challenge, and now McGinn can release Tielemans now. Tielemans is surely going to try and look for an option down this left-hand side. He does find Leon Bailey, who finds Estupinian with the overlap, and Estupinian now will burst into space. He's going to try and feed a ball into the box. It's a good ball. Not good enough, though. Headed down into the path of McGinn. Bellegarde wins it back. We can't seem to break Wolves down here. Well, we find ourselves 1-0 down at the start of the second half, and we've got 45 minutes to try and right the wrongs of the first. We have not been able to carve out any real decent opportunities. We've got to hope that changes here, but just as I say that, we really go and give the ball away cheaply, and we give all the momentum back to Wolves, and they now will try and look to see if they can build up a 2-goal cushion, as Gomez now has it on the edge of the box. Lovely footwork to get away from my defenders, still has the ball out to Hwang. Bowie tries to put the challenge in. It was a good challenge. Eventually we can clear our lines. Bellegarde for Wolves, trying to skip away from the challenge of Tielemans, and Tielemans, in a bid to try and make a challenge, got it all wrong and ended up falling to the ground. Bit of a pathetic one in the end, and now Cunha can try and burst forward. Konza comes across, doesn't do enough. It's a wonderful ball into Gomez, who strikes. Martinez forced into his first save of the second half, and it's a corner here that Sarabia is going to take. Half an hour remaining on the clock, and out of the two teams, it does look like Wolves, I keep saying Fulham based on the last game, but Wolves look like they're going to be the more likely to score as Gomez strikes and drags it way wide. Well, desperate times call for desperate measures, and it means I'm going to switch to a 4-4-2 formation. Jimenez will come on to partner Ollie Watkins, and he will be hoping he can take his strong European form into the Premier League. Konza with the ball forward. Nice ball into Douglas Luiz. He turns and he's going to play a ball into Jimenez with a nice touch, releases Ollie Watkins, and he releases Diaby, and Diaby in the box now. Oh, he just didn't take the strike early enough. I thought that was going to be a perfect introduction to the game from Jimenez there to lay off a beautiful piece of play, but instead now Wolves will try and hit us on the counter-attack. Sacha Bowie came across, good defending yet again from the young Frenchman. Nelson Semedo into Gomez, gets it back, and now we'll try and burst down this right-hand side. He's got the beating of the substitute, Alex Moreno, for pace. He does. He bursts past him now into the box, cuts it back back for Cunha, who strikes, and it's off the post and out for a corner. Well, we got incredibly lucky with that one. That ball could have bounced anywhere. Fortunately enough, it only bounced out for a corner, which Wolves will throw into the box. Ollie Watkins to head it clear. Only out as far as Gomez, though. Wolves are pressing us now, looking for that second goal. Pedro Neto into Cunha. Cunha strikes. Cunha scores. Well, there can be no denying that Wolves have been the better of the two teams over the course of this game, but that celebration is just taking the mick. Again, we were all over the place defensively, and yet again we were opened up. This time it's Cunha with a fabulous finish on his left foot to surely seal the 3 points for Wolves to cap off a really disappointing display for Aston Villa. It's going to be Alex Moreno to try and bring the ball out of defence. I'm going to fire a ball all the way out to the right-hand side. Gave it away, though. That has pretty much been the story of the game so far. But Jimenez once again plays it into Diaby. He's going to try and look to do better than he did last time. Diaby with his right. Good save. But it's going to be a corner here that we've just tried and got to at least get a consolation. Konza will get his head on it, but he gets the header all wrong as the referee blows for full time. Well, the Wolves players celebrate. Look how much it means to them, and they know how much it will mean to the fans as well. The manager is delighted with their performance, and I can understand why, as at full time here at the Molineux, it finishes Wolves 2, Aston Villa 0. Well, it's our first game against our rivals this season, and it did not go the way we planned. Our positive momentum is brought to a halt, and unfortunately it leaves us rooted to mid-table. Only 3 wins so far in our opening 8 games, and 4 losses. This is really not the start I would have hoped for. We are going to jump straight back into the action though as we look to make amends almost immediately. And as you can see, it is West Ham who we will be hosting back at Villa Park once again. No real changes to my usual starting 11. The only main one really is that Leon Bailey drops to the bench and he's replaced on the left-hand side of midfield by Zaniolo into Tielemans. Tielemans surely going to look to try and put in a better performance than he did against Wolves. Zaniolo though picks it up into Estupinian. Estupinian into the box to McGinn, who tries to strike and he gets the strike all wrong. Fired it against the defender, and West Ham can get the ball clear. Mr. Diaby now to bring it forward, and Diaby's going to try and find a ball back into that man McGinn. He's going to try and look for a ball down the left-hand side to Zaniolo. It is a really good ball. He's going to try and dink it back in, looking for Ollie Watkins with a big head. What a save. Well, it's been a much better start here inside the opening 12 minutes than we finished off the game against Wolves last time. We are looking to make an immediate impact and to make amends after a terrible performance, and now Tielemans has the opportunity to throw it back into the box, looking for Zaniolo at the back post. Another big save. It's going to be our second corner of the game, and we're going to go for a tried and trusted technique into the penalty spot. We get it all wrong though that time. Kamara will get the opportunity to get there ahead of the defender, and he will pick it up. He will try and fire it back in. I was looking for the ball into Ollie Watkins, headed away by the West Ham defence. Pau Torres right the way over into the path of Sacha Bowie. Wonderful ball. He's going to try and drive to the edge of the box here. Plays it back into the path of Tielemans. Good defending though. Ogbonna. Lovely pass down the left-hand side to find Lucas Paquetá. Konza tried to come across to cover. Didn't do a good enough job. And now it's into the box to Tammy Abraham. And look at that for a finish. Well, on his return back to the Premier League and back into London, this time in West Ham colours, he makes us pay. They caught us napping and they caught Sacha Bowie out of position as he tried to attack. And it just left gaping holes in our defence that West Ham were all too eager to take advantage of. That man gives them the lead. It's 1-0. Diaby skips past the challenge of one defender, skips past the challenge of 2 defenders, and this is a brilliant run from the Frenchman into the box. Diaby gets us back on level terms just like that. Well, look at the celebration. What a goal, and that is potentially goal of the season so far for Aston Villa. Moussa Diaby just danced his way around the West Ham defence, and look at that for a finish on his weaker foot. Gave the keeper no chance. He's delighted. It's 1-1. West Ham have a free kick just inside our half that Jared Bowen's going to take. He fired it to the edge of the penalty area, but it was headed away there by my defenders, and now Zaniolo can bring it away. And has he got the pace to try and burst down this left-hand side? No, he doesn't, so instead decides to check back in and looks for the on-rushing McGinn. Really nicely done into Ollie Watkins. He finds a ball out to Sacha Bowie. That wasn't exactly the ball I was trying to play, but instead it is into the Frenchman, who fires it to another Frenchman. And this time Moussa Diaby gets his second. Well, within a blink of an eye, we have completely turned this game on its head. The 2 Frenchmen combine, and arguably that was a better finish than the first one. A brilliant cutback and a lovely little pass into the back of the net with a first-time finish. Beautiful stuff, and a beautiful way to get us into the lead here as we lead West Ham 2-1 at Villa Park. Ollie Watkins now at the beginning of the second half wins the ball back high, and McGinn trays a lovely ball into Zaniolo. On his left foot strikes. What a finish. Well, the goals are coming thick and fast here at Villa Park, and this time it is Zaniolo who's on hand to fire a strike into the bottom right-hand corner. It was Ollie Watkins who won the ball back high, but it was McGinn with a lovely ball into Zaniolo, but he still had a lot of hard work to do. A fabulous finish on his left foot. Gave the goalkeeper no chance, buried it into the bottom right-hand corner. David Moyes is frustrated. It's 3-1. McGinn again to win the ball back high. This time feeds it into Ollie Watkins. We are sensing blood here. Can we try and get a fourth to put the game to bed? It's Diaby into the box looking for his hat-trick. Brilliant save from the goalkeeper to put a stop to that one. Lucas Paquetá tries to strike, big save. Well, West Ham have got just under 10 minutes here to try and get 2 goals to at least equalise, and they've got an opportunity here as they throw the ball into the box. Only comes out to Paquetá. What a strike. What a block, though, from my central defensive partner. And now Paquetá has it again, though. He strikes this time. This time it's the goalkeeper who puts a stop to it. They've got another corner. This time, though, it does look like they're going to go short. No, they don't. They dummy it. They go into the box, and Cornet gets the head all wrong. Pau Torres. Nice pass into Zaniolo down the left-hand side, releases McGinn. He finds Jimenez on as a sub, into Moussa Diaby, looking for his hat-trick. Oh, he gets the strike all wrong. That will be that for the end of the game, though. The West Ham players look to the floor. They can't quite believe what they've seen today. I'm absolutely delighted. I salute the support of the fans. That man, Moussa Diaby, will perhaps go away slightly disappointed in the end, having missed a huge opportunity to seal his hat-trick. But his 2 goals and a goal from Zaniolo is enough at full time to seal the 3 points as we beat West Ham 3-1. It's Diaby's 4th goal in the Premier League, and it is enough to lift him to the top of the goal-scoring charts. And it's also enough to lift us back up into the top half for the first time in almost 8 games, as we are now closing in on that final Champions League spot. But after our winning streak in Europe unfortunately comes to an end, courtesy of a 1-1 draw away from home against Sepski OSK, we do, however, manage to bounce back immediately in the Premier League, as a late goal from the left-back Alex Moreno is enough to seal the 3 points as we beat Luton Town 3-2 at Villa Park. Speaking of 3-2 results, having knocked out Fulham in the 3rd round of the Carabao Cup, we have been drawn in a mouth-watering clash away from home at Old Trafford against English giants Manchester United. Now, normally a cup tie at Old Trafford against Manchester United would incite fear into the opposition. However, based on how Manchester United are playing in real life, we go there with no fear whatsoever. I am confident that we can go one more step in the Carabao Cup and continue our journey to silverware, hopefully at Manchester United's expense. A midweek game, though, does mean a few changes to my usual starting 11. Martinez does keep his place in goal, but Matty Cash comes in at the right-hand side of defence. Konza and Torres in the centre with Moreno on the left-hand side. Kamara is partnered by Jacob Ramsey and McGinn in the centre of the park, with Zaniolo starting on the left, Moussa Diaby starting on the right, and Santiago Jimenez will lead the line for us. Wan-Bissaka for United tries to burst past Zaniolo like he's not even there, and it's opened up a gap on the left-hand side that they are yet to take advantage of, but eventually they do manage to feed the ball out wide to Anthony. He cuts back inside, and in the end it's McGinn with a brilliant interception, and now Diaby into that man Jimenez. Surely he's going to try and release. I was going to try and release Matty Cash. It was a good interception though from Sergio Reguilon, the on-loan man from Tottenham. Højlund though tries to play a ball round the corner into Anthony. It's been an electric start here inside the opening 10 minutes. Brilliant challenge yet again from McGinn. 2 big challenges, and now we can try and burst away. Hannibal with the diving interception. My word, this is end-to-end stuff here at Old Trafford. Alex Moreno now has it, bursting into the centre. He feeds Diaby down the right-hand side. Diaby's got the pace to try and burst past Lindelof. Instead, he cuts back inside. Brilliant play from Diaby. Shifts it onto his left. What a strike, what a save. But it's going to be the first corner of the game, and it is one that the Frenchman Moussa Diaby will take, and I'm going to try and fire it into the penalty spot. Looking for the header. Konza, big save again. Well, we are just 16 minutes into this game, and already we are seeing action coming in thick and fast. Another ball back in, though. This time we aren't able to get to it. Kamara will feed it back out to Jacob Ramsey, though, for a second bite of the cherry. Fires it in, and the goalkeeper collects that one with no problems. Eriksen, nice little dink over the top into Sancho, and he feeds in Højlund. Højlund now to burst into the box, takes it away from Pau Torres. Good save. Well, this time it's going to be a Manchester United corner. End-to-end stuff here. Thrown into the box, headed away by Konza. Only out as far as Jadon Sancho feeds it back into Anthony. Lovely ball back into Christian Eriksen. Now it's Lindelof into Højlund. Højlund on the edge of the box, back to the centre-back. Lindelof who strikes over the bar. Much to my surprise, though, Martinez did get a touch on that, and it will be another Manchester United corner that Anthony now has into the box. Anthony looking for options. No one challenging him well enough, but eventually Pau Torres does, and now McGinn can release Zaniolo, and look at the space he's got to drive into here. Has he got the pace to try and get away from Wan-Bissaka? Yes, he does. Has he got anyone he can feed into the box? Looks for a ball in, looking for the run of Jimenez. Couldn't quite find him. Diaby tried to get on the end of it. We couldn't, though, take advantage of that situation. Zaniolo, lovely round the corner pass into the path of Alex Moreno into Jimenez. Jimenez does a really good job of holding up play here. Tries to feed a ball out wide to Matty Cash. Really nicely done. Cash drives into the box, tries to cut it back. He didn't have anyone in there, but Jacob Ramsey eventually manages to keep hold of the ball. Fires it in, headed away by Lindelof. We're knocking on the door here, but we can't seem to break it down. Matty Cash across the box. In the end, that was to absolutely no one. And it's another opportunity wasted. Sancho, though, now will try and bring it clear into Højlund. Konza, though, with a huge challenge. Bruno Fernandes tried to win it back. This time it's played out wide to McGinn. My word, I am struggling to keep up with the action here at Old Trafford. McGinn ends up losing it to Wan-Bissaka. And now Correa can bring it forward for Manchester United. Into the path of Højlund. He's being chased down by Kamara. Good covering from the central defensive midfielder. Alex Moreno fires it all the way over to Matty Cash on the right-hand side. Nice little switch of play there. And he does the dummy round the right back. And now Diaby can try and just swing his way round. Christian Eriksen into the box he goes. Cuts it back looking for Jacob Ramsey, who strikes it straight at the goalkeeper. Nice pass into Zaniolo, who's come central. And Zaniolo's going to try... I was trying to release Jimenez. I just couldn't get the pass right, and if he had done, he would have been clean in then, but it was good defending from Manchester United. And now Mejbri can now bring it down this right-hand side. He's going to go one-on-one with Alex Moreno, instead cuts it back looking for Correa. Lovely ball into Højlund. Højlund looking for the power shot, and in the end it was a good piece of defending. It fell very kindly to Emi Martinez. Jacob Ramsey turns really nicely and he releases Matty Cash down this right-hand side. Cuts back in looking for Diaby. The ball was there for Jimenez, we just couldn't find it. Pat Torres looks for Alex Moreno down the left-hand side, turns the defender really nicely, checks back in, looks for Jimenez. Jimenez strikes with his left. What a strike from the Mexican. Well, it got onto his favoured foot, and he made no mistake from just inside the box. He celebrates, and rightly so. We have been knocking at the door all game, and finally, it is Santiago Jimenez who's managed to knock it down. A brilliant finish right across the goalkeeper. I'm absolutely delighted. It's 1-0. Manchester United have a free kick here, and surely they're just going to try and fire this one into the box. Instead, they go back. What a strange free kick that was. Now it's Bruno Fernandes into Hannibal. He goes out wide to Wan-Bissaka. He's got an option into the box though. Finds Jadon Sancho on his left, and he goes wide. McGinn into the path of Moussa Diaby. Less than just a couple of minutes remaining on the clock here. We are deep in stoppage time, and surely we are going to be the most likely to score here, as Jacob Ramsey tried to go past Sergio Reguilon. It's out to Onana, who hacks it clear as the referee blows for full time. It's another end-to-end, hard-fought game, but this time it is one that we take the spoils from. That man, Santiago Jimenez, is absolutely delighted. One shot on goal, one shot on target, and that equalled one goal that was the difference maker between the two teams today. As at full time here, it finishes at Old Trafford, United 0, Aston Villa 1. Well, there can be no doubt it has been an up and down episode, to say the least. Things are looking rosy in the Europa Conference League as we are top in the group after the first 3 games. Back-to-back victories in the Carabao Cup see us progress to the quarter-finals, where we will face off against Newcastle United. And after a few up and down results in the Premier League, we have managed to drag ourselves up to 8th position, and now we are only a few points off of the final Champions League spot. That is going to be everything though for today's episode. I hope you have enjoyed it, and hopefully I'll see you again next time. Last episode saw us begin our climb up the Premier League table, an edge ever closer to our first piece of silverware after beating Manchester United in the Carabao Cup. And with a huge series of games to get through today, we're continuing our march towards glory. And as ever, if you're enjoying the series so far, please feel free to like and subscribe, and let's get into today's episode. And we are starting off by getting stuck straight into the action, facing off against a resurgent Nottingham Forest team in the Premier League, a team who find themselves all the way up to 5th place, and one that unfortunately, due to a lot of fatigue setting into the camp, one that we've had to make several enforced changes to against. Starting off with Martinez keeping his place in goal, but Sacha Boey starts at right back, Tyrone Mings and Longley start in the central defence with Estupinian on the left-hand side. Douglas Luiz, Yuri Tielemans are partnered by Buendia in the centre, with Zaniolo on the left-hand side, Leon Bailey on the right. Ollie Watkins keeps his place up front. Wani being held up there by Tyrone Mings, who will be desperate to try and force his way back into the starting 11 after a surprise starting spot here against Nottingham Forest. He's done a really good job of winning the ball back and then goes and gives away a cheap free kick in a very dangerous position. And it's one that looks like Junior is going to just float into the penalty area here, as all the Nottingham Forest players have kept themselves in an onside position, and then he's got an absolutely ballooned it over the bar. Nice pass out to Estupinian. Estupinian looks down the line and it gets intercepted well, but Zaniolo then wins that ball back, and can he release a ball into Ollie Watkins? It was a poor ball, but he's going to try and release a ball into the on-rushing Leon Bailey. Doesn't manage to, but we do manage to just about keep the ball alive. Zaniolo looking for the overlap, finds Estupinian. Estupinian fire it into the box. This time finds Leon Bailey, who just puts it over the bar. But it's been an up and down start here in the opening 15 minutes at the Forest ground, but neither team able to break the deadlock here. But we are pressing Nottingham Forest high as Zaniolo tries to win the ball back from Serge Aurier, and he gives the ball away in response to Ollie Watkins, who's in the box. Ollie Watkins to strike straight at the goalkeeper. Another big let-off for Forest. Down the left-hand side into the former Chelsea man Hudson-Odoi. He gets chased down by Sacha Boey, but manages to wriggle away from him, and eventually the Frenchman does manage to win the ball back. Leon Bailey can get there ahead of the Nottingham Forest defenders, and now he can can bring the ball forward. Can I try and release Ollie Watkins? Yes, I can. Into the box. Ollie Watkins off the post. How on earth have we not taken the lead here? Out to Estupinian on the left-hand side. Cuts it back into Buendia. Nice little one-touch back into Estupinian. Back into the box. Ollie Watkins this time takes too long with his shot. And the Nottingham Forest defenders just about managed to get the ball clear. What on earth is happening here? We just have not found our shooting boots. As now Hudson-Odoi tries to stretch his legs down the left-hand side. Cuts it back to Awani. End-to-end stuff here. Mangala now slows the play down. Finds Nuno Tavares. He finds Hudson-Odoi, who's then challenged by Sacha Bowie. Wins the ball back. Nottingham Forest still have the opportunity to get themselves into the lead. Tyrone Mings with a block. Awani, what a save from Martinez. Oh my word, I'm struggling to catch my breath here in the opening 35 minutes here of our first game of this episode, and what a start it has been. Danilo on the edge of the box finds Mangala. He into Awani, and again Martinez with a big save. Going to be another Nottingham Forest corner, and it's one that Callum Hudson-Odoi is going to fling into the box this time, looking for the centre-back, and he just puts it over the bar into Ollie Watkins. Ollie Watkins goes out wide to Zaniolo, going to try and surely look for the overlap again. This time finds Estupinian. Estupinian into Ollie Watkins. He takes a touch, takes numerous touches and gets blocked off. He just cannot seem to find the back of the net. Youri Tielemans now, who's been fairly quiet in the opening 45 minutes, looking to make a change here in the second half. And he plays a wonderful ball into Zaniolo, an even better ball into Ollie Watkins. And this time Ollie Watkins does find the back of the net. Well, he slides on his knees in celebrations. And what a brilliant, much-needed goal that is for the Englishman today. A brilliant ball over from Tielemans and an even better through ball from Zaniolo. He laid it on a plate and he didn't even need a touch to set himself. He just smashed it with his right foot past the goalkeeper, gave him absolutely no chance, and he gives us a 1-0 lead here at Nottingham Forest. All the way over to Estupinian. Wonderful ball here, really just to switch the play and open things up as Buendia now feeds it into Ollie Watkins. He's got his tail up here, as do the rest of the Aston Villa players. Fires it into the box. There wasn't the spearheading attack to win it back, but this time Douglas Luiz picks it up and strikes. What a strike it was, and what a fabulous save from the goalkeeper. Awani now has options up ahead of him, finds Mangala. He tried to thread a ball through, but Longley, on a very, very rare start for the Frenchman, does manage to intercept the ball, and now he can release us, and Leon Bailey tries to go past Sanguer, but doesn't manage to. Nuno Tavares to bring it now out of defence. What a run from him, and he drives down this left-hand side. Sacha Bowie comes across, Nottingham Forest corner, and it's going to be one again that Callum Hudson-Odoi is going to take, and again he's going to float this one into the box here, headed away by Tyrone Mings, only out as far as Divock Origi, but he doesn't take a particularly good touch, and now Ollie Watkins is taken out. Somehow the referee doesn't even blow for a foul, but we eventually get the ball away. Zaniolo, nice pass into McGinn on as a substitute, and Zaniolo gets it back from him. And look at this drive into the penalty area. He was trying to be unselfish and play it across to Ollie Watkins. Perhaps that was the wrong decision. Awani now for Nottingham Forest. Just 10 minutes remaining on the clock here for Nottingham Forest to try and get a goal. And remember, it is only 1-0 here, so we are hanging on by a thread. Despite all of the opportunities we've had, we haven't managed to make them pay. But Leon Bailey now is going to try and make them pay as he drives down the right-hand side. Feeds a wonderful ball across to Zaniolo, who somehow, some way, puts it wide into Origi. Danilo, well intercepted by Youri Tielemans, and now we can try and break yet again. What a pass there from Leon Bailey into Ollie Watkins. He's just got absolutely nothing left to give. He's absolutely shattered leading the line, but it does not matter because the referee blows the whistle for full time. While those two celebrate, it was that man, Youri Tielemans, who pulled the strings at the heart of my midfield in the second half. The Nottingham Forest players cannot quite believe what they have seen here today, but it is that man, Ollie Watkins. His goal is enough to prove the difference here today between the two teams. As at full time here, it finishes Nottingham Forest 0, Aston Villa 1. It's a solid display and another clean sheet for that man, Emi Martinez. In the absence of John McGinn, he took the captain's armband and he led from the back. He provided the foundation for a wonderful performance, and he will be delighted with the clean sheet. And the fans will be even happier because despite that win only taking us up one place to 7th place, we are now just 3 points behind a 4th placed Everton, and we are right in the hunt for those Champions League spots. Before we worry about the Champions League though, we got the small task of the Europa Conference League to focus on. But we make it look easy. 2 goals from Jimenez once again in Europe gives us a solid 2-0 win at home against Sepski OSK. It puts us in a commanding position in the group stage, and just one more point will officially confirm our path to the knockout rounds. Unfortunately though, we couldn't take that positive momentum back into the Premier League, as despite a late goal from Ollie Watkins, it was only enough to secure 1 point as we draw at home to Fulham 1-1. It keeps us in 7th place in the league, but we're now overtaken by Nottingham Forest once again, and now unfortunately we are 4 points behind Manchester United in 4th and 8 points behind the team that we will be playing next in the Premier League in Tottenham Hotspur. It looks like they're following the positive start they've had in real life under Ange Postecoglou here on this career mode. But for us, it's a real opportunity to show that we've got what it takes to mess with the big boys. And because of that, it is a return to my usual strongest starting 11. Martinez, of course, keeps his place in goal. Sacha Boey at right back. Diogo Carlos, Pau Torres and Estupiñán make up the back line. Kamara, Tielemans and McGinn start in the centre with Zaniolo on the left. Moussa Diaby on the right, and Ollie Watkins up front. Into Kulusevski on the right-hand side. He's being pressured and gives the ball away, straight away to Zaniolo, and it's a horrendous start from Spurs here. Zaniolo looking for an option in the box, finds Ollie Watkins. What a strike, what a save. Doggy for Spurs. Nice ball into the path of Heung-min Son, who starts on the left-hand side, tries to just knock it past Tielemans, and in the end gives it to James Maddison. Nice little cut back into the South Korean. He's still got it, but gives it back to the Italian Udogi. This time it is Tielemans who comes across to make the challenge, and now he can release Moussa Diaby, who manages just to skip away from the challenge of the Tottenham defenders. Now Moussa Diaby can try and play a ball all the way out wide to Estupiñán. Pedro Porro has not read that at all, and Estupiñán drives into the box. What a finish, what a goal. Well, what a start here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. End-to-end stuff, but it is Aston Villa who break the deadlock first. Well, Tottenham all over the place at the back, and it's a mistake from Pedro Porro. He didn't read the ball well at all. A lovely ball through, though, from Moussa Diaby, and the left-back Estupiñán, the new signing for Aston Villa, was on hand to score a wonderful goal past the Vicario, the goalkeeper for Spurs, and he gives us a 1-0 lead, much to my delight. Højbjerg for Spurs, well intercepted by McGinn, and he releases Moussa Diaby down this right-hand side. The Frenchman continues his run into the box, keeps the ball, and he puts it into the back of the net, just like that. What on earth is going on with the Tottenham Hotspur defence? Kulusevski, you could see in the corner of the picture just a second ago, had his head in his hands. Well, once again, they completely fell asleep, and this time it's Moussa Diaby. The pace of the Frenchman, just too much for the Spurs back line, and it was a lovely finish with his left foot, gave the goalkeeper no chance yet again, and again, to my delight, it's 2-0. Estupiñán. Nice pass into Ollie Watkins, who releases Zaniolo again, and Spurs are just totally open. This high line that they are playing, we are taking advantage of, and Zaniolo fires it high and wide. That was a big opportunity to put this game to bed within the first 36 minutes. One that Zaniolo just couldn't take, but Spurs are just all over the place at the back at the moment. Out to Kulusevski, cuts it back to Højbjerg, and now Kulusevski gets it back yet again. For his first opportunity really to drive down this right-hand side. Instead he checks back inside, looks for the former Chelsea man in Morata, who has the ball and strikes, and he strikes past the goalkeeper to get Spurs back in this game right on the stroke of half-time. Well, from absolutely nothing, Spurs have scored. It was a wicked strike from that man Morata, and he will be delighted. It's 2-1. Doggy gets it back again. Spurs now got the bit between their teeth at the start of this second half here. We had all the chances in the first, but we did not make them pay, and we've got to make sure that that does not come back to bite us here as we bring the ball forward, but Spurs intercept. I've got a feeling this is going to be a very end-to-end game here in this second half as Ollie Watkins brings the ball forward. He's tussling with the Spurs centre-back, and he was just inches away from getting away from Romero and perhaps putting the ball in the back of the net, but once again we don't make it count. And once again Spurs can clear the lines. Maddison now the danger man into Morata, leading the line well for Spurs, and he just drives past Diego Carlos like he's not even there, into the box looking for the cutback, but Carlos comes back across. Brilliant recovery defending, and now he can release Moussa Diaby. He can try and go past the Spurs defence. He releases Ollie Watkins. He stayed on side, and Ollie Watkins now to burst into the Spurs box and strike. Ollie Watkins restores our 2-goal cushion. That man is on absolute fire in recent times, and yet again he's found the back of the net. Well, I said it was going to be an end-to-end half, but my word, it has lived up to its name. Ollie Watkins, though, was released by Moussa Diaby, and look at that for a strike. Gave the keeper no chance. It's 3-1. Kulusevski for Spurs into Benson Core. Højbjerg has it now for Spurs. He's got options on the left-hand side, but finds James Maddison, the danger man. Lifts a lovely ball back into Kulusevski. What a touch, what a strike, what a save. Well, Spurs, with just over 15 minutes remaining, still looking dangerous. They've got a short corner here. They feed into Maddison, tries a couple of step-overs. It's Zaniolo, though, who defends brilliantly. And now he can try and hit them on the counter-attack. Has he got any options in the centre? He finds Kamara, who lifts a ball right the way over to John McGinn. He takes it down brilliantly, drives down the left-hand side. I'm going to look for a ball across into Diaby, headed away by the Spurs left back in Udogi, and then somehow Zaniolo still keeps the ball, strikes with his left, rebounds off the Spurs defence, and they get it clear once again. Son into Kulusevski. Morata. My word, this is end-to-end stuff here as Pedro Porro now tries to get away from Estupinian. Cuts it back inside for Kulusevski. Brings the ball forward, tries to get away from Kamara. Releases Morata down the right-hand side. He cuts it back in for Son. Son strikes, plays it over. Moreno, on as a sub, finds Douglas Luiz. He turns brilliantly and tries to feed a ball all the way out wide to the right-hand side, but it's well intercepted by Udogie. But Buendia on as a substitute, wins it back well. Diaby now, tried to feed in Ollie Watkins. It was a brilliant interception again, and again we could have been in there, and it could have been 4-1, as Udogie now to bring it out of defence, as the referee blows for full time. Well, an end-to-end game results in another Aston Villa victory here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Another fine performance from that man Ollie Watkins as he finds the back of the net once again. As we secure another 3 points, it finishes Spurs 1, Aston Villa 3. And with that victory extending our unbeaten run so far this season, it also sees Estupinian score his first goal in an Aston Villa shirt. He's been an absolute monster since coming in at left back for us in the summer, already gone up to 82 rated, and I've got a feeling he is potentially going to be one of the best left backs in the Premier League by the end of the season. And speaking of the Premier League, that win against Spurs has lifted us right up into 5th place, and we are now just 2 points behind Manchester United, chasing down the Champions League spots. But with things looking up in the Premier League, I can't quite say the same thing about the Europa Conference League. We do not get the point that we need. We lose 1-0 at home against AZ Alkmaar, and it means it's going to come down to the very last game of the group stage for us to at least secure passage to the next round, let alone winning the entire group. And frustratingly, we do not bounce back in the Premier League, as away from home we only managed a point, this time against Bournemouth. But with us desperate to get back to winning ways, it's Manchester City who we host at Villa Park, with that man Jack Grealish, I'm sure, desperate to make an impression against his former club. There is only one change to my usual starting 11, and that is Konza coming back in at the heart of my defence, with Diego Carlos unfortunately picking up a knock, which rules him out for today. Erling Haaland, lovely little touch, tries to play it into the path of Rodrigo. Pau Torres tried to come across, and he's done a wicked job of defending that, has the Spaniard, because if he hadn't done that, Manchester City would have been clean through. Sacha Boey heads it down into the path of Yuri Tielemans, and now we can try and break on this Manchester City team. He's going to try and feed a ball across into the path of Ollie Watkins, well intercepted though by Kevin De Bruyne. Out to the former Aston Villa man in Jack Grealish, who again I'm sure will be eager to make an impression here at Villa Park in front of his former fans, and he drives down this left-hand side. He's been chased by Yuri Tielemans, not chased enough though, cuts it back in for Julian Alvarez. He now tries to cut back inside, he does just that. This time it's Sacha Boey who comes across, is bundled around. How on earth have City still managed to keep hold of the ball? Martinez almost lost it there. Haaland almost had his goal, but fortunately enough we just about managed to get the ball clear. Out to Stupinian on the left-hand side. I'm going to try and switch the play all the way over to the right-hand side. What a fabulous ball that is. Sacha Boey plays it back across. No one in the box. Nathan Ake cleared it away. But my word, what a ball from Estupinian. What a signing that man has been. We now somehow keep the ball alive though with Yuri Tielemans. He plays it into Moussa Diaby, who switches it onto his left and strikes wide. Ruben Diaz for City. Well challenged by Ollie Watkins, and now McGinn has it. Plays it into Kamara. He feeds a ball all the way out to Zaniolo. Beautiful stuff. Zaniolo across. Looked for Moussa Diaby, who I think had just strayed offside. Yes, he had. But it doesn't matter for City. They defended that one really well, and they clear their lines. De Bruyne now to bring it out of defence. He's got an option of Erling Haaland, who finds Rodrigo on the right-hand side. Has he got the pace to go past Pau Torres? Instead cuts back in for Erling Haaland, who feeds a wonderful ball into Bernardo Silva. And that is absolutely fabulous. Well, Bernardo Silva just ghosted in behind my defence, and he celebrates wildly, and rightly so. What a fabulous goal. Well, I thought he'd strayed offside, but clearly not. Lovely ball and a lovely run and an even better finish. Martinez had absolutely no chance. And much to my frustration, Manchester City take an early lead here at Villa Park. That's a Stupinian, really nice touch and turn from him, and now he feeds in McGinn. He finds Zaniolo. Zaniolo into Ollie Watkins, turns, strikes, puts it way wide. Jack Grealish to start off this second half by just dancing his way round Sacha Boey and driving through the heart of my midfield. He somehow still has it. Kamara tries to put a challenge in. 3 men could not get the ball off him, and Haaland feeds it in. What a brilliant save from Emi Martinez to keep us in the game. Julian Alvarez for City. City now have their tails up here, and it looks like it's Rodrigo on the edge of the box. Feeds in Kevin De Bruyne, gets it back. Bernardo Silva into Haaland. Another huge save from Emi Martinez. It's going to be a corner here for City. 10 minutes into the the second half, and they are in the ascendancy. They certainly look like they're going to grab a second here as Jack Grealish once again dances round my fullback. Julian Alvarez again into Diaz. Bernardo Silva this time comes across. Jack Grealish has the opportunity to put it into the box. Cuts it back though. Rodrigo now has it. Well intercepted by Yuri Tielemans. My word, City have taken complete control at the start of this second half. We just can't seem to get out of our own half here. Instead though, they go and give the ball away. And now Moussa Diaby can stretch his legs as the Frenchman got the pace to get past Sergio Gomez. No, he doesn't. That was a big opportunity for us as he was one-on-one. Wasn't able to make advantage though. And now Alvarez can bring it forward for City. Into Bernardo Silva, into Haaland. What a challenge from Pau Torres here. End-to-end stuff as we go and give the ball away again. Bernardo Silva now to get way from my midfield. Into Alvarez. Alvarez to strike. Another huge save. Rodrigo with the throw. Into Bernardo Silva. He's been chased down by Pau Torres, but Haaland strikes. And it's a good save yet again from Martinez. That man has kept us in the game so far in this second half. Now Moussa Diaby to release Yuri Tielemans. Yuri Tielemans to try and drive forward. He doesn't have the pace, but I'm going to try and release Ollie Watkins. It wasn't the best ball. You expect better from the Belgian. And now Alvarez can release Haaland. And that man, Haaland's got the pace to get away from my defenders. Look at that for a touch and turn. What a strike. Martinez cannot be beaten in this second half. How on earth are we only 1-0 down here? Haaland has absolutely peppered our goal. The rest of the Manchester City players have peppered our goal. But that man, Emi Martinez, has had an absolute worldie of a performance here in the second half. His saves have kept us in the half, but just as I say that, Pau Torres gives the ball away. And luckily enough for us, Haaland was offside. Trying to get away from the challenge of Bernardo Silva, does just that and releases a Stupinian. He releases Zaniolo down the left-hand side. Zaniolo has options in the box. Instead cuts it back to McGinn. He checks it onto his right and strikes. What a big save from Ederson. And it was the first save he's really had to make this half. Jacob Ramsey, on as a substitute, is going to take the resulting corner, fires it in. Just under 10 minutes remaining here as Zaniolo. What a header and what a way to bring us level here at Villa Park. The stadium goes absolutely crazy. It is absolutely electric here. What a goal! It is 1-1. Emi Martinez dances in celebration. He cannot quite believe it. Well, look at this. It's a fabulous corner by Jacob Ramsey, who's just come on. And what a towering header from Zaniolo. He just looped it over Ederson. He had absolutely no chance. It was brilliant. It's arguably the best goal he scored all season. Look at that. It's a wonderful header. Gave the keeper absolutely no chance. And somehow, some way, we're back on level terms. Well, there is just under 5 minutes remaining on the clock here for one of these two teams to go and snatch victory. Is it going to be Manchester City? Is it going to be Aston Villa? Who knows? But Jack Grealish now feeds it into Bernardo Silva. He has got just 4 minutes of stoppage time to try and make something happen here. Weaves his way around to find Haaland. He finds Grealish, drives into the box. Grealish cuts it back onto his right. Sacha Boey with a huge challenge as Konza now will bring the ball out of defence. The referee blows for full time. What a game of football we've witnessed today. Well, the Aston Villa players walk off the pitch. They have got to be absolutely delighted. It was a real tough performance, but we had to dig in, and that man dug us out of a hole in the second half. It finishes here at full time at Villa Park. Aston Villa 1, Manchester City 1. And while Zaniolo might claim the plaudits after a dramatic late equaliser, for me it was all about this man, Emi Martinez. If it wasn't for his saves in the second half, there would not have been a game to equalise for. I cannot remember the amount of times I've seen a goalkeeper make so many saves in a half. I lost count of the amount of saves, but that man has been absolutely sensational so far this season, and he continues his fine form. But after two back-to-back incredibly tough games in the Premier League against the likes of City and Spurs, we are about to face off against another one, as we are about to welcome this man's former club in Arsenal to Villa Park once again. And with fatigue continuing to creep through the camp, once again I do have to make several changes. Of course, Martinez keeps his place in goal, but Matty Cash will start on the right-hand side of defence. Diego Carlos and Tyrone Mings will start at the back, with Moreno on the left-hand side. Douglas Luiz is partnered by Buendia and McGinn in the centre of the park. Zaniolo starts on the left. Diaby starts on the right. And of course, Ollie Watkins starts up front. Gabby Jesus for Arsenal. Wonderful challenge by Diego Carlos. And he releases Zaniolo, who in turn releases Ollie Watkins, who drives down the centre here. He's being chased down by Saliba. What a brilliant piece of defending. But somehow, Ollie Watkins manages to keep hold of the ball, only to give it away cheaply to Jorginho. Diego Carlos into Alex Moreno. Tries to go down the line, but it was well intercepted by Ben White. And now Arsenal have the ball with Declan Rice. He tries to play a ball back into the path of Jorginho, who brings it forward. Diego Carlos, though, that man has been brilliant so far in the opening 14 minutes as he tries to release Ollie Watkins, who just took a little bit too much time there. And now Arsenal can bring the ball out of defence into Thomas Partey. He finds Mendy on the left-hand side. Mendy to try and go past Diego Carlos, who yet again comes across. A fabulous piece of defending. That man has been like a wall in the opening 20 minutes. Diaby now down the right-hand side. End-to-end stuff here at Villa Park. The Frenchman has got acres of space to drive into here, but he doesn't have any options in the box. Instead cuts it back. Ollie Watkins is blocked. What a block it was. Somehow we have not been able to take the lead. It's going to be Douglas Luiz, though, who's going to take the resulting corner. He's going to fire it into the box, looking for the head of the smallest man on the pitch in Moussa Diaby. In the end, Buendia will win back the ball. Douglas Luiz for firing, and again Ramsdale with a flying and acrobatic save. Somehow, though, Arsenal will get the ball away once again. Gabby Jesus into Declan Rice, and now Saka down the right-hand side. He's got the pace to surely to beat Tyrone Mings. No, he doesn't. Brilliant defending from the Englishman. And now he releases Alex Moreno. Again, end-to-end stuff here, but Ben White intercepts the ball well, and now Gabby Jesus to bring it forward. Mings, though, tried to come across. Doesn't do a good enough job. Martinelli into Thomas Partey. Oh, my word. Diego Carlos. What an absolute monster he has been at the back so far. Mr. Diaby looks for a ball round the corner into Matty Cash. Can't get there ahead of Saliba. Good defending from the young Frenchman at the heart of the Arsenal defence. And Martinelli just manages to knock it past Diego Carlos here. He's tracking back, but it's Gabby Jesus in the box. A big save from Martinez. And this time, though, it is Arsenal who managed to get onto the second ball. I believe it was Jorginho who managed to get there first. And frustratingly for us, Arsenal take a 1-0 lead. It was, in fact, Jorginho. Martinez, though, he could have done more. He just palmed it right into his path. Not the best goalkeeping from the Argentinian against his former club. He couldn't get a hand to it. And instead, Jorginho, much to his frustration, gives Arsenal a 1-0 lead. Matty Cash. Nice pass into Buendia. Looks for the overlapping run of Diaby. Diaby now to release Matty Cash again. And Matty Cash now surely is going to cut it back to Ollie Watkins. He does. Well blocked again, though, this time from the Arsenal defence. Martinelli to feed in Thomas Partey, who the defensive midfielder finds himself in the most advanced position. It is Diego Carlos, it's Tyrone Mings who came across with another brilliant challenge. Those two centre-backs have been fabulous in the first half. Diego Carlos, lovely pass all the way out wide to Alex Moreno on the left-hand side, who checks back in looking for Zaniolo. Brilliant play here from the Italian, who strikes straight at Ramsdale. McGinn. Oh, lovely little turn away from the Arsenal midfield, and then goes and gives the ball away cheaply to Declan Rice. Douglas Luiz wins it back. Cannot win the second ball, though. Jorginho, the goal scorer now for Arsenal, plays a nice pass into Saka, who just knocks it past Moreno. Cuts back inside for Gabby Jesus. He finds Thomas Partey. Well intercepted, though, again from the Aston Villa defence. And now it's a wonderful ball through into the path of Zaniolo. Has he got the pace to drive into the Arsenal box? Yes, he does. What a strike. What a goal. And it's deservedly so. It was a brilliant run from the Italian and an even better finish. It all started from a fabulous piece of defending, though, right at the heart of my defence yet again, and a beautiful ball through from Ollie Watkins. But that man Zaniolo in that position made Arsenal pay. We're back on level terms. It's 1-1. Zaniolo again for Aston Villa. That man has clearly got his tail up here, and he drives into the box yet again. This time cuts it back into Ollie Watkins, who takes too heavy a touch. And in the end, the chance goes begging, but Buendia has it again. And this time blazes his strike high and wide. Zaniolo again has it. This man is on absolute fire so far, but Leon Bailey on as a substitute feeds a lovely ball out to Alex Moreno. He's going to try and cut it back into the path of McGinn, who takes a heavy touch but turns really well and then gets his shot all wrong. Declan Rice out to White into Timber. Being chased down again by Zaniolo, but this time manages to wriggle away. Lovely little touch from Saka, but Alex Moreno with a brilliant challenge, and now he can bring the ball out of defence. Can he try and release a ball into Leon Bailey? Yes, he can. On as a substitute, he's got the pace and the freshness to drive into the box. Strikes with his right, straight at Ramsdale, makes a bit of a meal of it, but eventually manages to jump on the rebound. Douglas Luiz. Nice pass into Zaniolo, and Zaniolo tried to feed in a ball to Jimenez, who's come on as a sub, but didn't manage to get it to him. Alex Moreno, though, with a brilliant challenge. The left-back has been really good so far today. Jimenez, though, turns really well, feeds in a ball to Jacob Ramsey. Jacob Ramsey strikes. What a brilliant goal with just 2 minutes remaining on the clock. Look at the celebrations. Look how much it means to the young man who's come through the Villa Academy. What a fabulous goal, and what a way to celebrate at the end of the game. Jimenez Jimenez with a lovely touch and turn, laid it on a plate for the young Englishman, and it was a fine finish. He showed pure calmness and composure to just smash it past Ramsdale, and he celebrates in front of the fans. It's 2-1. Well, we've got just minutes, moments remaining on the clock here to try and hold on. My word, what a game this has been. What a second half this has been from Aston Villa. Can we try and hold on? The referee is looking at his clock. Is he going to blow? Yes, he does. Well, the Arsenal players are utterly despondent. They cannot quite believe it. Look at the celebrations from the Aston Villa players. It is that man, Jacob Ramsey, who will end the game, the hero here today, as his goal is enough to give us the 3 points. It's 2-1 at full time. It's a massive goal for the young man, and his first goal in the Premier League this season. And it's a massive goal for us as another 3 points on the board bring us back into contention for that final Champions League spot. We are just 2 points away from Manchester United in fourth, with Nottingham Forest, the unlikely team, to find themselves in third place. What a season they are having. But that is it for today's episode, and what an episode it has been. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it, and hopefully I'll see you again next time. Last episode saw us compete with the big boys and start our march towards the Champions League places. And today we're just 1 month away from the January transfer window, and we've got a big run of games ahead of us. But as ever, if you're enjoying the series so far, please feel free to like and subscribe, and let's get into today's episode. Now, speaking of the Premier League, a dramatic last-minute winner by Jacob Ramsey against Arsenal helped us leapfrog them in the table and put us within touching distance of the final Champions League spots. However, after some up and down performances in Europe, we're actually struggling a little bit more than I would have liked to in the Europa Conference League group. As you can see, we are top of the table, and we are in a strong position to head through to the knockout stages. However, with just 3 points separating us and AZ Alkmaar, we absolutely have to get at least 1 point in our very last game if we want to make sure that we secure our path to the knockout round. And with Legia Warsaw being the team that are going to be standing in our way of us qualifying for the next round of this cup competition, we've got to make sure that we stay professional, we get the job done, and we get at least a point today. As it is Europe, this is an opportunity for some of my fringe players to come back into our starting 11. Of course, Martinez does keep his place in goal, but Matty Cash starts up right back. Konza and Mings are partnered each other in defence, with Moreno starting on the left. Douglas Luiz starts in the centre of the park with Buendia and McGinn, and also Jacob Ramsey on the left. Leon Bailey will start on the right, and Jimenez will take his place up front. Alex Moreno, nice pass into McGinn, who took it really nicely. Jacob Ramsey to try and release Santiago Jimenez. Doesn't do a good enough job of getting there, but McGinn does, and he feeds in Buendia. Buendia on his right, into the bottom right-hand corner, and with just 10 minutes played, he gives us a 1-0 lead. Well, it was just all too easy. I thought the attack was done when Jimenez wasn't able to get onto the through ball, but McGinn pressed high, passed it on a plate to Buendia, and that was a beautiful finish past the goalkeeper. He celebrates 1-0 into Mark Wow. Nice turn to get away from one of my defenders, and now Mucci into the box here. Legia Warsaw looking to strike back immediately, and instead they fire it straight at Martinez, who in the end makes it look easy. Leon Bailey picks it up on the left-hand side. He's looking for options. Instead, he's going to fire this one all the way over to Jacob Ramsey on the left-hand side. A wonderful ball right across to the young Englishman. He can now find a ball into the box, looking for Douglas Luiz, who strikes with his left. In the end, it's rebounded off the defenders, and Legia Warsaw will get it clear. Looks for an option on the left-hand side, finds Mucci, who so far has been the danger man, but he cannot get past Matty Cash, and then Matty Cash fires a wicked ball into Douglas Luiz. Nice little touch into McGinn. McGinn gets it back into Leon Bailey. Leon Bailey now into Santiago Jimenez, who strikes, who scores. It's 2-0. Beautifully done, and the man who just cannot stop scoring in Europe has gone and done it again. Fabulous piece of build-up play. We caught them on the counter-attack, and a lovely ball from Leon Bailey, and a wicked finish from that man Jimenez. He's in absolutely sensational form in Europe, and he's done it yet again. He's given us a 2-goal cushion. We lead 2-0. Trying to go past Buendia. Does go past Buendia really nicely, but Douglas Luiz, the central defensive midfielder, with a wicked challenge, and now he can release Jimenez. Jimenez is going to try and cut this one back into Leon Bailey. He's got the pace to drive into the box, and he strikes. Good save, though, this time from the goalkeeper. Again, with a lovely touch and turn, feeds in Leon Bailey, who ends up going all the way out wide to Matty Cash. Dinks it back over, looking for the head of Jimenez. Just couldn't get there, and eventually Legia Warsaw do get it clear yet again. Jacob Ramsey looks for the overlapping run of Alex Moreno. It's pretty much been all Aston Villa, as you would expect, in the opening 45 minutes here. We've still got the ball. Jimenez looking for a second, strikes. Another good save from the goalkeeper. Leon Bailey will utilise his pace to get there ahead of the defender. Feeds it back to Douglas Luiz, who strikes with his left. Falls to Buendia. Buendia now into Matty Cash. Can he find some space on the right side? Whips a good ball in. A lovely ball. A brilliant head. It is 3-0, and surely that is game, set and match. here in Poland. Well, we absolutely knocked on the door. We couldn't quite break it down, but a wonderful ball from Malikash and an even better looping header from the young Englishman Jacob Ramsey to get his second in as many games. It's our third here today, and surely that is 3 points heading back to Aston Villa. Douglas Luiz at the start of the second half plays a wonderful ball into Buendia. And yet again, we are just carving them open here. Jimenez turns. Jimenez strikes off the post. Oh, they've made a complete hash of it. Can Jimenez get there? Yes, he can. And with the diving header, he gives us a 4-goal lead. Well, what on earth were the Legia Warsaw defence doing? We hit the post, and then Jimenez came in with a diving header to get there ahead of the defenders. They were just at 6s and 7s at the back. But that man won't care. It's his second goal of the game. It is 4-0 Aston Villa. Putzka, oh, lovely ball all the way over to Diaz. And Diaz now has got an option of Mucci, the man who's been so dangerous so far. And he is the man that gets Legia Warsaw at least a consolation goal. Well, it was a really nice piece of build-up play. I did think the momentum of the attack had gone, but he just sneaked round the back of my defence. A beautiful left foot finish gave Martinez no chance. And much to my frustration, we've lost our clean sheet. Nice ball all the way over to Matty Cash on the right-hand side. It's headed down only as far as Buendia. We've pinned Legia Warsaw back once again. And we're going to try and look to restore our 4-goal lead. But just as I say that, we then go and give the ball away really cheaply. And now Mark Gual can stretch his legs here. It's 2-on-3 at the back. But Konza comes back across. Brilliant defending, and then ends up losing it. It's Mucci again, the goal scorer. Eventually, though, he does manage to put in another good challenge. He's been like a rock at the back of my defence as McGinn tried to escape the challenges in the centre of the park, but Mark Gual will now bring it forward. All of a sudden, that goal has given Legia Warsaw a little bit more courage to try and bring the ball forward, but in the end, they don't manage to do anything with it, and we can escape with the ball. Jacob Ramsey now down the left-hand side feeds a wonderful ball into John McGinn, and he can now drive into the box. McGinn has options. He doesn't decide to use them. Instead, he decides to absolutely smash the ball into the top right-hand corner to restore our 4-goal cushion. Well, once again, we hit them on the counter-attack, and this time it is this man, John McGinn, the captain, with a wicked strike. He had acres of space. He did have options to pick out, but instead knew he could do it. He fired us into a 5-1 lead, and that surely is that today. Kaputska wins the ball back high for Legia Warsaw. End-to-end stuff here in the back end of the second half. He's done a wonderful job of getting back into the box, but Tyrone Mings makes amends for his earlier mistake. And again, we can bring the ball back out of defence, and now we can try and hit them on the counter-attack, perhaps for the 6th time in this game, as Jacob Ramsey releases John McGinn yet again to drive into the box. He takes it on, and he scores his second. It is our 6th. And it is an absolute rout here in Poland. It was another incisive counter-attack and another opportunity for John McGinn to get on the score sheet. A fabulous finish again with his left foot. He will be delighted. It is 6-1. Well, it was a game that we absolutely had to do a good job in, and my word, did we do just that. A stellar performance from the whole team, another stellar performance from this man in Europe. 2 goals to his name, and 6 goals to our name means at full time it finishes Legia Warsaw 1, Aston Villa 6. This man, Santiago Jimenez, just cannot stop scoring in Europe. It's his 8th goal in the competition, and his 10th goal overall, and somehow he finds himself our top goal scorer this season, despite not scoring in 7 Premier League appearances. John McGinn, though, continues his fine run of form. It's 22 appearances, 4 goals and 6 assists for our club captain, and another stellar performance to help us secure top spot in the Europa Conference League and easily seal our place in the knockout rounds. It's straight back to the Premier League though, and we've carried over that fabulous goal-scoring form right into our very next game away from home against Brentford, as we have absolutely smashed them 4-0. And it means for the first time in this season, we have lifted ourselves up to the final Champions League spot. We sit in 4th place. We've leapfrogged the likes of Manchester United, Arsenal and Nottingham Forest, and we are now just 4 points away, 7 points away from Liverpool, who sit at the top of the table. However, in other domestic news, having beaten Manchester United 1-0 in the 4th round of the Carabao Cup, we have been drawn against Newcastle United in the quarter-finals, as we have a wonderful opportunity to try and secure our first piece of silverware this season. And whilst the board have higher expectations in terms of us qualifying for the Champions League and winning the FA Cup, I'm still seeing this as a wonderful opportunity to try and build morale, secure my status as a hero amongst the fans, and also try and help fill a trophy cabinet that is looking pretty sparse over the last few decades. Standing in our way though will be a Newcastle United team who will will be just as desperate as we are to try and secure their first piece of silverware this season. Their trophy cabinet is looking just as sparse as ours has been over the last few decades, and this is a wonderful opportunity for both teams to try and break their duck here today. We welcome them to Villa Park, but we are confident we can try and secure our path to the next round of the cup competition. As we're into December and it's a very busy festive period at the moment, more fatigue has crept into the squad, and it means several more enforced changes have had to be made to my starting 11. Martinez, of course, keeps his place, as does Sacha Boey on the right-hand side. Konza is partnered by Pau Torres in the centre, and Moreno comes in on the left-hand side of defence. Kamara, Tielemans and Jacob Ramsey start in the centre of the park. Zaniolo on the left, Moussa Diaby on the right, and Jimenez comes in, who deputises for Ollie Watkins, who drops to the bench. Nice short pass into Tielemans, who turns the Newcastle midfield really nicely, and he releases Moussa Diaby, who's got the pace to get away from the Newcastle defence, and now he brings it infield. This is lovely play from the Frenchman. Tried to just feed it in, to Jimenez. Couldn't quite make it count, and Newcastle just about managed to clear their lines. Alexander Isak for Newcastle. Lovely pass right down the right-hand side into Almiron, who's taken it brilliantly, and he's just fired his way past Alex Moreno, fired a wicked ball across to absolutely no one, and that's a big opportunity wasted for Newcastle. Youri Tielemans. Nice pass forward into Jimenez, who's dropped deep, and he finds Sacha Boey. Sacha Boey back into Jimenez. He finds a ball back into Tielemans. Lovely play here. Tielemans has it. Tielemans tries to play it across. He should have taken it on and shot. The central midfielder was too unselfish there. Anderson for Newcastle now to drive into the box. They're looking to strike back immediately, and Alexander Isak does just that. He fires them into the lead here with a fabulous low drive into the bottom right-hand corner. Well, from us almost scoring at one end of the pitch to conceding at the other end, a shocking piece of play and a shocking piece of defending from my defence. Alexander Isak, though, is delighted. He won't care one bit. It's 1-0 Newcastle. Youri Tielemans has just got to try and put that missed chance to bed now. But just as I say that, we've got to give him the ball away really cheaply. We've got to make sure our heads don't drop as Pau Torres goes and gives away a corner. It's a corner that Newcastle are shaping up to take short. Looks like it's Bruno Guimaraes, who's played it short to Almiron. He's still got the ball, fires it across to Alexander Isak, the goal scorer, straight into the arms of Emi Martinez. Moussa Diaby. Nice pass into Sacha Boey, who brings it out of defence, and now he will lay a ball back into the path of the speedy Frenchman, who drives into the Newcastle penalty area. He's looking for a cutback, doesn't manage to find it. Bruno Guimaraes is just in the way, and they hack it clear. Alex Moreno with the throw, short into Jacob Ramsey. Kamara now has it. He also goes short into Youri Tielemans, turns really nicely. Tielemans learns to strike, and it's deflected for a corner. And it is one that man, Youri Tielemans, is going to take. He's been heavily involved so far, but he's yet to find the back of the net. Can he get an assist, though? And it's Konza straight at the goalkeeper. Another corner here, back to back. We have to make these opportunities pay. Konza back into the box, and he just put it wide. I know, that was a big opportunity missed. Longstaff for the short free kick for Newcastle. Almiron has it again, tries to play a ball through, well intercepted by Pau Torres, and then Hall wins it back well into Anthony Gordon, who stretches away from Konza, who strikes. Good save from Martinez. It's Almiron who's going to take the corner. He's another man who's been heavily involved so far for Newcastle. But it's a poor corner. It's headed away by Youri Tielemans. Almiron will get a second chance, though, to put it back into the box. It's Anderson who now has it. It's Jimenez who's back defending. And eventually Pau Torres can clear his lines. And now Moussa Diaby can try and break as the referee blows for half-time. Well, we are 1-0 down at the start of the second half, and we've got just 45 minutes to try and turn this game on its head. We've got to get 2 goals. Can we do it? Time will tell. Almiron tried to come across, but Pau Torres did enough to stop him from getting past, but eventually he does manage to get the ball back. He drives into the box into Alexander Isak, who just like that, within the first 5 minutes, doubles Newcastle's lead here at Villa Park. Well, we were caught napping on the left-hand side. Where on earth Alex Moreno was, I've got no idea. And that forced Pau Torres to be pulled out of position. And then it was a short ball in to Alexander Isak. And when he is inside your 6-yard box, he will make you pay. A lovely volley. Could Martinez have done more? Perhaps he could have. But Alexander Isak, once again, will not care. It is Newcastle 2, Aston Villa 0. Zaniolo, who's been a pretty peripheral figure so far in this game, is going to try and see if he can burst this Aston Villa team into life here. And he drives into the box, does a really good job, cuts it back to Jacob Ramsey. What a save from Pope. Leon Bailey honours a substitute to take the resulting corner, and he fires it in looking for the head of Youri Tielemans. Doesn't manage to find it, but he will get a second opportunity to try and play it back in. He finds Jacob Ramsey, though, again. He ends up getting all over the place, but somehow manages to wriggle his way into the box. And my word, he has done just what I needed him to, just at the right time. This man just cannot seem to stop scoring at the moment. Well, I thought the chance was gone. He was wriggling around all over the place, and somehow he got very lucky. He managed to go past 3 Newcastle players, get to the edge of the 6-yard box, and with his left foot, drove a low shot past Nick Pope. He made him pay, and he dragged us right back into this game. It is 2-1, and we can do this. Salas for Newcastle. We are pressing them high, but so far at the moment, Newcastle still have the ball, and Longstaff has managed to wriggle away from Alex Moreno. Now Almiron to get away from Pau Torres. He's absolutely taken out, and Newcastle have a free kick in a dangerous area, and it's one that the danger man Alexander Isak is going to take. A very strange decision from Newcastle, and a very strange free kick. It's a poor free kick, easily headed away by Yuri Tielemans, but then Kamara goes and gives the ball away into Anthony Gordon. He's twisting around, trying to find an option, instead strikes with his left high and wide. Well, we've got just under 20 minutes remaining on the clock here to try and see if we can get an equaliser. So far in this second half, we've had a couple of decent opportunities that we haven't quite managed to take. This time, though, it will be the earlier goal scorer, Jacob Ramsey, to feed it into Alex Moreno, who's just straight offside. Trippier with the throw. Longstaff gets it back straight away. Really nicely done. Almiron now down this right-hand side. Tyrone Mings on as a sub. Can't put a challenge in. Alexander Isak looking for his hat-trick, but he blazed it high and wide. Well, Newcastle, of all the teams, are turning the screw here, and rather than just settling on a 2-1 lead, they're trying to exert their authority and try and make sure they can put this game to bed. But Zaniolo has got other ideas now as he tries to drive down this left-hand side. Feeds in the goal scorer, Jacob Ramsey. He finds Ollie Watkins. What a save. My word, I thought for sure then we were going to score and equalise this game. But a fabulous save from the English goalkeeper was enough to keep us at bay. And eventually Newcastle just about managed to clear their lines. Alexander Isak now to burst forward. He's being chased down by the substitute of Stupinian, but it's a brilliant piece of play from Newcastle, and they can release Alexander Isak yet again. Has he got the pace to try and get away from Tyrone Mings? No, he doesn't. He's run out of stamina, but Tyrone Mings has gone and given it away really cheaply, and now Newcastle have it back with Almiron. Drives into the box, strikes straight at Martinez, who makes a bit of a meal of it, but Newcastle managed to keep the ball alive with Wilson in the box. Wilson, though, gives it away to Sacha Bowie, and now we can try and hit them on the counter-attack. Leon Bailey takes it really nicely, but the referee decides now is the time to blow the whistle. Well, the Newcastle fans who travelled all the way down to Villa Park will be absolutely delighted, as is that man Eddie Howe. A really frustrating afternoon, but we were undone by two brilliant goals from that man Alexander Isak. As a full-time hero finishes, Aston Villa 1, Newcastle 2. And frustratingly for us, another positive performance and another goal from this man was not enough. We are knocked out of the quarter-finals of the Carabao Cup, and our first chance of silverware this season goes up in smoke. But after getting back on track in the Premier League, beating Sheffield United at home in a hard-fought 1-0 win, things are still looking rosy for us in the Premier League, as we are now just 1 point behind third place Spurs and 1 point ahead of fifth place Manchester United. And as luck would have it, it is the Red Devils at Old Trafford whom we will be facing off against next in our very next Premier League game. Two teams that are in absolutely desperate competition with each other to try and secure that final Champions League spot, and two teams who will not be willing to give each other an inch as we desperately chase 3 points here today. A little bit more fatigue creeping into the squad means another few changes to my starting 11. Martinez in goal, Sacha Bowie, Konza, Torres and Estupinian at the back, Kamara, Tielemans and Jacob Ramsey start in midfield, Zaniolo on the left, Leon Bailey on the right and Ollie Watkins up front. So here we go then, an absolutely colossal clash in Manchester. Two teams that are absolutely desperate to try and outdo each other here today, and one team will hopefully in Aston Villa be the one to claim the 3 points, as Leon Bailey now picks it up on the right hand side and feeds a wonderful ball into Ollie Watkins. Ollie Watkins to strike early straight at the goalkeeper. Estupinian trying to wriggle away from the Manchester United press. He's done a brilliant job of doing so. Jacob Ramsey feeds in Zaniolo on the left hand side. Zaniolo to strike with his left. Oh my word, what a strike it was! Well, what an end-to-end start this has been here at Old Trafford in the opening 10 minutes. Zaniolo pops up on the left hand side and he absolutely lashed a strike across the goal, and Erik ten Hag is furious. United are down, Aston Villa lead 1-0. Jacob Ramsey wins the ball back high in the centre of the park yet again. He's had a brilliant last few games. Zaniolo releases him now back into the box. Jacob Ramsey to strike, it's off the post and he feeds up the rebound, and Jacob Ramsey has got his 4th goal so far in about 5 games. This man is on absolute fire. Well, I thought he'd just been offside. The Manchester United players appealed, but he managed to spring the offside trap perfectly. Onana got a hand to it, and he just tipped it onto the post, but it fell beautifully for the Englishman, and he made no mistake at the second time of asking. Power to strike into an empty net, and he gives us a 2-goal cushion. It's 2-0. United pick the ball up, though, and they are looking to try and make amends straight away. They give it to Amad Traore, who strikes from distance. Oh, my word, what a sensational way to get them right back in the game. Well, my word, Manchester United, just as we had our tails high, bring us crashing right back down to earth. And now we are looking shaky at the back as Pau Torres almost gave the ball away to Konza there. But fortunately enough, we do manage to wriggle away. But Manchester United with Malacia on the left-hand side win it back. And now Marcus Rashford can go for the Red Devils. It's Amad Diallo again on the right-hand side. He brings it into the box. This time Estupiñán comes across. Doesn't do enough. It's into Correa. It's blocked off. Unfortunately enough, we just get away with that one. But my word, look how the game can turn on its head. Zaniolo, though, will pick it up on the left-hand side. Can he try and feed a ball through into the path of Jacob Ramsey? Yet he can. Jacob Ramsey doesn't take a particularly good touch, though. And now Manchester United can break away with Amad Diallo on the left-hand side. He brings it back into Correa. End-to-end stuff here at Old Trafford. He passes a wonderful ball through into Rashford. Oh, it was an absolutely finesse finish. And just like that, Manchester United are back on level terms. What on earth is happening here at Old Trafford? Our defence has fallen asleep in the last 5 to 10 minutes, and they make us pay. Emi Martinez could do absolutely nothing about it. It went through his legs. A beautiful finish from Marcus Rashford, and Manchester United are back level. It's 2-2. Into Yuri Tielemans, who took that one really, really nicely. Plays it back to Pau Torres. We've got to try and see if we can get a foothold and some sort of control back into this game. Jacob Ramsey wins it well in the centre of the park. He's going to feed it out wide to Zaniolo. He's going to look to go one-on-one with the defender. Can he try and get past Dallo? Yes, he can, but instead cuts it back to Jacob Ramsey, the danger man so far. Jacob Ramsey on his right, goes for the strike. Oh, my word, there is just no stopping this Englishman today. He has been in absolutely sensational form, and he's got his second of the game. Well, I am losing count of the amount of goals this man is scoring in the last month or so, but this might well be the best of the lot. What a fabulous finish outside the box, and my word, he just looped it over Onana. What a goal! It is 3-2. Mason Mount to bring it forward. Amad Diallo on the right-hand side. This match is absolutely breathless. Both teams are going full throttle here to try and see if they can get the 3 points. Estupiñán though gives it to Leon Bailey. And now can he try and release Zaniolo? My word, this is end-to-end stuff. Zaniolo now to bring it forward. He just didn't find the right pass. And Martinez came across, but Zaniolo almost tried to challenge him. Doesn't win the ball back though, but we are continuing to pressure. Somehow Martinez has managed to wriggle away as the referee blows for half-time. Well, we've got 45 minutes here to hold on, but if it's anything like the first half, it is going to be another breakneck 45 minutes, and it's another half that you do not want to miss. Estupiñán on the left-hand side plays a wicked ball over to Leon Bailey on the right. He takes it down, but ends up losing a little bit of momentum. Skips away from the challenge of the defender, though. And now he releases Yuri Tielemans, who cuts back inside for Ollie Watkins. Ollie Watkins takes it on his right, strikes straight at the goalkeeper. Estupiñán with a powerful through ball on the left-hand side, who feeds it into Zaniolo, who's been a danger man so far in this game, but he doesn't do enough to get past Diego Dallo. And now he can bring the ball forward into the goal scorer, Marcus Rashford. The other goal scorer, Amad Diallo, now down the right-hand side. Rashford has it again. He's going to look to go one-on-one with Pau Torres. Instead, cuts it back for Amad Diallo. Lovely pass into Correa. Correa into Eriksson. Fired it straight at Emi Martinez, and that is a big let-off for us. Zaniolo, lovely touch and turn into the path of Leon Bailey, who fires a lovely ball out to Sacha Bowie, who's got acres of space down this right-hand side, but instead decides to cut back inside, into the box, strikes. What a fabulous goal. Well, it's not often you see this sort of diving run and shot from Sacha Bowie, but my word, he has picked the perfect moment to go ahead and do that. He had all the time and space in the world down the right flank, but he took a risk, came inside, and my word, it paid off for the Frenchman. What a fabulous finish. It's 4-2. Well, we had a 2-goal cushion at the start of the first half, and now we've got a 2-goal cushion at the start of the second half, but we've just got to make sure that we do not sit on our laurels and let Manchester United get back into this game. Lovely cut back into Amad Diallo, now finds Bruno Fernandes. He's looking for an option, finds Correa. Correa with a beautiful turn. Lovely touch into Marcus Rashford. Pau Torres with a huge last-ditch interception. Leon Bailey now to try and take it down this right-hand side. He's got the pace to try and burst away from the United defenders, and United trying to press high have left gaps in their defence. Leon Bailey cuts it back into Ollie Watkins. Didn't get his strike right. Onana got enough on it, and Diego Dallo can clear it away. Into Pau Torres. Lovely ball all the way over to the goal scorer, Sacha Bowie, who surely has to have his confidence high here. Leon Bailey, though, feeds it into Ollie Watkins. Ollie Watkins strikes, and surely the Englishman puts this game to bed as he slides on his knees and celebrates, giving us a 5-2 lead. I mean, this is arguably the game of the season so far. Yet again, United are opened up at the back, and this time Ollie Watkins, perhaps at the third time of asking, gets his goal, and he gives us a 3-goal cushion at Old Trafford. United have a free kick in a dangerous position that Bruno Fernandes is going to take. Is he going to try and hit this first time, or is he going to try and dink this one into the box? Hits it straight to Martinez, though, made it look easy. Yuri Tielemans now, though, down the right-hand side. United have come in completely opened up here, but he just hasn't got the pace or the stamina to burst into the box, and he sends his shot high and wide. Zaniolo now, United heads have dropped, and if anyone's going to score, it looks like we're going to add a sixth as Ollie Watkins into the box. Well blocked, though, by Martinez. And that will be that. I head over to Erik ten Hag to shake his hand. What a fantastic game we have just seen before us. It is no doubt the game of the season, and it's a game that we will be delighted to get the 3 points. That man, Jacob Ramsey, is the star of the show yet again, and his 2 goals were enough to give us a 5-2 victory at full time. Well, it's another brace for the young Englishman, and it's another 2 goals to add to his tally, and it brings him up to be our 5th highest goal scorer so far this season. He hasn't played that many games in the Premier League, but when he has played, he has scored almost every game. 3 goals in 5 appearances. What a season this young man is having. Now, interestingly, I did change his development plan at the beginning of the season to be focused on being a left midfielder, as I didn't have a lot of options on the left-hand side of midfield. But lately, I've been playing him more and more in the centre of midfield, and that seems to be where he is finding his mojo and finding his best performances. So let me know down in the comments below what you think I should do with this young man. Should I keep him as a left winger, and should I try and keep him contesting that position out wide with Zaniolo? Or should I transform him into a central midfielder and perhaps try to build the entire team around him? Let me know what you think. That huge win, though, has given us some daylight between ourselves and Manchester United in 5th place, and we are still just a point behind Spurs, and we are just 5 points now behind league leaders Liverpool. Is an unlikely title challenge on the cards for Aston Villa. But frustratingly, we are being brought right back down to earth in our very next game. It's a frustrating draw at home to Burnley, as we can only do enough to draw 1-1 and only take 1 point. We do still keep our place in 4th position, but all that good work against Manchester United is thrown out the window as we now fall to 3 points behind 3rd place Spurs. And with that game being the last game of 2023 in this career mode, the January transfer window is now officially open. And with £22 million left in the budget, I perhaps think we might just have wiggle room to bring in 1 more player this window. But with my squad performing well in pretty much all the cup competitions and every single player in my starting 11 being at least 80 rated, I'm not quite sure right now what area of this team I need to improve. So let me know what you think down in the comments below. Who would you like to see play their trade in an Aston Villa shirt for the remainder of the season? And what areas of this team do you think I need to improve if I want to take the next step and try and qualify for the Champions League? But that is it for the end of today's episode. I hope you have enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Last episode, it was heartbreaking the Carabao Cup, but a young wonder kid in Jacob Ramsey started to make the step up, and perfect timing, because with the transfer window open and just £22 million to spend, we're going to have to be creative if we want to improve this squad. But as ever, if you're enjoying the series so far, please feel free to like and subscribe, and let's get into today's episode. Now, I mentioned youngster Jacob Ramsey and some of the incredible performances this man has started to put in the last couple of months. 6 goals and 4 assists in 13 appearances, with 3 of those goals coming in just 5 appearances in the Premier League. This young man is really starting to make a name for himself this season in an Aston Villa shirt. Now, as you can see, his stats are on the rise, and he does offer us a great amount of versatility playing across the left, centre and right midfield. And as you can also see from his development plan, I did originally decide to play him out wide on the left hand side and try and focus him on being a wide playmaker. But with the amount of games in all the cup competitions that I've had to play, I've had to regularly rotate these 3 in the centre of the park. And with defensive midfielder Douglas Luiz being the only other recognised central midfielder that I've got on the substitutes bench, I've had to turn to the likes of winger Buendia and of course Jacob Ramsey to try and fill the void in the centre of the park. Now, despite his favoured position now being on the left hand side of midfield, I actually feel like his best performances so far this season have come when he's played in the centre. And so with that in mind, and with the likes of Buendia, Leon Bailey and also Nicolo Zaniolo all being more right-sided players, whilst that man Zaniolo is doing a job for me on the left-hand side of midfield, I think I need to bring 1 more player in this window to try and compete for him for the rest of the season. Now, as I mentioned before, the January transfer window is well and truly open, but with only £22 million to spend left in the budget, I am certainly going to have to be creative if I want to try and bring in someone who can genuinely improve this squad. So as you can see, I've taken the time to try and shortlist some of the best young talent across European football, all of whom can play on the left-hand side of midfield or on the left of a front three. However, as you can also see, judging by the numerous amounts of question marks all on their overall rating, I haven't been able to fully scout all of these players just yet. Now, bearing in mind it is the 1st of January, that does leave me with enough time throughout January to make sure that I can get all those scout reports in before the transfer window slams shut. But as you can see, it will not be until the back end of the month that I'm going to be able to potentially bring one of those players in. So I'm going to have to do without them, at least for the opening 2 games of this month. For now though, having been knocked out of one cup competition, it is time for us to start our journey in another as we welcome Fulham to Villa Park for what is going to be a mammoth clash in the FA Cup 3rd round in a competition that we truly believe we can go the distance in and hopefully claim our first piece of silverware in this Aston Villa career mode. An important game means an important starting 11 will be taking their place on the pitch. Martinez starts in goal, Sacha Boey, Konza, Torres and Estupiñán play at the back. Kamara, Tielemans and Ramsey start in the centre of the park, Zaniolo on the left, Moussa Diaby on the right and Ollie Watkins starts up front. Kamara plays it short into the man of the moment, Jacob Ramsey, who brings the ball out of midfield beautifully and plays a wonderful pass out wide to the left-hand side to Estupiñán. Estupiñán has space to drive into, instead cuts it back for Zaniolo. Tried to shift it onto his right, was too slow, and Fulham get the ball clear. Luca Netz down the left-hand side for Fulham. Moussa Diaby tried to come across to challenge, wasn't good enough, but Sacha Boey was good enough, and now he can release the Frenchman, who can drive down this right-hand side. He's got the pace instead to cut back inside, and he's going to look for the run of Yuri Tielemans. Tielemans tries to play a ball forward, it's really poor, and that has pretty much been the statement of the opening 15 minutes for Aston Villa here. We just haven't managed to find the final ball, and it's now Willian though who can pick the ball up, and instead Sacha Boey challenges. Fulham have a throw. Lukic, lovely run, bursting down the left-hand side, plays a wonderful ball in. Andreas Pereira nods it wide. Down the line into that man Zaniolo, and he finds Jacob Ramsey. Lovely stuff, and the Englishman can now burst past 2 Fulham players. This is brilliant play, and he continues his run. What a run from the young Englishman. Plays it into Ollie Watkins with the head, and the goalkeeper Leno just about manages to get a hand on it. But my word, that would have been a fabulous assist from Jacob Ramsey if Ollie Watkins had managed to put it away. Fires a ball out wide to the right-hand side. Yuri Tielemans is the man to pick it up though, and he plays it into Ollie Watkins, who's come deep. Down to Sacha Boey on the right-hand side. Finds Moussa Diaby, who strikes with his left straight at the goalkeeper. Torres, lovely pass down the left-hand side. Finds Estupiñán in all sorts of space, and he plays a ball across. And in the end, it's a really poor one. Raul Jimenez does well to get away from the challenge of Pau Torres, and he's done even better to get away from the challenge of Estupiñán on the left-hand side of defence, but Estupiñán comes back across. That man has been absolutely brilliant on the left-hand side of my defence all season. Raul Jimenez blocked off by Konza. Konza, though, goes and gives the ball away to João Paulinho, who strikes deflected, Fulham corner. And it's going to be one that man Pereira is going to take, and it looks like he's going to float it right the way in. He does. It's headed away, though, by the striker, Ollie Watkins, only out as far as Diop. Andreas Pereira will get another chance to throw it back in, and that's exactly what he does. And this time, it's João Paulinho who is inside the penalty area unmarked, and he just nods it into an empty net. Martinez could do nothing about it. Brilliant play from Fulham. Lovely ball across, and he just got away from Sacha Boey at the back post. Really nicely done, and it's a really good goal to give Fulham the opener here at Villa Park. It's 1-0. Paulinho for Fulham. Lovely little play to get away from the challenge of Kamara. Releases Lukic, and Lukic does a really good job of getting away from Tielemans. Fulham playing some really nice stuff here at the start of the second half. Iwobi into Adama Traore. He hasn't really got the technical ability, though, to go past Konza, and instead now Moussa Diaby is released, and he can now play a pass into Ollie Watkins, and he's got acres of space here as the Englishman drives into the box, surely to score. He does score. Lovely finish, and we are right back in the game. Ollie Watkins in the 57th minute levels it up here at Villa Park. It's 1-1. Paulinho now has it for Fulham. They're going to look to try and strike back immediately, but it's a good challenge, but Paulinho bricks it up once again. He's got it on the edge of the box, finds Lukic into Iwobi, and it's Raul Jimenez. Just like that, Fulham back on top. Nice ball into Estupiñán. Into Jacob Ramsey. He has been my most threatening player so far in this game, but he's been fairly quiet in the second half. He's going to try and look for a ball all the way out wide to Sacha Boey. Really nicely done. Sacha Boey drives into the box, looks for the cut back into Tielemans. Good save from Leno. Going to be John McGinn, the captain, on as a substitute to take the resulting corner. He's going to fire it in, looking for the head of Ollie Watkins, looking for his second, and our second. Couldn't quite find it, but in the end, Leon Bailey, another substitute, will come on as well, and will pick the ball up and tries to drive onto his left foot. In the end, it's a good challenge from Lukic, and Fulham can now break into an Andreas Pereira. They got 4-on-3 here. Can they try and find the goal to give them a 2-goal cushion here? Castagna down the left-hand side, into Iwobi, into Andreas Pereira. He looks to switch it onto his left and place it over the bar. Well, we've got just under 10 minutes remaining here to try and see if we can find an equaliser. The board are expecting us to win this cup competition, and at the moment it looks like we are about to go out in the third round, and we give the ball away again. We just can't seem to find our mojo today, and you do not want to give that man Adama Traore that much time and space. Into the box goes another Traore, and he makes no mistake, and he gives Fulham a 3-1 lead here at Villa Park. Well, it was sloppy play down one end, and Fulham hit us on the counter-attack at breakneck speed. Adama Traore burst down the right-hand side, a beautiful ball in, but the other Traore did the hard work, took it on his chest, smashed a volley past Martinez, and Fulham surely now have sealed their path into the next round. Leon Bailey to pick it up and try and see if he can drive past a couple of Fulham defenders, and he's done one brilliantly. Can he play it into Ollie Watkins? He can. Ollie Watkins with a big save. Leno and Diaby in the end gets in the way, and Fulham get away with one. Well, it's booted clear by the goalkeeper. The referee looks at his clock, and the referee does in fact decide to blow the whistle for full time. Well, the Aston Villa players shake their head. They walk off the pitch in disbelief. It's been a shocking performance, but it's that man's goal that puts the game to bed in the end. Full time here at Villa Park, it finishes Aston Villa 1, Fulham 3. Well, for a season that seemed to have so much promise, is it starting to unravel before our very eyes? Knocked out of the quarter-finals of the Carabao Cup by Newcastle, and now knocked out of the third round of the FA Cup by Fulham at home. The board had their eyes firmly set on domestic success this season, expecting me to win the entire competition. But with us now out of both the League Cup and the FA Cup, it puts even more pressure on us to secure Champions League football through the Premier League and to try and achieve European glory in the Europa Conference League. And if we don't do either of those two things, who knows what's going to happen to my job come the end of the season. And we don't exactly fight back with the vigour that I was hoping for. It was a 2-2 draw, a hard-fought draw at Everton, and it means that we drop another 2 points in the Premier League. Fortunately enough for me though, as you can see, the scout reports of all of those players on my shortlist have finally come in. But as you can see, the players who seem to have the higher overall rating are the ones that happen to have a transfer value that are far beyond what I can afford thanks to my transfer budget. So it likely means that I'm going to have to potentially look at players who have more of a potential rather than immediate impact that I was hoping for. But with that in mind, I have decided to make my choice as to who I want to be the next player to ply their trade in an Aston Villa shirt. He's a man who at just 20 years of age most definitely has his best years ahead of him, and he's someone who had Premier League experience last season with Leeds United and in patches showed that he has the potential to be a real wonder kid in English football. But with Leeds unfortunately dropping down to the Championship and this man wanting to climb his way back up to the Premier League, it is us that are finally willing to give him that opportunity as Wilfred Gnonto joins Aston Villa Football Club for £11.5 million. As I said, with him only being 75 rated, he isn't going to be an immediate starter for us, but he is showing great potential. Added to the fact that he has high attacking work rate and he has absolutely electric speed, I think he is someone who can add a totally different dimension to the left-hand side of our attack. And he is going to get the opportunity to impress immediately as we look to face off against a team at Villa Park whom we will be desperate to get revenge against. It is Newcastle United in the Premier League against Aston Villa, and we will be hoping to collect 3 points today. And Wilfred Gnonto coming into the starting 11 is not going to be the only change here today, as I have had to make some very enforced changes due to a bit of fatigue in the camp. Martinez does keep his place in goal, but Manny starts in the right-hand side of defence. Tyrone Mings partners Pau Torres with a Stupinian on the left. Douglas Luiz comes in central midfield with Yuri Tielemans, Jacob Ramsey, of course Gnonto on the left, Moussa Diaby on the right, and Ollie Watkins starts up front. Sven Botman for Newcastle. He was looking for the ball down the right-hand side, but it was well blocked off. But Newcastle managed to wriggle away, and they've done a really good job of beating the Aston Villa press. And Harvey Barnes now tries to come across, but it's Tyrone Mings instead who does. And in the end, though, it falls kindly for Almiron. The keeper comes out. What on earth is going on? And a Stupinian hacks it clear. My word, it was almost a calamity at the back for Aston Villa. Well, what a start that would have been. Oh, my word, all over the place at the moment. But Alexander Isak knocked it down for Harvey Barnes in the left-hand side of my box. Longstaff feeds it to Bruno Kamara as well. Blocked, though, by Douglas Luiz, and now Jacob Ramsey can release Wilfred Gnonto, and this is the chance for the former Leeds man. He drives into the Newcastle box. Can he pick his spot? He does. No, he doesn't. Brilliant save from Nick Pope. That was a big opportunity for the young man, and one that he did not take. He will be absolutely devastated. Perhaps he will not get a better opportunity all game, and perhaps that is one that he will live to regret come the end of the 90 minutes. Tielemans throws it back in though. Newcastle though will get it clear fairly easily. Trippier with the throw into Lamar. Trippier gets it back. Lovely pass into the path of Almiron, and he drives down this right hand side, goes past Pau Torres, dinks it back into the box. Harvey Barnes with a bicycle kick over the bar. He cannot believe it. Matty Cash under a bit of pressure here from that man Harvey Barnes, but he does manage to wriggle away really nicely. He feeds a nice little pass into Douglas Luiz. He, though, ends up giving it away to Longstaff, and Newcastle win it back with the high press. Bruno Guimaraes now trying to wriggle away. He does wriggle away from two challenges into the danger man. Alexander Isak into the box. Lamar strikes. Well blocked off, though. Douglas Luiz into Yuri Tielemans. Can he try and release Moussa Diaby down the right hand side? He does, and the Frenchman has acres of space to run into here. Can he try and drive into the box? Yes, he can. I was going to look for the cutback. Instead, he will go himself, and Nick Pope with another big save. And it will be that man to take the corner, and he's going to throw this one into the penalty spot as Stupinian tried to get across, but it was Alexander Isak, the tall Swede, who got there ahead of him. Pau Torres now to shift it onto his right. Is the centre-back going to strike? He is, you know. And it was blocked by Dan Burn, and it will be another Aston Villa corner. But it's been end-to-end stuff here at Villa Park in the opening 40 minutes. Neither team able to break the deadlock, though. Can we make a change to that, though? It falls to Douglas Luiz, who heads it back down to Yuri Tielemans. He's going to get another throw into the box. He does throw it in. This time it's headed away by Bruno Guimaraes. Douglas Luiz tried to get there. He doesn't manage to. Wilfred Gnonto to line up a strike. What a save again from Nick Pope. Well, the Newcastle goalkeeper has been on absolute fire so far in this game. Somehow he's managed to keep us all at bay. It's thrown back in for a Stupinian, who knocks it over the bar, though. Lamar for Newcastle dancing around my midfield, and he's done a really good job of playing it out wide to Almiron. Kieran Trippier on the overlap, though, will drive down the right hand side. Lovely ball in, feeds it into Harvey Barnes. What a huge save there from Emi Martinez. Longstaff keeps the ball alive for Newcastle, though. It's Ranildo to throw it back in, looking for Alexander Isak, who took it really nicely on the volley. It falls again back down to Ranillo, and this time again it's Martinez with a big save right on the stroke of half time. We are well over stoppage time here, but Newcastle have a corner. Both teams looking threatening. We've got to make sure that we keep it at 0-0 heading into the end of the half. It's headed clear, and the referee does in fact blow the whistle finally. Matty Cash with the throw at the start of the second half. It was a breathless first half. Neither team, though, able to get on the score sheet, and we've got to hope that we can do a better job of trying to find the back of the net in this half. Jacob Ramsey, though, picks it up, plays a wonderful ball into that man, Wilfred Gnonto. He drives into the box. Can he get away from the defender? No, he can't. Surely that will be an Aston Villa corner. Matty Cash being pressed again by Harvey Barnes. It's been a real ding-dong battle between the two of them down that right-hand side all game, but Yuri Tielemans is the man who wins the ball back in the Newcastle half. Flings the ball into the box. It's headed away by Sven Botman. Only out as far as Alexander Isak. We do manage to pick up the loose ball, though, as Stupinian to drive into the centre. Is he going to try and find a ball out wide to Jacob Ramsey? He cuts it back in. I was looking for Ollie Watkins. It's blocked. Another Aston Villa corner. Moussa Diaby, the Frenchman, will take right on the stroke of the hour mark here. Throws it into the box. Looks for Yuri Tielemans. Nods it across. No one can get on the end of it. Tyrone Mings will pick it up, though. He will try and play a short ball into Douglas Luiz. He will line up a strike with his right. What a strike from the central defensive midfielder to give us a 1-0 lead here at Villa Park. My word, he slides on his knees in place of Kamara in that central defensive midfield spot. And my word, he has made his position count. Well, it was lovely play in the end from Douglas Luiz, but he had to have the composure to pick his spot. He was being pressed by about 5 different Newcastle players, but he got his head up and he drilled a low strike past Nick Pope to finally beat him and finally give us a 1-0 lead. Newcastle have a corner here. They're going to look to strike back with immediate effect, and it's a corner they're going to go short with. Anthony Gordon throws it across. Martinez makes a real meal of that. He really could have collected it, and in the end, that was almost his second gaff of the game. Fortunately enough, though, we get away with it once again. Down the line into Jacob Ramsey, and Jacob Ramsey gets there ahead of the Newcastle defenders, and now he can drive down this left-hand side, cuts it back into Ollie Watkins. It's Moussa Diaby who picks it up. What a save again. It's going to be a corner that the goal scorer Douglas Luiz is going to take. He's going to throw it into the box, looking for the head of the substitute Leon Bailey. Doesn't manage to find him, though. It will come back out to him. This time it's Wilfred Gnonto to line up a strike again, and Nick Pope again is in the way. Douglas Luiz, I'm losing count of the amount of corners we've had so far today, but so far we've only been able to put 1 goal away, but make that 2, because the substitute Leon Bailey has come on and he has just looped a fabulous header right over Nick Pope to give us a 2-goal cushion here at Villa Park. Well, again, Douglas Luiz was involved. This time he gets on the assist sheet, a beautiful cross and an even better head. Nick Pope had no chance. He's been an absolute wall at the back for Newcastle today, but he could do nothing about that one. A brilliant header from the substitute and a brilliant way to give us a 2-goal lead. Nice pass into Almiron. He's gone past past Alex Moreno, and now he drives down the right-hand side of the pitch here for Newcastle. Checks back in, looks for Lamar again. Lamar tried to shift it onto his left, instead struck with his right. Good save from Martinez. Newcastle have a corner here, less than 10 minutes remaining plus stoppage time on the clock for them to try and find a way back into this game. It's headed away by the striker Ollie Watkins, only out as far as Bruno Guimaraes will throw it back in. Tyrone Mings with a big header away, and this time it was a fabulous piece of defending, and now Wilfried Gnonto can try and drive away, took too heavy a touch, and in the end the ball ran loose from him. Ben Botman, oh lovely challenge from Jacob Ramsey. That man has been box to box, there's been no doubt he has been fantastic all game, and he's continuing his run into the box. Wilfried Gnonto to strike, and he just gets the strike all wrong, and it just has not been that man's day in front of goal. It doesn't matter though, because the referee decides to blow for full time, and it means that we get our revenge against Newcastle here at Villa Park. As at full time it finishes Aston Villa 2, Newcastle 0. Well, there can be no doubt that he was heavily involved across the entire game. He was a constant threat darting down that left-hand side, but he did have one huge opportunity in the first half that he will be absolutely devastated he could not take. He did actually have a few decent opportunities, to be fair, to get in front of goal, but he just couldn't find his shooting boots. I think the young man has got some work to do to try and improve his calmness and composure in front of goal for the remainder of the season. He is a bit of a raw talent, but there is absolutely no doubt that he certainly is showing great potential. But not only does that win keep Manchester United at arm's length for us in 4th place, it also means that we have not only closed the gap to Spurs in 3rd and Manchester City in 2nd, but we've closed it to Liverpool on top, and we are now only 3 points away from top spot. Could we do the unthinkable and mount a Premier League title challenge this season? A draw against Sheffield United in our very next game, though, brings us crashing back down to earth, and again it's another huge 3 points dropped. And it means with Manchester United continuing to breathe down our neck in the Premier League, it means our very next game against them is going to be absolutely huge. Yes, that's right, it's another game at Villa Park, and it's another game where we welcome our Champions League rivals Manchester United in what is going to be an absolutely huge clash that we will be absolutely desperate to get 3 points from. It is a return to my strongest starting 11, and that means Martinez in goal, Sacha Boey on the right, Diego Carlos, Torres and Estupinian at the back, Kamara starts in midfield with Tielemans and Jacob Ramsey, Zaniolo on the left, Moussa Diaby on the right, and Ollie Watkins up front. Shatire for United, out to Marcus Rashford on the left-hand side, and he just darts past Sacha Boey like he's not even there. Kamara comes across, and Kamara does a brilliant job of just shielding the ball for him, and now Sacha Boey can try and go down this right-hand side, but Luke Shaw with the high press. Shatire now for Manchester United. They are all over us in the opening 10 minutes here, trying to see if they can get an early lead. Shatire now on the edge of the box, tries to go past Diego Carlos. Rashford picks it up, he plays it back in. Lovely stuff from the Manchester United players. It's off the bar after Martinez managed to get a touch to it. My word, it's been an electric start here at Villa Park. Manchester United have a corner. It looks like they are going to go short with the corner. They do. It's Correa who picks it up. Correa darts past one of my defenders. Martinez has it now. Shatiri again, the danger man. Diego Carlos goes out for another Manchester United corner, and it is another one that they're going to go short for. It looked like they were going to go short. Instead, Ericsson threw it in, headed away by Sacha Boey, only out as far as Correa. Mason Mount into Varane. Shatiri strikes again. That man has been all over us so far. It's blocked off. My word, we are just doing anything we can to try and see if we can get rid of the ball here. And now Moussa Diaby can try and stretch his legs down the right hand side. He's got the pace to get away from Luke Shaw. Going to try and feed a ball into Ollie Watkins. It's absolutely wonderful. Ollie Watkins across the box into Zaniolo, and just like that we take the lead inside the opening 15 minutes. Oh my word, it's been an absolutely electric end-to-end start here at Villa Park. Well, my word, what an incisive counter-attack. Ollie Watkins unselfish. He could have tried to strike, but he saw the on-rushing run of the Italian Zaniolo across the box, and he had the simple task of just tapping it into an empty net, and he did his job correctly. Erik ten Hag is furious, but we take the lead here at Villa Park. It's 1-0 Aston Villa. United have a free kick in a dangerous area. It's Marcus Rashford to try and dink it in. He does, right into the penalty spot. It's headed clear though by the defenders, and now Yuri Tielemans gets it away into Estupinian, into Ollie Watkins, who tries to lift it over into the path of Jacob Ramsey. He's fighting with Varane. In the end, United get it back. Correa tried to be blocked off. Shatire now has it. Big save from Martinez. United with the follow-up with Dalot. It's in off the post, but has he been flagged offside? Yes, he has, much to my delight and fortune. My word, let's see how much was in that. Oh, it was just a little bit. He was inches off, and we get away with one there. Estupinian, he's got an option of Zaniolo down the left-hand side, and he finds Zaniolo, and he has got the strength and pace to try and drive down this left-hand side. Instead, he cuts inside, looking for another opportunity. Oh my word, it was off the bar. What a goal that would have been. Sacha Bowie with the throw. Yuri Tielemans picks it up, gives it back to the Frenchman, and instead Luke Shaw, though, manages to come across and put a challenge in. Shatire, who has been the most creative player so far for Manchester United, releases Marcus Rashford, but Diego Carlos with a fabulous challenge. Zaniolo being pressured on this left-hand side, manages to wriggle away from it, though, and fires a wicked ball out to Moussa Diaby on the right. He tries to play it down the line, blocked by Luke Shaw twice. In the end, though, he still manages to win it, and now Sacha Bowie can try and release that man, Moussa Diaby, down the left-hand side. He's got the beating of pace for the defenders. He plays it into Jacob Ramsey, and look at that for a fine finish. The Englishman continues his fine form from last episode to smash us into a 2-goal lead. Well, it was brilliant play by Moussa Diaby. He just did not give up, and in the end, he had the pace to drive away from the defenders. And look at that from a finish from Jacob Ramsey. He just cut it back to him, and he absolutely smashed it into the top left-hand corner. Onana just couldn't get across quick enough. It was a brilliant finish and a brilliant way to give us a 2-goal lead. Diego Carlos, under a bit of pressure here, manages to wriggle away from it and plays a wicked ball down the left-hand side into Estupinian, who now can burst down into space. Instead, though, goes and gives the ball away, and now we are open at the back here. It's Amad Diallo down the right-hand side. Estupinian has come back across, though. He cuts it back inside for Shatire. Well challenged, though, by Diego Carlos. That man has been a rock at the back for us so far in this game. Into Kamara. He shifts away from a challenge and then goes and gives the ball away to Correa. And Correa manages to get there ahead of the substitute. Alex Moreno fires it into the box. Diego Carlos is there yet again. What a defensive performance from that young man today. And now, on as a substitute, Wilfred Gnonto has the pace to drive down this left-hand side. Can he try and pick out a pass into the centre? He's looking for Ollie Watkins. He does eventually manage to find him. Ollie Watkins shifts it into the box and strikes straight at Onana. That is a huge let-off for Manchester United. Leon Bailey to pick the ball up, and Leon Bailey to fire in a wicked ball to Ollie Watkins. Can he make up for his earlier miss? No, he can't. It's another big save for Onana. And I thought, almighty there, United were about to just pass the ball into the back of their own net and give away an own goal, but they just about managed to get it clear. Yuri Tielemans will pick up the loose ball. They're going to try and look for the overlapping runner, Sacha Bowie. I do manage to find him, cut it back in for Ollie Watkins, shifts it onto his left. Third time's a charm. No, it isn't. Another big save from Onana. Leon Bailey finds Diego Carlos. Diego Carlos being the only man who's back, but he does a good enough job of getting the ball away. And Wilfred Gnonto is taken out from behind, and somehow the referee waves play on. What on earth is going on? El Nesri now to bring it away from Manchester United. Can they try and hit us on the counter-attack? We've done enough to try and slow up that counter, but somehow they have managed to find some space down this left-hand side. Rashford throws it in, looking for Fabio Silva. What a save! My goodness, this is breathless here. Just a couple of minutes remaining, and Onana is up for the corner here. United throwing the kitchen sink at it here to try and see if they can get a goal, but it's Alex Moreno to bring the ball forward now. Can we try and hit United on the counter-attack? They've got no one in goal. Moreno to try and shoot from distance. He gets his shot all wrong, and eventually Manchester United again get away with one. Luke Shaw clears away. The referee, though, blows for full time. Well, the United players, they shake their head. It's been a really disappointing performance from them today, but I do not care one bit. That man, Jacob Ramsey, steps up in the heart of my midfield yet again. His goal was the difference here today. As at full time, it finishes Aston Villa 2, Manchester United 0. It's another clean sheet, and it's another 3 points. Emi Martinez is continuing to have a fantastic season despite a couple of wobbles in that game, it must be said. 7 clean sheets in 24 games, and it appears like he is the clean sheet leader in the Premier League this season. One man, though, whose performances certainly have not gone unnoticed is that of Jacob Ramsey. Another brilliant performance in the heart of my midfield, and he is well and truly emerging as a real leader for this team. That win, though, does give us some breathing space to Manchester United in 5th place and does start to build out a gap as we try and see if we can cement our place in the Champions League this season. And with just 14 games remaining, plus the knockout rounds in the Europa Conference League yet to begin, I am still very confident we can do something special this season. But that is it for the end of today's episode. Thank you everyone for watching, and hopefully I'll see you again next time. Last episode we spent 11.5 million on a wonder kid, but it still wasn't enough to get us into the next round of the FA Cup. And so today, with my job starting to come under some pressure, it's time to go after Europa Conference League glory. But as ever, if you're enjoying the series so far, please feel free to like and subscribe, and let's get into today's episode. And so, with us still being in a good position in the table, fighting for that final Champions League spot, it is time for us to start getting straight down to action in the Premier League. And it's a strong start, courtesy of a late goal from Zaniolo to give us 3 points at Craven Cottage as we beat Fulham 3-2. And we follow that up with an absolute battering of Nottingham Forest at Villa Park, a 5-1 win, and it's another 3 points in the bag, before finishing off with another absolute battering. This time it's 4-1 away from home against Luton Town, and the good form continues. It's 3 wins on the bounce, it's 9 points in the bag, and not only has that cemented our place in the Champions League, but as you can see, that has somehow, some way lifted us up to top spot in the Premier League. Yes, we do have a game over Liverpool and we have 2 games over Manchester City. But for the first time in this season, we sit top of the table. And my word, with only 11 games remaining so far in this season, is an unlikely title challenge on the horizon. Before we do that though, it is time to divert our attention back to the Europa Conference League and back to a competition that we have a genuine opportunity of winning this season. We've been drawn against Greek side PAOK in the round of 16 and surely this is a game that we will be expected to win. And I'm feeling so confident I have decided to make wholesale changes to my usual starting 11. Martinez keeps his place in goal, but Cash starts on the right, Konza, Mings and Moreno start at the back. Douglas Luiz is partnered by Buendia and McGinn in the centre, with Wilfred Gnonto starting on the left, Leon Bailey gets the nod on the right, and Santiago Jimenez will hopefully continue his fine form up front as he leads the line for us. Into the feet of Leon Bailey, who turns really nicely, and he's got no one really trying to put a challenge in, so he plays it off to Santiago Jimenez, who lays it back into Buendia. Back into Bailey though. Bailey shifts it onto his left and lines up a strike straight at the goalkeeper, but early warning signs for the Greek side. Down the line into Matty Cash, and already you can see they've pretty much got every single player in their own half. I think this is going to be a backs-to-the-walls job all game, and we are going to have to try and see if we can knock down a stubborn Greek wall, and as you can see, with crosses like that, we're not going to get anywhere close to doing so. Into Wilfred Gnonto, we'll be hoping to try and see if he can get his first assist or goal in an Aston Villa shirt so far today. And he's going to spray a ball right the way over to the right-hand side. Looked for a ball into Matty Cash. Eventually, he did manage to stumble upon it and managed to keep possession. Into Leon Bailey. He's going to try and look to stretch his legs down this right-hand side. Can he try and feed a ball back into the box? Instead, he cuts it short into Matty Cash. Matty Cash now lays it off into Douglas Luiz, who strikes from distance. It was a good save in the end from the goalkeeper. Into Moreno. Oh, got caught up there by Zivakovic. And he can now try and drive down this right-hand side. He's got space to run into here. Has he got any options in the box? Not yet. Is he going to try and look for the cutback? He does. He finds Brandon, who gets it all wrong. And in the end, fires a tame shot against Martinez. And that was a bit of a let-off for us. Knocks it down into the path of Gnonto, but it's well intercepted by the right-back. And Zivkovic can go again. And he is overlapped by that right-back, who's going to try and float it into the box. Looks for the head of the striker. In the end, it goes straight into Martinez again. But the Greek side slowly starting to find their feet and come back into this game. Again, under a bit of pressure here. A lot of pressure, but he has managed to wriggle away from it. He finds the ball into Wilfred Gnonto, who's going to try and turn inside. He's done a really good job of doing so, but in the end, just overruns himself and ends up giving the ball away. But Tyrone Mings, pressing high, wins it back into Jimenez. Jimenez tries to give it back into Gnonto. It's pretty much been the story of this game so far. We haven't really been able to carve out any clear-cut opportunities, but Douglas Luiz again wins the ball back high and again gives it away. It's a really, really poor game overall here in terms of quality. Neither team really able to carve out any real opportunities as Konza ends up winning it back. Can we try and see if we can hit them on the counter-attack? No, we can't. We give it away as the referee blows for half-time. Well, I've got to be honest, it's been a fairly low-key affair so far. Neither team really stringing together any form of quality whatsoever so far. I guess it's kind of expected in the early ties of the Europa Conference League. But we are now in the knockout stages, and we've got to try and hope that we can do something a little bit better here in this second half, because we do not want to leave ourselves in a difficult position heading into the second leg. But at the moment, it's the Greek side that starts out the better of the two. At the start of the second half, it's Tazon into the box, well challenged by Matty Cash, and we breathe a sigh of relief at the back. Cash into Buendia. Nice stuff here, plays a ball into Leon Bailey. Leon Bailey again is going to try and see if he can use that pace, but instead cuts inside, finds a ball into Buendia, and Buendia now can try and drive into the box. He's managed to get round the defender, and Buendia strikes. Buendia scores to finally give us a 1-0 lead. Well, as I said before, neither team really, I've got to be honest, deserves to be in the lead. It's been poor all round, but Buendia will not care one bit. A fabulous run from the young man and a fabulous finish to give us a 1-0 lead. Konza to try and bring it out of defence and tries to play a ball over to the left-hand side, but it's well intercepted by Zivakov. But in the end, Tyrone Mings came across with a stern challenge, and he can release Gnonto, who can release McGinn. And McGinn now into Santiago Jimenez, who plays a wonderful ball into Gnonto, back across the box. No, it isn't, because he's just straight offside. Tyrone Mings, nice pass over to Matty Cash on the right-hand side, and he takes it down beautifully. And he plays in Buendia, who can try and feed it through to Leon Bailey. Eventually gets bundled off the ball, though. And now the Greek side can try and see if they can hit us on the counter-attack. They've got a man over in Despovov, who can try and go past Matty Cash. In the end, he goes inside. They've got a real opportunity here into Samata. And out of absolutely nothing, the Greek side equalise here with just 5 minutes left on the clock. Look at the celebrations. They've made no attempt here in this second half to try and put the ball in the back of the net. They just put all 11 men behind the ball. And the one real opportunity they have, they make count. Martinez cannot believe it, neither can the rest of my players. What on earth is going on? Well, it was really poor defending. I think it was Matty Cash or Alex Moreno, not quite sure. But in the end, it was a nice ball in and we were just taken apart. A lovely finish from the striker on as a substitute. And Martinez, perhaps he could have done better. Who knows? But they've drawn level here. It's 1-1. Leon Bailey running into a bit of trouble here. So he goes in field looking for Douglas Luiz. I'm going to try and spray a pass all the way out wide to Wilfred Gnonto, who's picked up a nice little pocket of space on the left-hand side and drives past one defender, two defenders, drives into the box. Brilliant stuff from him. What a strike. Oh, he sent it wide. That was the opportunity. And that man just cannot seem to find his shooting boots so far in his opening few games in an Aston Villa shirt. Well, much to my dismay, that turned out to be the final attack of the game. And my players seem absolutely shell-shocked. I think they turned up here expecting to absolutely steamroller the opposition. And as you can see, that has not been the case. That man Samatta's goal was enough. Full time here it finishes. PAOK 1, Aston Villa 1. Well, there can be no denying that missed chances most definitely cost us here today. And whilst Wilfred Gnonto again has showed some really bright sparks in the game with some fabulous dribbling, once again when he's in a position to try and put the game to bed, he isn't able to do it. And again, he really needs to find his shooting boots if he wants to try and establish himself as a main man in our starting 11. It was a frustrating performance all round though from the team, and it really stunk of a performance of players who are struggling to find match fitness, having not been regulars in my starting 11. Fortunately enough though, it is a European side that will be over 2 legs, so we will have another opportunity to try and put things right. Until then though, we're going to shift our attention back to the Premier League and back to a team who are fighting along with us for the final Champions League spots this season as we head home to Villa Park for what is going to be a huge clash against Tottenham Hotspur. And a huge game of course means a return to my usual starting 11 with Martinez in goal, Sacha Boey, Diego Carlos, Torres and Estupiñán at the back, Kamara, Tielemans and Ramsey start in midfield, Zaniolo on the left, Moussa Diaby on the right, and of course Ollie Watkins goes back to start up front. Oh, lovely play to get away from Udogie there, and he's really got away from him, and the Spurs defenders can't quite keep up with him. He continues to drive into the box, but doesn't really have any options, so he has to cut it back in the end, and that is a big opportunity missed. But Sacha Boey now has an opportunity to float it in. He does float it in, and he floats it into Ollie Watkins, who on the volley gives us an early 1-0 lead. Well, it was a brilliant piece of play early doors. I thought the opportunity had gone, but a fabulous ball in and a complete mix-up at the back for Spurs. Just gave the ball in a perfect position to Ollie Watkins, who still had a hard job to do to try and find his way past Vicario, but he did just that much to that man's frustration. It's 1-0 here to Aston Villa. Out to Doggy on the left-hand side, who brings the ball forward in that inverted role that Ange Postecoglou seems to love so far this season, as Højbjerg wins the ball back high. Spurs pressing us high just inside our half, and now it's Morata, the former Chelsea man, who has the ball. Back into Højbjerg. Højbjerg goes out wide to Jadon Sancho, who's finding himself in a Tottenham shirt this season, but now we can try and hit them on the counter-attack yet again. Moussa Diaby plays a wonderful ball back out wide to Sacha Boey. Sacha Boey to drive down the right-hand side, looked to try and cut a ball across to Ollie Watkins. Got the ball all wrong. It was a good piece of defending in the end from Udogie. Diego Carlos. Back out wide to Sacha Boey. It's been a really good start so far in the opening 20 minutes here for Aston Villa. And he's going to now try and find a ball into Moussa Diaby, who's managed to shift it onto his left. Again, trying to find a ball and an option, but no one showing. Tielemans will strike. Vicario with an outstretched arm to keep it at bay and go out for an Aston Villa corner. And it's going to be one that man, Moussa Diaby, is going to take. And he's going to float it into the penalty spot, looking for the centre-back. Diego Carlos only finds Kamara, and Diaby will have another opportunity to throw it back in. And this time Vicario makes it look easy. Pedro Porro down the line into Morata, cutting a lonely figure up front for Spurs so far, and he's just about managed to keep that ball in. Plays it back into Højbjerg. Spurs looking to fashion their first chance of the game, and there is one man who they want on the ball to do that, and that is Maddison, but he goes and gives the ball away. And Estupiñán now can try and drive down this left-hand side, feeds a lovely ball into Zaniolo, who's been uncharacteristically quiet so far in this game, but he's managed to find a bit of space here down the left-hand side, cuts it back in for Ollie Watkins, who strikes with his right. Another huge save from Vicario. Tielemans will now take the corner. We are ramping up the pressure here at Villa Park. Tried to fire it over to Diego Carlos, couldn't quite make it. Tielemans will get another opportunity though. This time he cuts it in for Moussa Diaby, strikes with his left. Vicario on hand to block again. This time it's going to be Diaby to take the corner, but once again I'm going to go for the usual routine. Tried to feed it into the penalty spot, headed away, only out as far as Maddison. And what on earth is going on there inside the penalty area? How on earth was that not a foul? I do not know, but Jacob Ramsey tried to get it away. I was going to try and see if I could hit it from distance, as he's scored a couple of wonder goals so far this season, but it wasn't meant to be. Kulusevski, and now Spurs can try and hit us on the counter-attack with only 1 minute of stoppage time. Can they see if they can get an opportunity? Morata with the step-overs, looking for a ball out wide to the right-back Pedro Porro. He cuts it back in for Morata. Lovely play here from Spurs. Diego Carlos comes across though, brilliant piece of defending. He will hack the ball clear and the referee will blow for half-time. Yuri Tielemans into the feet of Moussa Diaby, who's done a wonderful job of turning round Basuma there. He really has the beating of him in this game so far. Looks to play a ball to the back post. And my word, that was some acrobatic defending there from Pedro Porro. He did a fabulous job, though, of getting that away. Because if he didn't, we were certainly going to go 2-0 up here. But Pau Torres is going to try and look to bring this one out of defence. And he finds Estupiñán on the left-hand side. A brilliant start to this second half. But just as I say that, we're then going to give the ball away. And Kulusevski now can try and burst down this right-hand side. He's being held up. Estupiñán frantically trying to get back here. But the Swede manages to hold him off. And he's got the skills to get away from him. Lovely play from Kulusevski. Pau Torres tries to hold him up. He does a really good job of doing so. Fabulous defending from the Spaniard. And that cool, calm composure to bring the ball out of defence. Nice pass in central midfield to Camaro, finds Jacob Ramsey. Jacob Ramsey's held up though by Christian Romero. Now Madison plays it out wide to Kulusevski, and again the Swede will try and drive down the right-hand side, but Estupiñán is equal to him that time. Brilliant play, and now Zaniolo can stretch his legs down this left-hand side. Can he try and feed a ball into Ollie Watkins? Yes, he can. Watkins takes it really nicely and then blazes it over the bar. Højbjerg for Spurs, under a bit of pressure from the Aston Villa press, but manages to find his way back to Van der Ven, who's done a really good job of bringing that ball out of defence, and he finds Jadon Sancho on the left-hand side. He's going to try and feed it inside, but instead gets cut off by Kamara, and now we can try and launch a counter-attack of our own. It's Moussa Diaby to try and drive forward here, plays a wonderful ball into Ollie Watkins. He will try and strike. What a save. Well, how on earth is this game only 1-0? We have absolutely peppered the Tottenham goal all game, but somehow we haven't managed to find that second goal to try and kill the game off. But this time it's Moussa Diaby will try and pick it up, and Tielemans will look for the answer to strike from distance. Vicario is equal to it yet again. The Spurs goalkeeper has been in absolutely fine form so far in this game. Højbjerg. Nice pass into Sancho, goes central, Madison gets it back, and now Doggy can go down this left-hand side. The first piece of play from Spurs in the build-up that has been really, really special so far in this game, but once again, we blocked them off, and now Tielemans can bring the ball forward into Ollie Watkins, who loses it to Basuma. Really poor play from the Englishman up front. Madison, though, his fellow compatriot, brings it to Jadon Sancho, another Englishman, to try and bring it into the Spurs box, but Kamara has been an absolute wall, and just as I say that, though, he goes and gives away a free kick. A free kick that Spurs have in a very dangerous position that it looks like Højbjerg or Madison are going to line up. It's a short one into the feet of Kulusevski. Was that an opportunity missed as Ollie Watkins feeds in a challenge? Van der Ven now has it. Højbjerg again for Spurs. They're trying to knock on the door here with just 5 minutes remaining. Madison with a wicked strike. What a fabulous save from Emi Martinez. Oh my word, he was at full stretch, but he managed to get there. And now we can well and truly hit Spurs on the counter-attack as Moussa Diaby tries to bring the ball forward, drives into the penalty area. Can he try and hit them? Yes, he does. And with his weaker foot, just slides it past Vicario to finally give us that 2-goal cushion we have been searching for all game. Absolutely brilliant from the Frenchman. Well, it was a lightning counter-attack and one that Moussa Diaby just managed to get away from tired Spurs legs. Vicario couldn't get out quick enough, and in the end, he just had the sense and the wherewithal to just slide it past him. It's 2-0 Aston Villa. And with the referee calling time on what has been a sensational game here at Villa Park, the Spurs players are crestfallen. I am absolutely delighted. I, as well as all of my players and the fans, know just how important that game was. That man, Ollie Watkins, getting the first goal of the game, and that set us on our way here today. Full time here at Villa Park, it finishes Aston Villa 2, Spurs 0. Our fine run of form continues in the Premier League, and it gives us some separation between ourselves and Spurs. There's now 7 points between us and the 4th place team, and we are well and truly in a title fight now, as we are level on games with Liverpool. We're level on points, but we are well and truly in top spot due to our goal difference. My word, 10 games left in the Premier League. Could we do the unthinkable? Speaking of the unthinkable though, having only been able to manage a draw against PAOK in the first leg of the round of 16, I have taken it upon myself to sim the next leg, and it proved to be a fatal decision, as somehow, some way, we have gone from the highs of beating Spurs in the Premier League and being on a 4-game winning streak to going and losing in front of our own fans at Villa Park 2-1, and we have been knocked out of the Europa Conference League. Well, it was a cup competition I was absolutely certain we could go all the way in, but we've been left ridiculed and embarrassed, and my job has now been left hanging by a thread. The board are not happy whatsoever. My confidence rating is now down to weak. They expected us to win the Europa Conference League, and they expected us to win the FA Cup. We've not been able to do either of those two things, and it places so much pressure on my shoulders to at least get a Champions League place in the Premier League this season. But after after bouncing back with a thumping 3-0 away win against West Ham, courtesy of goals from Kamara, Watkins and Zaniolo, we still retain our place at the top of the Premier League table, now 3 points clear of Manchester City and Liverpool in second and third place, albeit with both of those teams having a game in hand. But oh, how much our arch rivals Wolves will be absolutely desperate to put a huge dent in our title hopes this season. We welcome them to Villa Park in our very next game, and it's a game we'll be desperate to get revenge from, having been battered 2-0 at the Molineux earlier on this season. Of course, it is a return to my usual starting 11, Martinez in goal, Sacha Boey, Diego Carlos, Torres and Estupinian, Kamara, Tielemans, Ramsey in the centre, Zaniolo on the left, Diaby on the right, and Ollie Watkins starts up front. Nice ball out wide to Estupinian on the left-hand side, and he's going to try and cut back in, looking for Kamara, the central defensive midfielder, who has been an unsung hero so far in this season. He's been absolutely fantastic for us, and now Moussa Diaby, one man who really has been good, tried to line up a shot, got it all wrong though, but fortunately it falls for Ollie Watkins. Tielemans now has it. He will try and go down the right-hand side as Sacha Boey was covered off. Instead, doesn't really have too many angles, so has to cut it back to Moussa Diaby. Backs to the wall stuff here for Wolves inside the opening 10 minutes as Kamara strikes! Oh my word, it's off the post! My word, just as I was saying, what an unsung hero he has been. What a fabulous goal that would have been if that had gone in. But he's going to line up a second strike. This time it's straight at the goalkeeper. He is a man who is desperate to try and get on the score sheet here today. But my word, he was inches away from doing so just earlier on. Jacob Ramsey, though, this time tries to go forward. He's cut off, though, by Hwang. And now Wolves can try and see if they can hit us on the counter-attack as Cunha just manages to get between my two central defenders. And now Diego Carlos tries to come across to cover. Doesn't do a good enough job. Cunha strikes, blazes it over. Well, it's been an electric start here at Villa Park in the opening 15-20 minutes. My word, I can hardly catch my breath. Both teams vying for the opening goal here. Neither of them able to get it though, as Kilman brings it out, feeds it into Gomez. Neto now has it. This is end-to-end stuff here at Villa Park, and Cunha has just opened my defence up again. He strikes from distance, this time straight at Martinez, off for a corner. And it's a corner that man Cunha is going to take, and he looks like he's going to fire it straight into the box. He does right into the penalty area. Neto comes across. Almost gets ahead of one of my defenders, but fortunately enough, Martinez makes it look easy. Well, there's just something about Wolves that we just seem to struggle with here. After a bit of shaky 5 or 10 minutes opening to this game, they've really found their feet. And now, out of the two teams, they look like the more likely to score as Cunha now has it again. That man is causing me all sorts of problems. But yet again, Diego Carlos was able to come across. And now he feeds in a wonderful ball into Zaniolo, who can't get away from Tapia. Wolves continue to press forward. Neto now has it in the box. Neto tries to put it onto his left, instead finds Hwang. Oh my word, Pau Torres gets there first. It falls out to Tapia. And this time, he can make us pay. And with 31 minutes on the clock, Wolverhampton Wanderers take the lead here. It was another piece of play, fabulous piece of play I should say, by the Wolves attack, and it was bouncing around like a pinball inside my area. We just could not clear our lines, and in the end, frustratingly for me, it falls to a Wolves player, and he makes no mistake from that distance. Fires it into an empty net. Much to my frustration, it's 1-0 into Jacob Ramsey. Jacob Ramsey trying to inject some sort of creativity into this game that has been missing so far from our side. Sacha Boey fades it across to Moussa Diaby. He cuts inside, looking for an opening here. Fires it with his left straight at the goalkeeper. Jose Sarr just manages to jump on the rebound. Semedo has it for Wolves inside the opening 5 minutes here in the second half. And so far, out of the two teams, it is Wolves who have the possession, and we're really struggling to get the ball off of them. As Semedo now tries to drive down the right-hand side, he finds Neto, who's been the danger man, fires it into the box, Diego Carlos manages to head it away, and Neto, though, manages to go past my right-back, and in the end, it's, well, have we given away a penalty here? What on earth is the referee trying to say here? Diego Carlos looks to the ground. Let's take a look at the replay here. I mean, it's a bit soft, you've got to be honest. I'm clearly frustrated, but it looks like Wolves have a penalty. Yes, they do. And it looks like Wolves are now going to try and step up and put a cushion here. It's Cunha, and Cunha strikes and Cunha scores. He does put a 2-goal cushion between the two teams. And just like the last time we played them, they have a 2-goal lead. This time at Villa Park, Cunha sends Emi Martinez the wrong way. And we have got an absolute mountain to climb here today. Well, I don't know what it is about Wolves, but they just seem to have my number in this career mode. We cannot seem to find our feet. So far, it's 2 games against them, 4 goals conceded, and none scored whatsoever. We've got about half an hour on the clock to try and find something, anything. But just as I say that, we don't give the ball away. And that has pretty much been a story of the game so far from us. Semedo. Infield to Cunha. Kuna has just walked all over my defence so far in this game, but Jacob Ramsey does eventually manage to intercept the ball, and he feeds in Zaniolo. Zaniolo goes in field for Yuri Tielemans. He's looking for options ahead of him, and he tries to cut it back to Zaniolo. In the end, we get very fortunate, and Jacob Ramsey picks up the loose ball, finds a Stupinian. Wolves defending for their lives here. A Stupinian trying to wriggle away from a challenge. He does a brilliant job of doing it, fires it across, looking for the header. Moussa Diaby. It does manage to come off the Frenchman. It's not good enough, though, and Jose Sarr pounces on the loose ball. Well, desperate times call for desperate measures, and as you can see, I'm switching to a 4-2-4 here to try and see if I can unlock what is a stubborn Wolves defence. It is going to be that man Jacob Ramsey I'm going to bring off. Jimenez is going to try and come on to try and give us some extra firepower up front. And we're going to try and see if he can do anything whatsoever to try and light a fire under this team. Because so far, we are just not firing at all. Tapia, the goal scorer for Wolves. He's chased down by Kamara, and that's a brilliant challenge from the central defensive midfielder. Ollie Watkins now to try and release a Stupinian on down the left-hand side. He's looking for a run. Can't find any. He's held up by Semedo, and again, Wolves do enough to try and block our counter-attack, but it's a wonderful ball out wide to an unmarked Sacha Boey. He tries to go down the line, ends up losing it, and now we are exposed, and Wolves can try and hit us on the counter-attack. It's Kuna to dance around. I think it was Diego Carlos. He gets past Pau Torres as well. What on earth is happening here? It's into Neto. He goes past to Stupinian, and he makes us pay, and that will be that here today. Terrible, terrible defending all round. I was absolutely desperate to try and put a challenge in. I was smashing circle, and I was just doing it all too eagerly. My players just caught completely unawares. Emi Martinez is left frustrated. 3-0 Wolverhampton Wanderers. Down the line into Zaniolo on the left-hand side. He's going to try and cut back in, looking for something, anything, trying to find some sort of opening. Doesn't manage to find anything. It's hacked away by the Wolves defenders into Kamara. Kamara's going to try a speculative effort from distance. Gets absolutely nowhere with it. It's cleared away by the Wolves defenders. And now they're going to try and see if they can get a fourth. Aït-Nouri down the left-hand side. We've just got absolutely nothing left. He just clips it into no one. Martinez is grateful just to carry it. And he will pick the ball up as the referee blows for full time. Well, it's an absolutely shocking performance from us all round. That man has well and truly got my number on this career mode. My players are absolutely despondent. That man, Diego Carlos, was at fault. He gave away a penalty that really set Wolves on their way. As at full time here, it finishes at Villa Park. Aston Villa 0, Wolves 3. Well, just as I thought our Premier League campaign was going exactly the way I wanted it to, it turned out perhaps it was too good to be true. A 3-0 win for Wolves means it's an end to our unbeaten run, and whilst we are still top of the table with Man City and Liverpool both having 2 games in hand on us, surely it's only a matter of time before we slip down to third. And with Manchester City being the team we have up next at the Etihad Stadium to kick off the very next episode, it is going to be an absolutely colossal one that you do not want to miss. That is it for today's episode though. It's certainly been an up and down one to say the least. On one hand, we're fighting for Premier League glory, but then we find ourselves being beaten 3-0 by our arch rivals and knocked out by PAOK FC in the round of 16 of the Europa Conference League. And with the board not happy and the pressure starting to mount, things are really going to start to heat up as we head towards the back end of the season. But that is it for today's episode. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope you have enjoyed it, and I'll see you again next time. Last episode we went crashing out of Europe, but somehow managed to drag ourselves to the top of the table, and with just 10 games remaining, can we do the unthinkable and win the Premier League? But as ever, if you're enjoying the series so far, please feel free to like and subscribe, and let's get into today's episode. Now, with that terrible result in Europe last episode being knocked out of the round of 16 in the Europa Conference League, it means we've got no opportunity in any of the cup competitions to try and win a trophy this season. And it also means that I'm hanging on to my job by a thread, which puts even more pressure on us to try and achieve something special in the Premier League this season. But as you can see, somehow, some way, we found ourselves top of the table, but with the likes of Manchester City and Liverpool chasing us down with 2 games in hand, how long can we keep hold of it for? But as luck would have it, with Manchester City, our title rivals, being our very next game in the season, we are getting stuck straight into the action here today in our very first game of this episode. Only 2 major changes to my usual starting 11, with the likes of Konza coming in the back and Moreno coming in at left back due to a little bit of fatigue. Apart from that, Martinez starts with Sacha Boey and Torres making up the back 5. Kamara, Tielemans and Ramsey start in the centre. Zaniolo, of course, on the left. Diaby on the right. And of course, no surprise to see Ollie Watkins leading the line up front. Well, what a huge game we have in store today. Absolutely massive. If we lose this game, bearing in mind that Manchester City do have a couple of games in hand on us, perhaps we can kiss goodbye to the one and only opportunity we have of silverware this season in the Premier League. If we do somehow manage to win, my word, with only a handful of games remaining, we really have a great opportunity to try and win the Premier League title. But just as I say that, Kovacic sneaks in behind my defenders, and within the first 5 minutes, Manchester City get off to an absolutely electric start. We completely fell asleep at the back. It was that man Sacha Boey who just lost his man, and Kovacic fired in an early strike past Emi Martinez to give Manchester City a 1-0 lead inside the opening 5 minutes. Not the start we were hoping for. Julian Alvarez for Manchester City just goes past Pau Torres like he's not even there. He's got Haaland up ahead of him, but he doesn't need to need him at the moment. But Pau Torres eventually makes amends for his earlier mistake, manages to claw the ball back, and then we go and give it away. The Manchester City press is really hurting us at the moment. Bernardo Silva is blocked off by Alex Moreno. Can we try and launch some form of counter-attack here? Ollie Watkins tries to feed it back into Alex Moreno on the left-hand side. Has he just been held up? And he manages to find a ball out to Zaniolo. He cuts it back inside, looking for Jacob Ramsey. Switches it onto his right and goes over. Moussa Diaby goes all the way back to Konza. And look at this. We've got every single player in the Manchester City half. And it's back to the wall stuff for them already inside the opening 22 minutes. But it's not enough to block Jacob Ramsey, who almost manages to get onto it. But eventually it's a brilliant save from Ederson. We do manage to keep the ball alive though. It's Yuri Tielemans into Jacob Ramsey again for his third strike. Ederson blocks him again. Well, Jacob Ramsey has had 3 really decent opportunities, none of which he was able to take. But can Konza try and get there ahead of the defender? No, he can't. It does fall to Kamara. Tielemans will get a second opportunity to try and throw it in. Instead goes back to Konza. We're trying to fashion an opportunity here as Kamara wriggles away from the Manchester City press. It's Jacob Ramsey, looks for a ball out wide to Alex Moreno. Flings it in, looks for the back post, and Moussa Diaby is acrobatically cleared by the Manchester City defenders, and eventually Julian Alvarez manages to get it clear as well. Man City have got a free kick here that Erling Haaland of all people is going to take, and it wasn't the best free kick to be fair, but they've somehow managed to keep hold of the ball, and Julian Alvarez, who's been a danger man so far, feeds it into Jack Grealish. Oh, how he will love to have a good game against his former employers. Eventually we do manage to clear our lines, and now again can we try and hit Manchester City on the counter-attack. It's a bit slow, but Kamara has options ahead of him, and he manages to find Sacha Boey down the right-hand side, and he has got the pace to burst forward, and that was a complete and utter mess. Alex Moreno on the left-hand side, tries to bring it in, doesn't really have too many options, wriggles around the press of the Manchester City players, fires a wicked ball in. Ollie Watkins heads it over though. Well, we're 45 minutes down, and we are 1-0 down, and we have just one half to pretty much save our season here, because if we do not get some form of result, I'm sure we can kiss goodbye our Premier League title chances. Kovacic for City. It's been a fairly quiet 15 minutes at the start of this second half. Neither team really able to break down the other one, but that will not matter for Manchester City. They will be happy to just see out the remainder of this half. It's on us to try and see if we can unlock a stubborn Man City defence, but so far Manchester City are now the ones who are bursting forward, as Konza comes across with a brilliant challenge. Tries now to release Zaniolo down the left-hand side. He manages to get away from the defenders, and he releases Ollie Watkins. Ollie Watkins to drive into the box. He's going to take it on his left, and he smashes it into the top left-hand corner to get us right back on level terms here at the Etihad Stadium. It was another incisive counter-attack. It was Zaniolo who managed to just dribble past a couple of Manchester City players. He laid it on a plate for Ollie Watkins, and he had the pace to drive into the box. And he had the finish, which he applied to perfection past Ederson. And much to my delight, it's 1-1. Nuno Mendes playing in that inverted role. Tielemans came across to cover, and he wins the ball back twice, this time against Rodri. And surely now we can try and hit them on the counter yet again. Jacob Ramsey looking for options up ahead of him. Tries to feed a wonderful ball into Zaniolo. Oh my word, the Manchester City players getting all over the place. And in the end, they get very lucky, and it strolls off for a corner. And it's a corner that the substitute, Leon Bailey, is going to take. He's going to come on, and he's going to fire a wicked ball into the penalty spot. McGinn also on as a sub, tried to get there first. But instead, Bailey will have another opportunity to try and swing it in. He manages to get past the defender, looks for Kamara this time. And Kamara with his head knots us into a 2-1 lead here at the Etihad Stadium. My word, we have completely and utterly turned this game on its head. Well, I thought the chance was gone, but Leon Bailey clearly did not. Manages just stroll past the defender. A fabulous ball in, and Kamara got up ahead of the Manchester City defence, and he nodded a brilliant, powerful header past Ederson, who could do absolutely nothing about it. And just like that, we lead. It's 2-1. Well, my word, from a very difficult first half, Within the space of about 10 minutes, we have completely turned the tables on Manchester City, and now the impetus and the onus has to be on them to try and see if they can get an equaliser here. All we've got to do is keep a professional job going, make sure we don't make any mistakes, and hopefully we can see this game out and get a much needed 3 points. Now Torres into McGinn. We've really got our tails up here. Can we try and see if we can get a third to try and put the game to bed? But just as I say that, we go and give it away. And now Jack Grealish, again against his former club, will try and drive down this left-hand side. Konsa comes across to try and put a challenge in. Doesn't manage to. Haaland picks it up. Pau Torres, though, does manage to. And that was a brilliant piece of defending from the Spaniard. Just a matter of seconds plus stoppage time remaining on the clock as Manchester City power the ball forward. It's headed down. Every single player is inside the Aston Villa half. We are waiting, hoping, praying for the referee to blow for full time here, but he hasn't got any opportunity or any ideas of doing so. It's Haaland now to strike from distance. Martinez with a big save. Can Cash get there first? Yes, he can. Knots it off of Grealish, and the referee finally does decide to blow the whistle for full time. As I go over to shake the hand of Pep Guardiola, I am absolutely delighted. Ruben Diaz cannot believe it, but my players are also in utter joy. What a brilliant second half performance that at full time sees us take the 3 points as it finishes City 1, Aston Villa 2. Wow, wow, wow. My central defensive midfielder is the man to step up and seal the winner. I've been saying for a couple of episodes now that this man Kamara is really cementing himself as my strongest midfielder, and with an 83 rated, his overall rating is backing that up. He's appeared 33 times this season. He's only chipped in with 2 goals, but my word, just how important one of those goals could potentially turn out to be this season. We keep our place at the top of the table, and with Manchester City only having 1 game in hand on us and only being 3 points behind us, we really have an unbelievable opportunity this season to do something incredibly special. And just as I say that, we keep the momentum rolling. A 4-2 victory at home against Brentford, with the man of the moment Kamara getting on the score sheet again for the 2nd time in a row as we claim another 3 points. But it is now time for an almighty clash as we are about to head to the Emirates Stadium, as we are about to face off against this man's former club. It's no surprise to see a couple of my mainstays returning back to the starting 11. Martinez, of course, starts in goal. Sacha Boey, Diego Carlos, Pau Torres and Estupiñán at the back. The usual trio of Kamara, Tielemans and Ramsey in the centre. Zaniolo on the left. Diaby on the right, and of course Ollie Watkins starts up front. Sacha Boey on the right hand side finds a ball into the man of the moment Kamara, who lifts a wonderful pass over to Estupiñán. Oh, he's done a really nice job of taking it away from Saka. He's done a beautiful job, and he's played it into Zaniolo. He gets it back from him. Estupiñán drives into the box. It's a big save from Ramsdale. It's going to be Tielemans who's going to take the resulting corner. Just 8 minutes into this game already, we are in the ascendancy, and it's Diaby, one of the smallest men on the pitch, who tried to just loop it over. Didn't manage to get it on target, but we have somehow managed to get another corner. It is going to be that man, Diaby, to take it. He's going to try and throw it into the penalty spot, looking for Diego Carlos. Couldn't quite make it to him. Kamara will pick it up, though, and Diaby will have a second chance to throw it back in. He does, looking for Zaniolo at the back post, over the bar. Into Martinelli for Arsenal. Thomas Partey to try and bring this one right through the heart of my midfield. It's Saka now out wide on the right-hand side. Estupiñán, though, really has his number so far in the opening 20 minutes, as he's managed to get away from him. And now look at the space he's got to drive down this left-hand side. He's completely unopposed here. He continues. Has he got any options in the box? I'm going to try and cut this one back to Zaniolo. He does. Zaniolo strikes. Oh my word, he got it all wrong. Lovely pass down the line into the path of Thomas Partey, who finds himself on the right hand side of the attacking trio for Arsenal. Estupiñán comes across to try and cover. Saka now has it. He tries to get into the penalty area. This time it's Jacob Ramsey who came across. And now again we can try and hit Arsenal on the counter-attack. Lovely pass from Zaniolo back into Jacob Ramsey. Zaniolo has it again. He's going to try and look for the overlap of Estupiñán. It is brilliant, brilliant play down the left hand side. Everything we've done so far seems to be coming down that way as Estupiñán. Oh, I thought he was going to score, but Ramsdale with an unbelievable save to keep that scores at 0-0. Tielemans to take the corner. It has been all Aston Villa in the opening 30 minutes here. Almost into the penalty spot. Diego Carlos with a fabulous volley. I thought the chance was gone as he missed a header, but my word, with his left foot on the half volley, absolutely leathered it past Ramsdale to give us a 1-0 lead. What a fabulous goal. A brilliant corner across. The header was missed, but it fell kindly to the centre-back, and he made no mistake from that angle. Back in the starting 11 after missing out against Manchester City, and he says thank you very much to his manager for putting him back in, and it gives us a 1-0 lead here at the Emirates. Thomas Partey now for Arsenal to try and bring it forward. He's got an option of Saka ahead of him, but he gets challenged by Jacob Ramsey. Does a good job to hold him up, but doesn't manage to win the ball back. And now Declan Rice brings it forward, unopposed. Where are the challenges? Martinez with a good save in the end, though. Well, Arsenal looking to strike back with immediate effect, and they've got a corner here, which they're going to take short. Goes to Jesus. Jesus tries to go past my defenders. Instead, it was Ollie Watkins he was actually trying to go past. He did manage to go past him. In the end, it's now Jorginho who picks it up on the edge of the box. Tielemans blocks, and Martinez will pick that up nicely, and we breathe a sigh of relief. Oh, the high press almost caught them out there, but they have managed to beat it, and now they've got men over here, but Pau Torres came across brilliantly, and he releases Moussa Diaby, who's been fairly quiet so far in this game, tried to go past Kyle, but in the end it was good defending from the young Arsenal man. Nice pass down the line into Saka, tried to go past Estupiñán. Yet again, the Ecuadorian has his number and managed to win the ball back from him. And now Jacob Ramsey with a fabulous run. Can't get past Timber though, but eventually does manage to bundle the ball into the path of Estupiñán, who cuts it forward. The goal scorer to bring it back into the penalty area and strikes again. This time Ramsdale is equal to it. Estupiñán down the left-hand side again. This time cuts it inside for Zaniolo. Arsenal pretty much have almost every man back here. Kamara's going to try and lift it over to Sacha Boey. He tries to lift it into the box, goes off Martinez, goes out for another corner. Tielemans to take yet again. It is again all Aston Villa in this second half here. The ball goes up. Ramsdale claims though. Saka for Arsenal trying to go past Pau Torres, and he's got the beating of him for pace. But the Pau Torres, and Estupiñán frantically trying to get back. And yet again, that man Estupiñán, this time with a fabulous challenge. He has been in an absolute world of his own all game so far. Arsenal have a short corner though that Saka is going to take, and he does manage to go past one of my defenders. Gets it back. Estupiñán's going to try and put in a challenge. Isn't able to get there. Martinelli now has it. We are just doing everything we can to try and clear our lines here. Kyle has it. And in the end, it's a brilliant challenge. And now we can really hit Arsenal on the counter-attack. Leon Bailey, can he try and release Jimenez? Well defended from Declan Rice. He absolutely had to put the block in there. Otherwise, we are through on goal. Jesus into Martinelli. Arsenal have all of a sudden turned up the gears here as they frantically search for an equaliser. In the end, it's a pretty tame shot that Martinez makes look easy. But we've got to be careful here, as with just over 10 minutes on the clock, we only have a one-goal lead. Estupiñán, though, goes down the left-hand side. Pretty much all of our attacks this game have come down that side of the pitch. Nonto now on as a sub. I was looking for the ball into the box for Jimenez. In the end, it goes back to Kamara. He manages to get in the box, though, and strike straight at Ramsdale. And in the end, Declan Rice, oh my word, with a very calm short pass to the goalkeeper, who just about hacked it away. And you have to be honest, that was the opportunity to really put the game to bed there, which we did not take. And now Arsenal can try and hit us on the counter-attack here. It's Martinelli going to go one-on-one with Pau Torres. Doesn't manage to get the better of him though. And of course it is that man, Kamara, who comes across, wriggles away from a couple of challenges and makes it look easy. And it turns out that will be that for the end of the game. A hard-fought 1-0 victory. One that perhaps we could have had a lot more goals in. We absolutely battered Arsenal from pillar to post. They had a couple of opportunities at the end, but it was that man, Diego Carlos, fabulous in defence and fabulous in front of goal. His volley was enough to make the difference and seal the 3 points here today. As at full time, we beat Arsenal 1-0. It was Diego Carlos' first goal of the season, and my word, what a time to score it. The 31-year-old veteran has been vying for his spot on the right-hand side of my two central defenders with this man Ezri Konsa all season, but when I've needed him to step up, he has done just that, and he has scored his first goal of the season, which could be a huge goal in the context of the Premier League title race. It's kept our place at the top of the table with just 5 games remaining. Manchester City have dropped down to 3rd, and they are now 5 points behind us with only 1 game in hand, and it looks like Liverpool are the team that we now need to watch out for. And bearing in mind we have them as our penultimate game of the season, my word, what a huge game that potentially could be on the 11th of May. But straight after that we are brought crashing back down to earth courtesy of a late Kirkes goal for Bournemouth as we drop 2 points. Tielemans missed a penalty in the 74th minute, and it's a really frustrating result. It finishes 1-1 against Bournemouth, and with us now only being a point ahead of Liverpool with them having 2 games in hand, it makes this next game an absolutely huge one at Villa Park against Chelsea, arguably one of our most important games so far this season. It is one that we absolutely must win. We must get 3 points, because if we do not, I am pretty certain we can kiss our title hopes goodbye. As you can see, my starting 11 remains pretty much exactly as it always does. There's only one key change, and that is Matty Cash coming in at right back for Sacha Boey, who drops to the bench after a series of games where he hasn't really been up to scratch. Estupiñán, after a fabulous performance against Arsenal, he'll be keen to carry on his form and momentum straight into this Chelsea game, but Matty Cash, who's deputising for Sacha Boey, has started the game really poorly as he's given away a really cheap pass. And in the end, Chelsea, well, they almost made an opportunity of that, but Kamara, of course, my best midfielder all season, has come across, and he's put a stop to it immediately. Now Matty Cash looking to make amends and bring it out of defence, and he finds Yuri Tielemans, who tries to find Diaby, but Matty Cash manages to get it back on the overload. And Matty Cash continues his run, goes central, tries to feed it in, and again, his passing is going a bit wayward today so far. Not been particularly good from the Polish man. Sterling now has it to try and bring it into the centre of the park. Looks for Cole Palmer. He goes out wide to the right hand side to Gusto. He's got acres of space here to try and find a ball into the box, but Estupinian comes across, and Chelsea have a corner. And it's a corner it looks like they're going to go short for, with Sterling to take, and he does go short, finds Conor Gallagher. He throws it into the box. It is headed away by that man, Matty Cash. Chelsea got another one. And again, it looks like they are going to go short. It's the same formula as the first time. Conor Gallagher has it. This time he shifts it onto his left, fires it into Nicholas Jackson, who fires it over the bar. That was a big opportunity for the young man. Perhaps he should have done better from that angle. A brilliant ball across, caught my defenders napping. And it was a big opportunity for Chelsea, one that Mauricio Pochettino knows they should have done better with. Matty Cash, unmarked on the right-hand side. He's been heavily involved so far in this game, for better or for worse, as Ollie Watkins now tries to go past the Chelsea defence. Lovely pass into Matty Cash. He's got an opportunity here to try and fashion a chance. Diaby, and it's a good save in the end from Sanchez. Now we have our first corner of the game. It's been an end-to-end start here in the opening 25 minutes. It's a poor corner, though, from Tielemans. I haven't said that too many times this season. He's got an opportunity, to fire it in with his left. And it's Zaniolo at the back post, who's been pretty much anonymous all game, who has chipped in unawares right at the back, behind the Chelsea defence, to nod us into a 1-0 lead here at Villa Park. Well, from absolutely nothing, Tielemans with a really poor corner, fired it in a second time, this time with his left foot. And the Chelsea defence, they completely fell asleep. The Italian rose highest at the back post and nodded in a powerful header past Sanchez to give us a fabulous and much needed 1-0 lead. Caicedo into Conor Gallagher, up high here inside our half. Chelsea looking to strike back immediately, but it's Kamara again who comes across to snuff out the danger, and now he can try and bring it down this left-hand side, and he feeds in the goal scorer Zaniolo, who's got acres of space to try and drive into here. Has he got any options in the box? He finds Ollie Watkins, who fires a strike with his right. Sanchez diving across with a fabulous save, and it's Tielemans again to try and take the resulting corner, hoping to do a better one, than he did last time, and Diego Carlos just nods the ball wide. Yuri Tielemans again, down the line once again for Mr. Diaby. It's been a common theme so far in the opening 45 minutes. Diaby, though, takes it across himself this time, and in the end blazes it over the bar as the referee blows for half-time. Well, as the second half begins, Chelsea will be looking to try and put in a better performance than they did in the opening 45 minutes. Aside from the early chance, they weren't really able to fashion any real clear-cut opportunities, and now it's Yuri Tielemans who's going to try and look to do one for himself. He takes it on and strikes it straight at Sanchez, who in the end of the second attempt manages to just jump on top of the ball and keep it out of the clutches of the on-rushing Ollie Watkins. Sterling for Chelsea down the left-hand side, cuts inside looking for Caicedo, but it's well challenged yet again from that man Diego Carlos. But Matty Cash again with a bit of a wayward pass. Pretty much been the story of his performance so far. Perhaps in the summer, right back might be a position that I want to try and look into, but for now, on the left-hand side of midfield, we're doing really well. Zaniolo fires it into Diaby. Tielemans now has it, and Tielemans strikes. It's a wicked strike. It's an almighty strike, and it's enough to give us a 2-goal cushion here at Villa Park. A fabulous piece of play. Yet again, Zaniolo was involved. Surely he will get the assist. No, sorry, Diaby will get the assist after a lovely turn and pass into the feet of the on-rushing Yuri Tielemans. And look at that. He couldn't have placed it any better. Sanchez, the goalkeeper, had absolutely no chance. He's delighted. It's 2-0 Aston Villa. Bafana for Chelsea into Caicedo. Caicedo right away across to Raheem Sterling, but Diego Carlos again trying to put the block in, but now, Nicholas Jackson was there ahead of him. It's now Cole Palmer, goes back to Jackson, and Jackson strikes, and Jackson gives Chelsea a goal straight away. What a reply. They are right back in this game. Well, there's over 20 minutes still remaining on the clock here. A lot of time for Chelsea to try and see if they can level the scores here. At the moment, it's been all Aston Villa, but Chelsea only needed one opportunity this half to make us pay, and it's that man, Nicholas Jackson, who fires a nice ball over to Raheem Sterling, who's gone past Matty Cash, who has had a pretty poor game, it must be said, but Pau Torres, what a piece of defending that was from the Spaniard. Short pass into Zaniolo, surely he's was going to try and look for the overlap of Estupinian. He was too slow, though, was the Italian, and now Palmer can try and bring this one down the right-hand side. Lovely ball into the box. Diego Carlos tried to smash it clear in the end, rebounded off of Sterling, and fell kindly for Emi Martinez. But Chelsea starting now to put the pressure on. They've got their tails up and they sense they can possibly get something from this game. It's a short ball into Zaniolo. He's going to try and go past Gusto. He does manage to go past Gusto. Lovely play from the Italian. Can he try and feed a ball into the box? He does. Looking for the head of Diaby. Sorry, he was looking for the head of Ollie Watkins. Ollie Watkins did manage to get his head on it, but the goalkeeper was equal to it, and he will clear the ball for Chelsea. Palmer now has it. All of a sudden, this game, since Chelsea scored, has turned into an absolute ding-dong battle. End-to-end stuff here as Palmer fires it into the box. Alberto to try and get his head on it. It's hacked away by Estupiñán. Anywhere will do right now. Gusto wins the ball back inside our half. Chelsea's really starting to turn the screw. Can we try and just hold on for a few more minutes? Estupiñán with a brilliant challenge. He will bring the ball out of defence. Referee, blow your whistle for full time. Surely he gives the ball away, but eventually he does, and that is game over. Well, it was a bit of a shaky end to that game. The Aston Villa players, they embraced and they breathe a sigh of relief. The Wolves were starting to close in, but that man's goal, Yuri Tielemans, and a fine performance from the Belgium was enough to once again get us 3 points in a huge game. As at full time here at Villa Park, it finishes Aston Villa 2, Chelsea 1. That victory helps us extend our unbeaten run in the Premier League and extend our unbeaten run so far in this episode, and with just 3 games remaining keeps us top of the Premier League table. Liverpool are breathing down our necks, just 3 points behind us with 2 games in hand, and with an almighty clash against them in the penultimate game of the season finale, it is one you do not want to miss. But that is it for today's episode. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope you have enjoyed it, and I'll see you again next time. It's the season finale. We have 3 games remaining to potentially win the Premier League, and the penultimate one is the biggest game of the season against our title rivals Liverpool. You do not want to miss this episode. But as ever, if you're enjoying the series so far, please feel free to like and subscribe, and let's get into today's episode. We've got Brighton away, we've got Liverpool at home, and then we finish off the season away from home against Crystal Palace. 3 games and potentially 9 points to do the unthinkable and win the Premier League for the first time in Aston Villa's history. Before we get started though, we get an email from our assistant manager informing us that the Italian star Nicolo Zaniolo's loan will be up at the end of the season. He's been a standout performer on the left-hand side of midfield for me, chipping in with 12 goals and 7 assists in 38 appearances overall. 11 of those goals and 6 of those assists coming in just 32 Premier League appearances. At 82 rating, he is on the up, and he's definitely someone I would love to add permanently to our ranks, but frustratingly, EAFC 24 doesn't allow me to do this. It only allows me to terminate his loan. So it looks like he's only got 3 more games left in an Aston Villa shirt, and I'm going to have to hope that I can try and negotiate a permanent deal for him in the summer. If this is to be his last few appearances in an Aston Villa shirt, I'm sure he will be absolutely desperate to help the team reach the promised land in the final few games of the season, and he's going to get the opportunity to try and do that straight away as we are jumping straight into the action here in this season finale as we head to the Amex Stadium, and we are going to be facing off against a resurgent Brighton side that we desperately need and must get 3 points from. It's Brighton versus Aston Villa. Let's go. As you can see, it is the usual suspects that make the starting 11. No key changes here today as we look to secure a win on the road. Bad for Brighton. Oh, he's done a really good job of skipping away from the challenge of Sacha Boey, and Ansu Fati now to try and strike. He got his strike all wrong, and he absolutely scuffed at that one. And Martinez said, thank you very much. Estupiñán into the Italian Zaniolo. He's going to go down the line into Jacob Ramsey, who's found loads of space on the left-hand side. Cuts back infield, looks for Ollie Watkins. He takes it on his left and strikes and gets the strike all wrong as well. Dahoud for Brighton to try and burst through the centre of my midfield. My midfield is just gaping. There's so many holes. Where on earth are my central players? I've no idea. As Ferreira now has it, and Ferreira gives Brighton a 1-0 lead inside 20 minutes. Well, that is not the start we would have wanted. Brighton carved through my midfield like a knife through butter. Absolutely no one to be seen. And Ferreira, with a wonderful left foot shot, just curled it into the top right hand corner. Gave Martinez no chance. And much to my frustration, Brighton take a 1-0 lead. Well, if we're going to get the 3 points, we're going to have to do it the hard way. We're going to have to come from behind, as we must win here today. If we do not, we can kiss our title hopes goodbye. And we certainly don't want to do that before the penultimate game against our title rivals, Liverpool. Sacha Boey. Lovely pass all the way out to Zaniolo on the left-hand side, but Tarek Lamptey wins the header, the smallest man on the pitch. Won the header against an Italian who's about 6 foot tall. How realistic is that? Who knows? But Lallana now tries to play a ball over the top. It's a poor ball in the end that Martinez captures very easily. Floats another wonderful pass over to Estupinian this time, who takes it down beautifully. Plays a lovely ball into Zaniolo, who's been heavily involved so far. Zaniolo cuts it back into Jacob Ramsey, and he smashes it into the back of the net. That man, the young wonder kid who came through the Aston Villa ranks, strikes again this season just when I needed him to. Well, I spoke up Zaniolo's influence at the start of this game, and my word, he's chipped in yet again. A fabulous assist after a lovely run and turn, and he laid it on a plate for Jacob Ramsey, who with his left foot fired a wicked strike past the goalkeeper. We're level on terms here, 1-1. Ansu Fati for Brighton, leading the charge, bringing it infield. It's the goal scorer Ferreira who tried to go past Pau Torres. He isn't able to, though. The Spaniard, with a crunching challenge, wins the ball back off of him. And now it is the goal scorer Jacob Ramsey to try and bring this ball out of midfield. Estupinian now into the centre, finds Tielemans. Tielemans gets the rebound pass off the Brighton player, and now Sacha Boey has it into Moussa Diaby. He gets it onto his left and gets the strike all wrong. Maksimovic for Brighton, challenged again by Tielemans, and ever since we've got that goal, our tails have been up. But just as I say that, Ollie Watkins goes and loses the ball to Lewis Dunk. Now Ansu Fati brings it in field and plays a wonderful pass into the Brighton goal scorer Ferreira. He tries to go past Pau Torres, instead it lays it off to Lallana, who strikes straight down the pipe, straight into the arms of Martinez for half-time. 45 minutes, that's all we have. We must get a goal here today. If we don't, we can kiss our title chances goodbye. What an important 45 minutes we are about to witness. Zaniolo turns nicely, goes infield, fires a nice ball across to Sacha Boey to try and switch the play. He takes it down really nicely, and he's got acres of space here on the right-hand side to try and drive into, cuts it back. I was looking for the pass into Tielemans. It wasn't meant to be, and Brighton get the ball clear. Maksimovic, lovely pass into Ansu Fati, and he's going to try and go one-on-one with Pau Torres. He's got the beating of him for pace, but Pau Torres tries to come across. This time it's a double team, and Sacha Boey ends up winning the ball back really well. Can we try and strike a counter-attack here? It's into the path of Yuri Tielemans. I tried to feed it into Moussa Diaby. It was a good challenge and interception in the end from the Brighton left-back. End-to-end stuff here at the start of the second half, inside the opening hour, as Buonanotte now has it on the right. Estupinian tried to come across to Hood, now has it into Ansu Fati on his right, and it's a brilliant shot, and Ansu Fati gets Brighton back in the lead. Oh, it's just so frustrating. Lovely build-up play from Brighton, and again they carved my defence open. They've just buckled under the pressure here today, and just when we needed to get ourselves into the lead, we've gone and conceded, and yet again we've got to do this the hard way. Jacob Ramsey again fires a nice ball over to Sacha Boey. Lovely touch in straight into the path of Ollie Watkins. Ollie Watkins across into Tielemans, gets it all wrong. Ollie Watkins gets it though. Oh my word, it was bouncing around like a pinball inside the Brighton area, and we just could not take the chance. That was a huge let-off for the South Coast club. Estupinian tried to go down the left-hand side. It was well read by Tarek Lamptey. Now he bursts forward down this right-hand side. Buonanotte now has it, cuts it back to the right back, and he will drive into acres of space. Pau Torres tried to come across, wasn't a good enough challenge. Sacha Boey just about gets his head on that one. Tielemans will get to the rescue, and now he releases Moussa Diaby. The Frenchman surely has the pace to try and burst away from the Brighton left-back, but instead tried to play the pass into Yuri Tielemans, who was overlapping. We got it wrong. That was a big opportunity missed. Diego Carlos comes across, tries to challenge Ansu Fati, does a really good job, but these two are still tussling away. Ansu Fati has it into Ferreira. What a save from Martinez. That has kept the scores at 2-1, and my word, that save may have just kept us in the game. Gives it away to Estupinian. This is really starting to open up now. Jacob Ramsey, he's got the on-rushing Zaniolo down the left-hand side. He's going to cut it infield, looking for Ollie Watkins. Ollie Watkins tries to find Moussa Diaby, does find him. Diaby strikes with his left off the post. Oh, he was inches away from levelling the scores, but it was not meant to be. Buonanotte for Brighton. Lallana, we've got less than 5 minutes here to desperately try and see if we can get an equaliser, let alone a winner. Ansu Fati, though, back into Ferreira, strikes. Martinez with another huge save. It will be a Brighton corner, and one that they're going to throw right into the box. It's a good head away, though, by the left-back on as a sub, Alex Moreno. Can he get there ahead of the Brighton full-back? He can, and Alex Moreno now can try and stretch his legs down this left-hand side. Has he got the pace to keep going? Instead drives into the box, and Lewis Dunk instead just got there. He got the interception just when he needed it to, and Brighton have men over now. It was a brilliant challenge from Pau Torres. Again, we will try and see if we can counter-attack. No, we can't, and the referee blows for full time. Oh, it was a game we desperately needed to win, and we buckled under the pressure. Martinez cannot believe it. Neither can that man, Jacob Ramsey. He thought his goal was enough to at least level the scores and try and see if he can get us back on the right path, but it just was not meant to be. Full time here against Brighton. It finishes Brighton 2, Aston Villa 1. No doubt that loss was a huge disappointment, and it was a crucial goal for Ansu Fati that sealed defeat. It's a frustrating defeat that ends our brilliant unbeaten run so far this season, but with Liverpool coming unstuck in one of their games in hand at home to Spurs Spurs losing 3-1. It means that we are level on points now. They do have a game in hand, but it is still all to play for somehow in the Premier League. And so here we go then, the biggest game of the season so far. It is the penultimate game in the Premier League. It's at Villa Park, and it is a huge one against our title rivals Liverpool. There can be no doubt this is a must-win game. If we do not beat Liverpool here today, we can kiss our title chances goodbye. We need the 3 points, and we hopefully can do it in front of our own fans. And in spite of that 2-1 defeat against Brighton, I have not decided to make any changes to my usual starting 11. This is my strongest starting 11, and I've got to hope they can bounce back in style here today. Stupinian with the throw, goes short into Zaniolo, who's ended up coming deep. The most deep man on the pitch there, the left winger was. So Stupinian manages to find a ball into Jacob Ramsey, who's occupied the space that Zaniolo left behind, and he's found a wonderful ball into Ollie Watkins, who strikes, and within the first 6 minutes, Ollie Watkins gives Aston Villa a 1-0 lead here at Villa Park in the biggest game of the season so far. The fans have gone absolutely wild. It was a fabulous way to start the game, and a fabulous goal from our star English striker. A wonderful finish after another Englishman, Jacob Ramsey, laid it on a plate for him. It was a wonderful cutback on Ollie Watkins, and the two of them say thank you very much. Aston Villa lead 1-0. Diego Carlos, under a bit of pressure from Darwin Núñez, manages to wriggle away from him, and Pau Torres will try and bring it out of defence, but then goes and gives the ball away, and now the Argentinian McAllister can try and bring this forward. He does a lovely step over to get away, and it's Núñez. Big save from Martinez. Well, Liverpool looking to bounce back immediately, and they almost did, but they've won a corner and they've gone short with it. Mo Salah, again with a step over and the tricks into Lenormand. Another big save. Second corner of the game from Liverpool. This is a great response from the team from Merseyside. It's whipped in from Mo Salah, headed away by Ollie Watkins, headed away again by Jacob Ramsey, into the path of Zaniolo, ends up losing it to Salah, and Darwin Núñez into Moreno, and he strikes low and hard past Martinez, and just like that, Liverpool are back in this game. Well, we just completely lost the plot as soon as we went 1-0 up. We just dropped our heads completely, and we just haven't kept our composure. A poor piece of play by Zaniolo, on the edge of the box. Mo Salah into Moreno, who then made us pay, and Liverpool now back on level terms. It's 1-1 into Moreno, the goal scorer, and he's bringing it forward. There's no one putting in a challenge. Where on earth are my defence? Darwin Núñez just goes past Pau Torres and smashed a strike high and just over the bar. Another time, but we just get away from it. It was a lovely strike by Núñez. Martinez got nowhere near it, unfortunately for us. Not only was he beaten, but the goal was as well. Oh, lovely ball right the way over. Switched the play beautifully into the path of Stupinian. He's trying to release Zaniolo into Ollie Watkins. He's going to lay it off to Stupinian. Lovely build-up play again, and he's just straight offside. Carvajal for Liverpool. Oh, he goes round Zaniolo. Really nicely done there from the Spaniard. And now Moreno trying to be chased down by Jacob Ramsey. Lovely challenge. And then Yuri Tielemans gives it away immediately to Gravenberch. It's so poor. And then Darwin Núñez gives it straight back to Tielemans. And now Ollie Watkins can try and release Moussa Diaby. Gets the ball all wrong. Liverpool now to try and ghost down this left-hand side with Pedro Gonçalves. He's got acres of space to run into. Diego Carlos tries to come across, puts the block in. Lovely stuff though from Gonzalez, but eventually Diego Carlos with another big challenge. He's been brilliant defensively, but then goes and gives the ball away. It's been a story of that for the last 10 minutes. Neither team can really get control of this game. Zaniolo now has it. He releases Ollie Watkins, and look at the space Ollie Watkins now has to drive into. Plays a ball across into Moussa Diaby on his left, straight at the goalkeeper Alisson, who did a brilliant job of keeping it out. Zaniolo will keep the ball alive though and strikes and gets the strike. All wrong. My word, it goes out for a throw. Almost. It does go out for a throw. What on earth was the Italian doing there? Gravenberch out of defence into Darwin Núñez, who's come deep, and Pedro Gonçalves now down the left-hand side. Sacha Boey, who was attacking, left a lot of space on that side that they can try and attack. Mo Salah now finds himself on this side and tried to play it into Darwin Núñez. Lovely play from Liverpool and a brilliant piece of defending from Diego Carlos as the referee blows for half-time. Well, it was an electric end-to-end first half here at Villa Park. Both teams had ample opportunities, but could only find the back of the net once. And now both teams, I'm sure, will be eager to try and make a change to that in the second half. It's Liverpool attacking early doors, but we've managed to get the ball out of defence really nicely. And now Zaniolo has it in a really promising position, and he's managed to go past the defenders. Zaniolo into the box. Zaniolo strikes. My word, I spoke him up all the time at the beginning of the episode, and he is repaying my faith. An assist in the last game, a cracking goal in this game, and he brings us back into the lead here at Villa Park. An incisive counter-attack, but my word, look at the heroic effort from that man, Zaniolo. He just ghosted past Van Dijk, drove into the Liverpool box, and smashed a strike past Alisson. We're back on top. It's 2-1. Pedro Gonçalves tried to ping that into the centre. It was well defended by Kamara into Ollie Watkins. He can release the goal scorer Zaniolo, and just like that, could we be on for a third here? Zaniolo once again has opened up the Liverpool defence, and once again, oh my word, he sent it wide. I cannot believe it. Well, let's have a look at the replay here. Lovely ball through, and the goal was gaping. He had acres of space to run into here. Perhaps he had too much time to make the decision, and it was the wrong decision. A terrible finish. He got it all wrong, and somehow Liverpool live to fight another day. Carvajal being chased down by Ollie Watkins, instead feeds it out to Andy Robertson. And now Pedro Gonçalves down this left-hand side, checks back in, looks for Gravenberch. Gravenberch surely will try and look for ahead of him, finds McAllister into the danger man Nunez, goes past Diego Carlos, finds a nice ball into Gravenberch. Pau Torres is there though, brilliant defending from the Spaniard, and yet again we can try and now hit Liverpool on the counter. This is where we seem to be having the most success. It's Ollie Watkins now to try and drive into the box. I'm going to try and play it across into Zaniolo, and this time he does make them pay. He gets his second goal of the game. He slides on his knees in front of a fabulous Aston Villa crowd. There is limbs in the stadium. Aston Villa lead here 3-1. Well, it was again another incisive piece of counter-attacking play. That is where all our successes come from. Ollie Watkins could have taken the strike on. He was unselfish and he played it into Zaniolo in a better position, and he's given us a 2-goal cushion here at Villa Park. It's 3-1. The Normand being chased down once again by that man Ollie Watkins. He has led from the front all game. It's been a fabulous performance, not just from him, but the entire Aston Villa team. Gravenberch, though, gets cut off once again by Diego Carlos, and now once again we can try and launch a counter-attack. Ollie Watkins almost fed in the on-rushing Jacob Ramsey. Just got his final pass wrong, and it could have been 4-1 if he'd have got that right. But Darwin Núñez now to try and bully his way past my defenders. Lashes a strike wide. Just 10 minutes remaining on the clock here for us to see this game out. We've got a 2-goal cushion. We have to make sure we do not do anything stupid here, as Pau Torres, just as I say that, goes and gives away a really cheap ball, and now Mo Salah can try and hit us on the counter. He goes all the way out to the right-hand side. He's being hassled by Moreno on as a sub. Checks back into Gravenberch. He shapes to strike, gives it to Carvajal. Diego Jota tries to strike. In the end, blocked off, and now once again, it's our turn to hit them on the counter. Jimenez on as a substitute is going to try and feed this one down the line into the on-rushing Leon Bailey. Lovely ball. He plays it inside to Sacha Boey. Gets the ball wrong. It falls to Zaniolo, and he is on his hat-trick, and he gives us a 4-1 lead, and that, my friends, is game over. Well, from losing 2-1 to Brighton in the opening game to turning things on its head and getting a 4-1 victory here today, I thought the opportunity was gone when the ball went behind Sacha Boey, but he managed to rectify it and place it into the on-rushing path of that man Zaniolo. He passed it into an empty net, gets his hat-trick. It's 4-1 Aston Villa. And as the referee calls time on what was an electric game here today, that man picks up the match ball after a fabulous man-of-the-match performance. It is a huge 3 points in the bag, and it's 4-1 at full time to Aston Villa. The hat-trick hero gives our title challenge just a glimmer of hope. I said at the start of the episode that this man was on fire all season, but my word, I wasn't expecting this performance. 15 goals and 8 assists in all appearances, 14 of those goals and 7 of those assists coming in just 34 Premier League appearances. This man has been on fire. He too has really enjoyed his loan spell at the club and hopes we can make a permanent deal, and I have to be honest, I think he is going to be the first man on my shortlist come the summer transfer window. But as we come to the final game of the season, the title race has been completely flipped on its head. Liverpool are now the team in third place, only on 77 points. We are now in second place, level on points with them. And out of nowhere, Manchester City have leapfrogged a pair of us, and now they lead the Premier League title race. 78 points. It is just 1 point separating the top 3 teams. We absolutely must win our final game of the season away from home against Crystal Palace. Liverpool will be hoping to do the same thing at home against Wolves. And of course, Manchester City have to just better or equal our result at home to West Ham United. And so as we head to Selhurst Park, for now, what is for sure the biggest game of the season, it is well and truly in the hands of the footballing gods. We must get 3 points, but even if we do, we've got to hope that Liverpool and Manchester City don't better our results. But all we can do is win our game today and hope for the best. Of course, there's no surprise to see that there is no change to the same starting 11 that pummeled Liverpool 4-1 at home. If we are going to win the Premier League title, it is this 11 players that are going to do it for us. Velasco Lovely pass into the left back, Kadaglu, and he strides down this left-hand side, cuts back in field looking for Eze. Rafa Mir strikes. Big save from Martinez. He needed to make that save inside the opening 10 minutes. We cannot afford to go 1-0 down so early here today. Zaniolo, the man of the moment, fires a wicked ball into Jacob Ramsey. He finds Moussa Diaby, who finds Ollie Watkins. Ollie Watkins takes it on, strikes, it falls lucky to him, and he absolutely leathers it with the side of his foot into the top right-hand corner to give us an early 1-0 lead here at Selhurst Park. Well, he got very fortunate, although it was a brilliant piece of build-up play. He struck, and it ended up rebounding right into his path, onto his favoured foot, and my word, he made it count on the second opportunity. A wonderful finish. The keeper absolutely no chance whatsoever. Buried it into the top right-hand corner. It's 1-0 Aston Villa. Velasco tries to do the dance around Sacha Boey. He read it really well though, and now again we can try and launch a counter-attack. Yuri Tielemans into Zaniolo. Zaniolo in field, looks for Jacob Ramsey. He's going to go all the way out to the right-hand side into Sacha Boey, who goes past the defender, cuts it back in. I was looking for the ball into Jacob Ramsey, just couldn't get there. We do have a corner. Diego Carlos. Wicked ball all the way over to Estupinian, and unmarked Estupinian on the left-hand side, who cuts back in for Zaniolo. Lovely little touch into Jacob Ramsey. He finds Moussa Diaby, who strikes. Good save. Well, some of the football we are playing here today is nothing short of sensational. The moment has not yet got to us, and we are looking to try and add a second here as Diego Carlos floats it across the edge of the 6-yard box, but no one could get on the end of it. Kamara will pick up the loose ball though, and he will try and drive down this left-hand side. He's done a wonderful job of doing so. He floats it back into the box, looking for the head of Zaniolo. Couldn't get there. Can Tielemans? Yes, he can. Falls to Jacob Ramsey. He's going to line up a strike from distance, straight at the goalkeeper. Henderson gets a strong hand to it and beats it away. Jacob Ramsey again though. We are piling on the pressure here in the opening half an hour. Kamara back out to Estupinian. Estupinian now to try and float it across. 34 minutes on the clock, and it's another Aston Villa corner. We are absolutely piling the pressure on, desperately looking for that second goal. Diego Carlos is desperately looking for his first goal of this game. He looped a header over, but in the end, Henderson was equal to it. Pau Torres. Nice short pass into Tielemans. He's going to try and look to go around the corner into Sacha Boey, but the option is cut off, so instead he'll try and fire a ball right the way over. It rebounds off of Eze, and now Crystal Palace can try and hit us on the counter-attack. Diego Carlos comes across again though. Brilliant, brilliant piece of defending, and then Jacob Ramsey ends up giving the ball away, but Diego Carlos has been nothing short of fabulous all season. Now Ollie Watkins can try and bring the ball forward on the edge of the box, strikes from distance. It's off the bar, my word. That potentially could have been goal of the season right there. Pau Torres out to Estupinian on the left-hand side, who takes that really, really nicely, plays it into Zaniolo, who does even better, tries to ghost past two players. In the end, it falls to Jacob Ramsey. Very lucky again. Kamara now has it, tries to feed it into Moussa Diaby, who takes it beautifully, strikes with his right. That is absolutely brilliant from the Frenchman. A lovely touch and turn, and an even better composed finish to give us a 2-goal cushion. Look at that for a turn with his right, with his left, and with his weaker foot, just lifted it over the goalkeeper. Absolutely brilliant from the Frenchman. It is 2-0 to Aston Villa here at Selhurst Park. We continue to press forward though, and we've got a free kick in a dangerous position that Yuri Tielemans is going to take. I'm going to try and float this one into the penalty spot. He floats it over instead to the back post. Diaby tried to get on the end of it. He was bullied off the ball though by Rafa Mir. Pau Torres though wins the header well, and Estupinian has it into the central defensive midfielder. Kamara plays a wicked ball into Ollie Watkins, tries to strike with his right, it falls to Zaniolo. He hits it with his left again, rebounds off the defenders, and eventually Crystal Palace will get the ball clear. Diego Carlos right the way over into the path of Sacha Boey, who cuts back in field for Yuri Tielemans, looks for the Frenchman Moussa Diaby. He's got the overlapping run of Sacha Boey. This is beautiful stuff. We've played some wicked football here today. He's going to try and look to go to the back post, does get the cross wrong though, and Estupinian now will get a second opportunity, to try and feed it across, cuts it back instead though to Zaniolo. He takes it on his right, strikes, blocked. It's a corner. Leon Bailey on as a substitute with about 10 minutes on the clock here remaining to take the corner. Floats it in, looking for the other substitute McGinn. It falls nicely almost to Ollie Watkins, but couldn't take advantage of it. It's headed away. Sacha Boey wins it back. Alex Moreno now into another substitute, and Wilfred Gnonto. Lovely little pass into Leon Bailey. Strikes with his left. Blocked again by the Crystal Palace defenders. Into Alex Moreno down the left-hand side. Tries to play a ball into the path of Jacob Ramsey. Really nicely done. He feeds in Gnonto. Gnonto now into Ollie Watkins again. Beautiful play. Ollie Watkins to strike with his left. Big save from Henderson. I thought that was going to be the goal of the game. It doesn't matter though, because the referee blows for full time. I shake the hand of the veteran Roy Hodgson. My players celebrate, but now we have an eagerly anticipated wait to see whether or not Liverpool or Manchester City have been able to beat our result here today. As in the last game of the season, it finishes here. Crystal Palace 0, Aston Villa 2. Unfortunately though, in spite of Liverpool buckling under the pressure and losing their final 2 games of the season, including a 2-1 loss at home to Wolves, Manchester City did manage to get a 3-1 win at home against West Ham, which means they are crowned Premier League champions once again by one single point. Aston Villa finished second. We secure Champions League football by a country mile. We nail at least one of the board objectives to qualify for the Champions League this season. But despite what would have been a terrific outcome at the start of the season, having been knocked out of the likes of the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup and the Europa Conference League in such early rounds of each competition, my players are really despondent, having come so close to Premier League glory. It was a fine campaign all round though for this man Ollie Watkins. He finishes my top goal scorer this season with 22 goals and 8 assists in all appearances, 20 goals coming in the Premier League, his highest tally I believe ever in his career. Nicolo Zaniolo comes second with 15 goals and 8 assists, and that man Moussa Diaby, the man who scored the final goal of the season, chips in with 14 goals and 9 assists. As for the rest of the team, whilst the starting 11 is in pretty decent shape, I definitely think I need to look to the transfer market to try and make 1 or 2 more signings come the start of the next season, especially as we are going to have Champions League football, and especially if we want to try and take this team to the next level. That is it for the end of today's episode though, and the end of the series. I hope you have enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Thank you everyone for watching, and hopefully I'll see you again next time.